I'm gonna just put these floor setters on what is opposite of my build, so that way it could be a well-rounded build. But ultimately, it's people that's gonna be like, all right, well, this is what my player's geared to do, and if I could do extra, then I could do extra. I just feel like you need that flexibility for anybody that want to play the game to whatever. Because if I like, let's say I make a Paul George build and I play exactly like how Paul George play, but I got my floor setter set to limitless range, meter joint, dunk joint, and whatever the case may be. And now I want the flexibility to change it in between games for matchmaking purposes, right? Just like how you could change your core badge. You should have the luxury of doing that.
No, so that's the reason why it's not like that is because it's a seasonal reward. So they're gonna reset it every season. You feel what I'm
So,
saying?
so each season it reset because from what I'm hearing, it's correct me if I'm wrong. It's supposed to be like what 18 or 16 floor setters or something like that.
There's 18 of them. I don't think they reset every
Okay, so
season, man.
listen, there's
I
not
think
listen,
you.
there's not silver and there's not gold, but you don't get them all at once. You get them over time. So you get them as you go. You get what I'm saying? Like you don't get it's not like here you make your build and boom, you get 18. It's like you make your build and then over time you earn them. You get what I'm
So
saying?
basically, throughout the season, one by one, you're gonna be
Yeah,
placing.
exactly. Throughout the
Got
exactly. That's how
Hey,
it's
I
so
know.
work.
so
You'll get
that's
them throughout the
that's
season.
what's kind of conflicting to me though, because you could grind a build out fully, right, and be playing and unlocking these floor setters, and you got to play some one by one based off of what you're geared to be playing. Like if you play park heavy or rec heavy or pro am heavy, whatever the case may be, and by the time you get to that end point and you're stuck with that player, like, and I'm just playing devil's advocate. Let's say there's a patch that changes certain things, or like a hot fix that changes certain things throughout the the seasons or gameplay. Now you may have to just redo that entire player. Either that or you just, which we don't even know if it's an option. You may have to just stockpile all those floor setters until you get to the end and then equip them all at the end. You see what I'm
Hey,
saying? Like,
hey, Red, you know why I don't think that it's gonna be like separate like that, and they're gonna give it all at once. I don't know if y'all paid attention to it, bro, but the floor setters increase your badge level to whatever you set it on. So if you got bronze limitless range, but you want limitless as a floor setter, when you put it on, if it can go to gold, it's gonna boost your badge to gold once you put it on there. So you're not gonna have to grind limitless range from bronze to gold if you put the floor setter on it. And
Oh, see, I ain't know
yeah,
that.
that
I
I
didn't know
think that's
that.
why
Yeah,
they don't.
Yeah, put whatever your badge is. Grinder had his hand up too. Oh shit, I think he left. Never mind. I was gonna say he had his hand up. We should let him talk, but he might have
Yeah,
left.
when you equipped it, it boosts your badge to whatever it can max out at. Like, well, let's say you can get Hall of Fame limitless, but you want to floor set it on gold. It's gonna jump to gold, and you just gonna have to grind it to Hall of Fame, and it's just gonna stop it. The floor setter gonna stop it from ever dropping to silver. I think that's why they not gonna let us change it, and it's gonna lock in like that. Because if you change it, what happens if you want to take it off? Do you lose the badge progression, and it goes back to whatever you really is on?
it should go back to
That's a good
bronze
point.
no matter what.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it, so I think they just throwing it on there and it's gonna lock in because it's gonna boost your badge up and you're not gonna have to grind that badge out
I'm
unless it goes
fine.
gold.
Me personally, I'm fine with that if you're getting all your floor setters at the same time. But if you're only getting it periodically, then it's like I'm cool with grinding, but it's like it. But if you getting your ultimate bill at the end of like when you do get all those floor setters, it kind of like it's like a. I don't know how I'm trying to say it, but I'm trying to say it without sounding like messed up. It sounds like a setup in a way because you
It just
invest all this time into
it just wouldn't make sense
whatever.
to give it period.
I think it make you have to use your brain a little bit more. Like, say I make a PG, and obviously, on a PG with minimal defense, defensive badge is gonna probably be hardest to get. I could just put my floor setter on defense, and since I think it might fuck up one of the shooting or playmaking badges I got, I'ma just grind them bitches out myself and etc. But I'm pretty sure I read in the course I report, even if you put it in your floor setter, you can still get it higher than the tier. So say I just don't want to grind limitless, and I put limitless in a gold floor setter, I can still get it on Hoff, but it can't drop below gold. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
that's
that's
what
how it
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
works.
yeah, yeah.
fact.
that's what
He that's
yeah, that's
exactly
fact. That's fact. That's fact.
that's exactly what he said. He definitely announced that he basically said that you're not gonna be able to as far as he said you won't go past it. You can't go over your overall, obviously, to have it as an attribute, but if you can get it to go to Hall of Fame, so it'll fluctuate between gold and Hall of Fame, but it will never go lower than that. So he's correct about that.
That's why
But
it's
like
gonna be
Cinco said,
tricky though. That's what's gonna make it tricky about what you put the floor setter on. Because what if Splash make a point guard and he don't want to grind limitless? He just throw the floor setter on there and it's automatically on gold. So now he just got to grind it from gold to Hall of Fame. So it's like, do you throw it
nah,
on?
but this is but Cinco. This is also the thing that you gotta remember though. We don't get all 18 from the beginning, so like you don't get all 18 from the
Where did he
beginning.
say
So
that
that
though? I
No,
didn't
he,
see no
and
report that
that's
said.
why he think.
no, I know
Yeah,
you did. I know you did. I'm just saying in general, like
yeah, that's why he's saying he think we might be getting a surplus of them in the beginning. Not all 18, but he's saying he think we're gonna get a surplus of them in the reps or in the season pass to start, just because then it makes you want to make this build because you know will usually take a long time to grind. Let's say Limitless take a long time to grind. Or this year it was like blinders or dead eye take forever to grind. You could just throw them bitches on right away. So now your bill, or you already got like a hint of how your bill gonna look with this and this badge, instead of us having to wait a week until one of y'all crack whatever the rep reward is to get the floor setter or whatever the season number is to get the floor setter.
If that's
I'm
true,
not gonna, we're gonna crack the
if
bitch.
that's true,
We're gonna
I
crack
ain't
it.
gonna lie. Like I could see it being a part of the battle pass joint because everybody has access to it. It's just about who get it to it faster, basically. So it's not no like real advantage because everybody can still get it. It's not like a pay to play type of thing. But I could see that being a part of that for people that want to get to that faster, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. What's it called? Dan Grinding was in here too. Did Grinding go to community day? I don't think he did.
Yeah, he was at community day. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah,
He
because
was
I was
there.
trying to
That nigga
slide.
was in for a minute. Nobody would let him talk.
Yeah, I tried to. I wanted to let everybody finish their sentence.
I wrote him and I said, bro, like, bro, when y'all, I get y'all be raising your hands, but sometimes you just gotta talk because niggas ain't waiting, niggas is talking, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Like
Yeah, that was my
Like
problem too.
Cinco said, fuck that. Cinco said, fuck that, and started talking. I be telling people, bro, just talk, bro. If anything, I just won't mic it. You know what I mean? If it gets too crazy, I
I
won't mic
wasn't
it.
even on my phone, G.
I was about, I was about to say, usually, like, once somebody talking, like, once people realize somebody talking, like, we'll just wait, and then, you feel me, just say our little 2 cents afterwards.
Yeah. But that now that you mention that, you know, that's also a game changer. But now that's why I said we're gonna make 3-4 builds, bro. Like I'm saying 3-4 max, and the reason why I'm saying that is simply because now that we're doing so right. Now that the floor setters, like how you said, like I ain't gonna lie, Single, you brought that was good information because I wasn't even aware that, you know, when you put the floor setter, you get that badge automatically on that level. So now that you do that, right, that erases because you know, guys, we were having a convo about before was literally that you know the main combo we were having was basically like, yo, you know, um, are we gonna use that what the fuck's it called again? The setter. Are we gonna use the setter for a badge that you know is lower? And that erases that now. That completely erases that. Cause we're like, you know what? We're gonna put the setter on something that like a 70 layup because we don't want the flex rate. We know we're not gonna use it. But now that changes the whole game because you know who want to sit there and grind limitless? Who want to sit there and grind like we're gonna put that shit on any badge that. But then, like you said, like me and Splash were saying though, down the line, when you do figure out the attributes and when you figure out, like I say, everyone's different. We're all different. When you figure out, and I'm gonna say it this way for y'all best, when you figure out what's best for you as a player, what fits for you. For instance, like Splash plays competitively, but I play competitively. You know, a few of us do up here. You know what I mean? Like, so let's just say iPod can shoot consistently with a 75-3, right? And he knows that. And you know, but he finds it out later. And I found out like, yo, I need an 83 to shoot. You know what I mean? Like then you know that's the type of things that's gonna change and make you want to consider making a new build or changing your flu setters because you're not gonna know down the line until you play the game. Not to mention like how you guys said we got patches and stuff like that. So I think personally, me, you know, like I said, you could keep the floor setters the same. The only way I would change the floor setters if I'm 2K, I would allow people to change their floor setters every time they drop a patch. That's all I would do.
So,
My
so I
opinion.
gotta help me understand, right? Because the way that I processed everything in my head was when the floor setters are given to us, you know, periodically over the season or whatever the case may be, when we put them on the bill, they lock forever, or do
Yeah, they're locked. Like it's
Yeah,
like
a lot.
it's yeah forever. Like it's stamped. Like if you put that floor setter on Limitless Gold, that shit is staying on Limitless Gold.
It's
And now you
staying
have
either higher than that or it's staying on that exact same one.
no, no,
So
no, no. Okay, okay. So depending on your all right. So say you have a say Hall of Fame, Limitless is a 95.3, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have a 92.3, it's staying at that 92.3. It's never gonna go down, and you're just gonna stay at a
Well, not so.
92.3.
So wait,
Now,
And you know that.
Red. One thing,
You know that.
one thing we need to stop doing is comparing to
Yo,
attributes.
Red.
These are badges. These are for
okay,
badges.
but no, I get
Man.
no, I understand what we're saying. Badges. This is what I'm saying, though. This is what I'm saying, right? Because I'm trying to explain it to y'all. So we're talking about badges,
Right.
right? He said if you're at okay, so this is what I'm telling you about the attribute. So right, say you need a 95.3 for Hall of Fame Limitless, right?
Right.
If you have a 92.3 and you put that, if you have a 92.3 and you put that setter at gold, it is staying there because you cannot reach Hall of Fame. And the reason why you can't reach Hall of Fame is because your attribute don't meet the requirements to get Hall of Fame. Now, if you have your 3 out of 95 and put it on gold, it's gonna fluctuate between gold and Hall of Fame. But the only way you can get Hall of Fame is if your badge, if your attribute reaches that requirement. You get what I'm saying?
It's,
Basically, it won't be able to drop.
so,
Basically,
Yeah, it won't drop, and it won't go no
but
higher.
So it
If
won't drop him Hall of
but
Fame?
Riz, it is the way
no,
that you're explaining it is, if a person with a 92 rating puts it on, it'll never go to Hall of Fame. That's what you're saying, right?
if
no.
like
No,
this.
wait,
Go ahead.
because
Red, you just making it you making it confusing when you throw the attributes in
right.
there. Just leave it on the
All
back.
right, so
Just leave it
Cinco,
on
go
the
ahead.
back
Cinco,
shit.
explain it better. You explain it better.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
so look.
So if you make your build, bro, your build can get Hall of Fame Limitless.
Mm-hmm.
If your build can get Hall of Fame Limitless, if you throw the gold floor setter on it,
It go automatically.
you can still grind the build to Hall of Fame Limitless.
I know that.
If your build doesn't get Hall of Fame Limitless and it maxes out at gold, if you throw the gold floor setter on there, it's just gonna lock it gold. It'll never drop to silver.
Right, but
Or go up. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it won't go up or
look,
down. It'll
Can
just
I
stay
can I
exactly.
explain it in a simpler
look.
term?
We
Basically,
got it now. We got it.
Listen.
Now.
Look,
He explained it.
floor sledders
listen.
protect you
I
from dropping your
understand
badges.
the
Simple.
He gets that. He
look,
gets that, coach. That's what I'm saying. Go
understand
ahead.
all that. What I'm saying is, for everybody that's listening to this space, what you're saying is now that the floor setter does not reset every season. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
So the floor setter from season 1, if you get it at level 15 for silver, when you put that silver floor setter on any of your badges, that floor setter is set on there for the remainder of the game for that build.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's what it is. As of right now,
All the
Yeah.
backside
As of right
setters-
now, yeah.
Okay. All right. That's perfect.
That's how it go.
yeah.
Perfectly fine.
So for anyone wondering, so that's why we were getting into like that. That's why that topic was so tough because everyone's like, damn, when I make my build, like when you make that build, now you're like, oh shit, like this is what I'm making, but the thing that's gonna damage it. That's why I said we're gonna make
If Mike Wayne passed that
yeah,
motherfucker,
that's why I said it's
you
exactly. So like,
fucked.
we're not even that. You're gonna make 2-3 builds, like, and like how Cinco said, we might get like, say, I can see 2K giving us personally, right? There's 18, right? I can see 2K saying here, they're either gonna give us a variety of both. They might throw like, like they might throw like 4 silver and like 3 gold at us at first or something like that, or they might do like the opposite. Who knows? Or they might do here. You could have your 9 silver first, and then you got to go grind for your 9 gold. They might do. We don't know how it's going to do. I'm just throwing out examples of what they could do. But the thing about it is, when you use those, I'm hoping that you could use those down the line, and you don't have to apply them right away. Because like when you're in the badge builder, I mean not badge builder, in a builder, how when you're doing a builder and like you can't continue unless you like do everything. You max out every attribute, so you can't leave nothing out. You have to be a 99 completely. I'm just hoping that when we make our build, we don't have to put the bad setters that they allow us to have. I'm hoping they let us play the game so that we can put them on as we go.
Like,
Because if you have to put them on when you hit continue and that's your build, and you're like, oh, this is it. This is my build. This is my first build. I'm hoping that we don't have to put them on automatically right away. Because if we do, that is going, bro.
Okay.
yeah,
Everyone's
So,
that might throw it
so
off a
check
little
this out.
bit. I
So
ain't
what
gonna
you're
lie.
saying is Just because this is the way my brain works. Floor setter is replacing badge points as a reward within the season pass for free. That's basically what I hear from all the information I've read. What you guys are telling me, that floor setter badges, we will get 18 total. We're not sure if we will get all of them by season 3 or all of them by season 4 or even season 2 or all of season 1. We don't know. But when we do get them, there it will probably be an option for us to equip them, or we may probably just skip past it until we figure out where we want to put them. Probably there.
Yep,
Yeah.
you got it right.
I
Yep.
would
That's exactly it. Yep.
yeah, I
There's
would say
there's
yeah,
eight of them,
but I just
8 of
don't
them for
think that they
silver,
would
8 of them for
split it
gold.
up because, like I said, if you put the floor setter on that motherfucker, then it's gonna jump your badge progression. So if you got a bronze limitless range and you can get it gold, once you hit it with a floor setter, it's gonna jump to gold. So it's, if they know how fast motherfuckers can grind they build, it don't make no sense for you to drop that periodically over season 2, 3, 4, because that defeats the purpose of even getting the ability to skip the badge progression, if that makes sense. Like if I could use it to boost my badge progression up, why give it to me in season 3 when the fucking build gonna be done? It's gonna be 99 maxed out by season
Right,
3.
and that's what I was saying, like, because somebody said in the chat that they're going to be giving it out periodically, and I do understand that there's supposed to be like 80 rewards, right? And since this is the free pass, are they going to spend 3 4 rewards in my career as an option to pay us out? That, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why I don't think they gonna split it up. I think you're gonna get all 18 at
Right. For
once.
instance, right, we know if you spend a certain amount of money on the Hall of Fame pass, you skip a bunch of levels. What if at a certain level threshold you receive almost all of them? And people most likely that have it will be incentivized to buy it. And since it's a part of the free part, why wouldn't people pay the level skip, get them, and then use them because they know they're going to need them to progress their build? So,
And then remember, Zach did say that badge grinding is a lot faster
mm,
for things that you do normally. So if they
mm,
giving us a chance to really skip the badge grind for certain badges, in a sense, like it just don't make sense for them to split it up like that.
right. That's why I was saying, because I was getting confused. I'm like, why are they saying a whole bunch of stuff dropping periodically over time? They're not going to give them all to us at once. It's like,
So
Yeah. Go ahead. So go ahead. So what's it called? Enrique,
yeah,
go ahead,
because
because Enrique
I
knows
have
more
I
about
have
that.
an answer for that. So for Cinco, what he was talking about, like the badge, like I get that point too because it is valid for some people. Like if I can just get my limitless to gold like immediately, like why not just floor set it? But then the point is like the opposite of that, which I think is what you guys are talking about, is like you guys got to remember badges are going to fluctuate. So for example, if you have a badge that you like a lot, but it keeps going up or it keeps going from silver to gold or gold to silver or it goes from silver to bronze a lot, like, but you like that badge a lot, so that's why it would make sense for them to periodically drop them, because like by the time that you get to season 3 or season 4, like you know what badges you want to have that keep fluctuating, and that way it stops that from fluctuating and you keep that badge going, and it's kind of like the same.
But I don't
Real quick, it's
take
kind of it's
three of
kind of the same thing with like people
Yeah.
that people that said like people
hold
that
on.
are making
We
slasher
take,
like slasher sharpshooting builds. Like there's some people are concerned like, yo, like what if 6 games in a row I'm shooting a lot and I start losing my slashing badges? Like it's like a thing for them too. Like people that are doing multiple, like not a pure build, like it's gonna be beneficial for them. Oh, that makes sense.
but you
The thing is, wait, hold up, I got you, Cinco. The thing is, what they saying is the problem with, well, we're just raising a problem of it going periodically is, let's say I'm a geek, right? I got my build finished, like finished 3 days, and they're not periodically dropping you a floor setter until let's say it isn't, let's say it is a season reward and you got to get a specific what's the name, or a rep reward until you hit this, or they giving it out on specific days or at specific seasons, like you get all your shit. I'm already done. So the point of them dropping it periodically does no longer helps me because my build's already going to be finished by the time they end up dropping the periodic fifth one or third one or fourth one, which is why they're raising the question of, that's why we should get them, maybe not right away, but as a quick reward, you get 5
Reward. Yeah. That's what
or
I'm thinking.
6 at a time, because niggas gonna have their builds done pretty finished. If he's saying badge grinding don't take that long, we all finna be on the game. Shit, I mean, my build probably gonna be done in 3 days. So if I'm not getting that shit right away, I mean, it's a
I mean,
wasted. It's a wasted. What's the name for me
yeah,
specifically?
yeah,
Which
yeah.
is why I would want it to come out right away.
Yeah, and I hear you, because there's like a lot of us like that are gonna grind the game crazy heavy when the game comes out. And I'm not, and I feel like that's probably like more of like, I mean, I can't really answer that because that's just 2K, like why they decided to do it the way that they're gonna decide to go through it. Because like you said, there are gonna be some people that, like us, that are probably gonna grind, get to 99 really quick, but you also got those people that are like, it's gonna take them at least a month or two to get to 99, or maybe even longer. So, I mean, I to that point, I really can't answer that for real, for real.
But don't you think for those type of people, floor setter benefits that? Because you got to think, for niggas like us who gonna geek the game and my build to be done in 3 days, it's like, all right, giving me all the floor setters at one time makes sense. But for somebody like you who you just said they not gonna get 99 for 2 months, well shit, if you can get your floor setter off rip, you automatically got your badges at a certain tier. Now it might take you 2 weeks versus 2 months because your floor setter sped up your progress. So
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
then at the same time, but then that's what I'm saying. Like, I think I like the idea of the floor setters and the way that it is right now, with it being permanent, because at that point, it's just like on the person. You really got to think about like what you like. If you're gonna be on this build a lot, you really got to think about what you're doing. Like you said, like that is valid. Like I can upgrade my badge really quick, and that saves me time, or I can play it out as long as I can, see what badges I might want even more, may not want. And then also for me personally, like. I know 2K Labs is in here. Like they're gonna play a big part in deciding like what I'm gonna floor set because they do all the testing. Like I'm gonna be heavy based off of what they got to say about the badges and how well they work. So I'm probably gonna listen to 2K Labs and wait a little bit personally just to make sure I don't mess my floor setters up because again,
For
it's
sure.
what
I have
bro.
a question to the room, right? Do we all mostly listen to other people when it comes to making our builds, or do some badges that some people may not recommend to us work for us for whatever weird reason?
Um, I don't listen to nobody on the sense of like I gotta test it. You feel me? It's more so like we right now we politic today, tomorrow.
I think that goes based on just
Can
like
you
how
hear
you
me?
your style of play.
There's gonna
Can you hear
Yo,
me?
Cinco, can you hear it, Coach?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no, my fault. I couldn't hear nobody.
Oh, okay. No
Oh yeah,
worries, no
you
worries.
see, you might have to leave and come back because everyone's
yeah.
talking.
No, but I
Uh,
was just saying, my thing is that I listen to everybody, right? Because I'm open minded in life and in gaming. I'm willing to take what you saying and then implement it in my own way in my own life. So I'm definitely gonna be ears and eyes on everybody. But in the end of the day, when I get on the sticks, I get to see what's working out there, what I feel, what it's more so about my experience, and I have a lot of knowledge of my own. But just because I have the knowledge, I shouldn't be ignorant to the fact that somebody could put me on game to something, and I can experiment with what they say and make myself even better.
Yeah.
That's
The
how I
way
feel.
I do it is
Thank
like I'm really geeked out. So like I usually go test the shit out myself because I play my team, I play regs, I play pro am. So I get a good and I usually ask comp niggas that playing whatever my respective game mode is. Like I hit up the centers like, oh shit, how y'all feeling about brick wall on this certain tier? Because usually I figure out like especially because we be having to play for a lot of money. So you gotta figure out the difference between a few badges and whatnot. But I still go stop by a bunch of YouTube videos, see how you performing with like I'm just a fan of like a bunch of content creators because I'm like a fan of the game. Like I might go watch a nigga who don't get that many views who then figured out that Scooper is dumb OP and I'm calling it dog shit. You feel me? And me going to watch him got me locked in on okay, that bat's good. But I usually test it out myself just in case, like, let's say Acrobat this year. I don't know if y'all use Acrobat, like if y'all switching your layups up pre-patch 2.
Oh
That
hell
shit
yeah.
was dumb OD. Like you could lay every single play, you switched out of your layup and a lot of people didn't know that. So I like to go test out shit like that myself so
I,
I can give like a nerdy mixed
I'll
review
be
on it.
honest. The people that I watch, again, I do watch again. Obviously, Splash Nerds. I watch like the pro am scene. I see what these competitive guys are playing with. It's cool to watch someone do something in park, or, like, but it's not gonna like give you an idea of what that badge is gonna look like against people who are actually good at the game. Like, you want to have a build that's set up for you to like be successful against the better players in the game. You don't want it to just be something that's gonna help you just be good in just the park. You want to be able to step in the stage and that badge actually matter.
Yeah, so for me, like I said, I'm heavy on the 2K labs, bro. I'm not gonna lie. So I mean, I do watch. When I'm creating my build, I typically don't watch any YouTubers. I mean, I may watch one or two, just to see like what other people are doing. But like, I typically just lock in the builder, and whatever I made, I'll die with it. Like I made my decision. If I gotta make another build, I'll make another build, but I'll die with my decision. But like, in terms of like after I make my build, I see like what badges I can get. Then I go check out 2K Labs, and after they run their tests, I like to like see actual numbers. I mean, it kind of makes more sense what Splash is saying. Like asking the comp people that are like already like tested it. Or have been testing it. But like I personally like to see like numbers and stuff and like percentages. So I typically check out 2K Labs when they do
So
that.
that's the so we got it. So that's what that's what we were talking about already. Like we were having me and Splash were having a discussion, right? So we were saying basically like when we make our build, like we're both guards, right? So and this goes for anything because it could be a different for even if you're a center lock, whatever. So we were saying like one of the biggest things that people are gonna look for as guards when 2K Labs does drop is we're gonna look at how much of a difference you seen Wolf post today, like you guys are gonna need Hall of Fame. You guys really like to dribble. Hall of Fame, speed boosters. Like basically, you're gonna want that. That's what you're gonna need, basically. Now, when obviously it's all opinion, and it depends who you are and what you can use. Because there's something like that. For instance, there's something that Splash could use on gold and get away with. You feel me? He might be able to still kill me with gold, and I might really need Hall of Fame because he's better than me at moving. You know what I mean? That's why I said like you can always tell when anyone who's competitive can always tell. Even not even someone who's like just good at the game, you can tell when you look at someone like, oh, he's moving, he knows what he's doing, and you can be like, oh, he's trying to get there, but he's not really there yet. You can always tell. Now we're gonna see one of the biggest things we're gonna look at is how much of a difference is Hall of Fame from gold. The same way as a lockdown. How big of a difference is Hall of Fame pickpocket from gold pickpocket? You get what I'm saying? It's just like as a rebounder. I'm just giving you an example so you guys don't think I'm just talking about guards. Now, when he drops, like, oh, well, this is the difference. There's a second difference between gold and Hall of Fame, or 2 seconds, whatever, right? That's gonna be a big difference in the build. That's why I said we're gonna make multiple builds because we might make a bill with Hall of Fame. Like a lot of people off of Wolf's comment, right? Alone, a lot of people are gonna go with Hall of Fame, speed booster, right?
Yeah,
But then we might get the
Yeah.
game. He might drop an analytic that shows that you only
Gold
need
is
difference,
not too
difference
much
good.
you
different.
only really need gold. And then when you find
Yep.
out you can go to gold, what happens is now you're like, oh shit, I can go to gold. Now I can make my still up to like a 75, 80. I don't gotta go to
Mhm.
Hall of Fame.
And
Yeah.
I don't gotta go to Hall of
So
Fame
and
and
what?
Red,
take that 60. I don't
and
gotta
Red,
go to Hall of Fame and take that 65. I don't gotta go to Hall of Fame and take that 65. Still, now I can move mine up to 75. I can play on gold. And the thing
exactly.
about it is
Mhm.
you're gonna take that hit or like if you can do something, for instance, right, when you play at a level or like when you're trying to balance out your player, that's why what Splash said, everybody's different, as far as when it comes to how you're gonna do your things, right?
Hmm.
So now when you do that, right, well, like basically that's like if I tell you this, like I say, yo, iPod, I'm like, yo, listen, I'll give you. Listen, you could be really fast, right? You could be really fast, iPod. If you over here, if you take this Hall of Fame, speed booster, you could be really fast. But I'm only gonna give you, like 73, 60. I mean, 60, 65 still. You can have some perimeter, and I'm like, but listen, or I could give you this gold speed booster, and you could, what I mean, you could still take that 75 still. 9 times out of 10, that 90, that speed booster on gold with that still you're gonna be more effective on the court. Like, you know what I mean? Like I ain't gonna be the fastest,
That's
but I'm still fast. And then
and
I
that
can play defense. You get what I'm saying? So
and,
that's gonna play a key role into like, when
So
he drops that.
so so
that's
basically,
my point, right? With like 2K Labs, like because a lot of times I feel like in recent years there's been certain badges where people come out and they're like, oh, you need to get it on Hall of Fame so that it works. And then 2K Labs does their testing, bro, and all you needed to do is keep it on silver, and it's like only like a 1% difference from
Right,
like
right, right.
gold. So that's yeah,
But
I agree with
but
that.
I
it's
thought
it's always
what
gonna come
were you dropping?
down. It's always gonna come down to stuff like that though. Like and I don't want to just make it strict to one category, but like the higher skill players gonna find ways to like
Use
just
the
show
shit on
that they're just
lower.
better skillfully. You
Yeah,
said what?
I say I was just going on your point. I was gonna say like the better skill players in whatever game mode or whatever position gonna find a way to make that badge useful if they can on as low of a tier as possible. Like if niggas in here like who not nerd out need like a visual. I'm real cool with 2K Labs. I usually watch they shit and like I try out the shit myself, but they usually give you factoids. You feel me? It's better to get
Right.
a fact so you can go off that fact. So you not just saying some dumb shit, but like it been like a fact. Like the past 3 or 4 years, corner specialist Silver is just as good as Hoff because the rise from it going to Silver to Hoff is not enough for where you finna waste your 10
Exactly.
catch points
Exactly.
on that getting that, which is why let's say Red dribble better than me. He might need Hoff speed booster because he combo better than me. He can make his build on that. I'm cool with Gold, which now I
Uh-huh.
can make all
Uh-huh.
around build, but he
Uh-huh.
can make
Pick
his
their
build.
brain. Pick their brain.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the
And
only
to
way.
Yeah,
add,
pick their brain.
to add to what you're
You gotta
saying
find
too, I
when
think
it comes
it's gonna be sorry, real
Hold on,
quick.
hold
It's
on. Go.
gonna be
Let us speak real quick. Let us speak. Go ahead, Lavelle.
when it come down to it, it's just like everybody gonna have their specific play styles. You gotta figure out the little nuances that's better to your game. Like everybody that like for Appa, he said it earlier about like slashing against the rim. He may be one of those players that could use the meter jump joint to where like all he needs is posterize on Silver, so that way he could have like a 95 steal or something like that. So now he boxing and he don't got to worry about scoring because he done mastered it. The next person may come in here and be like, "Oh well, I need gold, I need Hall of Fame." It's really just those. I feel like when you really I think Splash hit it on the head earlier when he was like, just take your time and realize like and make your decisions smartly throughout whatever time period that you can, so that way you could utilize that build as much as possible. I feel like people miss the point that this is like back for me particularly. Basketball is competitive, so I'm playing to be the best. I'm playing to beat my opponent 9 times, 10 times out of 10. So no matter what, I'm gonna find the best way to be able to get the most out of my build, and that's the best way that you're gonna do that by taking the time to look at what thresholds you have for each badge and what those attributes lie and how effective you can allow your game to
Yo,
be.
listen, 2K Labs, not to get you off, 2K Labs will have that information. I think Friday they said every single requirement. So for the badges. So we already got it before the release of the game. Y'all can pull it up. I usually just throw it on a Google Docs and I take the ones that I need. The way I do it, I'll just steal the ones that I need for my play style. And then I'm like, all right, I need this, I need that, I need that. And I'm going to test which range is good for me as far as like gold, silver, all that.
And
Then from there, you
another
make your decision.
And another thing I want to let niggas know, me and Red was talking about thresholds. So for people who don't know what thresholds is, a threshold is for two things. One, it could be like for your personal threshold of like, I know I could get my three to this rate and I'm gonna be consistent enough. Then it's another thing in 2K, especially this past year, where certain numbers feel like the same number. So say I get a 95 three, it's the same as me having a 99 three, because in game, you got all your boost and you got this and that, shit better. Or say you a center and you want to pop and you got a 65 three, it's the same as if you got a 69 three. Obviously, we're not saying that's how it's going to be on 24, but it's certain thresholds you can figure out throughout the game that, oh shit, so I made this build with a 71 3 on accident, but I'm shooting like I got an 83, etc. Which is why that's why I tell everybody. Obviously, you can look at your favorite content creators, get the information you need from everybody, but try to make your first build or your second build really towards you, your personal build, because you play different than like, let's say y'all watch me and I make a lock with a 65 3 and I don't miss all my clips. I'm hitting jump shots, fades, everything. You try to make a 65 3 and you look like Andre Roberson. So it looked like you need an 83, but I need a 65 3. So keep that in mind when y'all, just because I know a lot of people don't want to go through. Y'all hearing the builder strict, and that's like scaring some niggas. Y'all don't want to go make the build. Still try to make the build yours. Don't just copy and paste. What I say and the advice I get to everybody who look at content creators' builds, use it as a template. Like, let's say Fana, because he's a competitive point guard. I'm obviously gonna look at whatever build he drops. That's the first nigga shit I'm gonna look at. That don't mean I'm gonna copy his build first day. I'm gonna be like, okay, so he put his shit here, 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 boom, 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 and you tweak it from there.
You tweak.
Exactly.
You tweak that motherfucker, man.
Right.
I
And
think another thing that y'all could add to your game too is like what I do personally, like no matter what people gonna say, like you're gonna go into the game and it's gonna be like certain dunks, certain step backs, certain hop jumpers that's just OD effective, like OD effective. So you want to go in there and just make sure that you see what attributes you gotta have to unlock certain animations. Like that play a huge role. Like for me, a lot of people don't like per se, like when I'm rim running, like if I'm rim running baseline, I usually do like double clutch reverse off two, like just because it damn near teleports you to the rim. Like those small things is like what separates you in the game. Like you got to look at stuff like that, especially when you're trying to separate yourself on a competitive level.
And another thing I was gonna say, like to add to like both Lavelle and Splash's point, is like this year, like because there's no badge points, like I think it's even more important that people really look at like their attribute thresholds and really like really think about what they're gonna do. And then again, that's why I always like to refer to like 2K Labs whenever they drop. Because like now, for example, like Splash was kind of saying, like if Limitless 3 is like at gold is like a 92, and you know 2K Labs is like, well, you don't really need to have Limitless at that high. Like it saves you, like it's not saving you badge points, it's saving you attribute points, which this year is going to be more important. So, like, yeah, bro, like both of you guys are correct. I agree with both of you guys, bro, on that point.
It's gonna be a good year.
Gyro, you ain't got nothing to say. You usually got something to touch on. Gyro, you ain't got nothing to say.
I mean, y'all been. I just got in here. Actually, I'm glad you picked me up. But I did want to make a point about this. All year last year or in 23, I hate comparing 23 to this game, but I was using like silver and gold badges and getting by really easily and doing the same things like a lot of other people could do that had like a higher 3-pointer. Like for instance, I made like a 6'9" with a 91 3-pointer, and I was able to hit effectively from deep. But like a lot of other people couldn't do that with like just like silver and gold badges. So like depending on how effective like the badges are, like if Hall of Fame is really worth it, then that would create its own skill gap and really defy the builder if like Hall of Fame is really worth chasing rather than if it's easy to get by with like silver and gold.
I was saying that yesterday, my G, and
Oh,
actually, I was saying Wolf is over there, and he's actually a part of the scene deep in the trenches, and I'm sure a lot of the developers also are out there too. But I just felt like since the new system is fluctuating, and you can only get to gold for permanent locking in with the floor setters, 100% that could be possible that this year Hall of Fame might be way better because you know it's not like that every year, but who knows? You never know.
now, what to add to that, right? You know, one of the biggest things that he mentioned, one of the reason why we started this space that takes us back to like the main topic of why we started this space. Back to what Gyro said. So Mike Wang, and I want your opinions on like for the people who didn't get to touch on this. Mike Wang basically asked if you have a 73 point, how high should having a healthy shooting badge loadout boost be? He said 75, 80, 85, 99. So I voted 75, me personally, because like we were talking about
I
it
voted
earlier.
80.
Yeah, I feel like 80, anything higher. Okay, 80. That's gonna be like the casual marking. Like that'll be good for like. But you gotta remember, like even with a 70, like say you have a 70, right, and with shooting badges, like
Yeah,
you gotta
you
understand
you
you're
hitting
getting
that bitch
boost,
consistently, bro.
right? You
What?
getting boost. You're getting boost
Then
from
20%. Then 20% if you got your shot meter off.
right? Then you get hot
Yeah, you know
spots.
what I'm
Then you
saying?
got the badges, bro. That's I mean. Like I feel like 75 is like we said. What we were agreeing earlier, we said 75 will be the best. What's your take on that?
I'm not gonna lie, I
I
Um
didn't
put
think
put
about.
it
I
like
didn't,
this,
oh, go ahead,
bro.
go ahead.
My fault. I'll put it like this, bro. It's 4 badges for catch and shoot niggas to get a boost in they shot off of shooting badges. You get catch and shoot, Claymore, the new shit, the open shots, whatever. And then if you a corner build, you get corner specialist. Then you got to think about it. Since we don't got badge points and your build basically get whatever your build can get off the attributes, 9 out of 10, a good point guard is gonna have dimer somewhere on the build. Then you got like the relay pass or the touch pass or all the extra passing shits that give niggas boost. You turn the meter off, you get 20%. You get hot spots, you get other boosts. It's like
Preach.
a nigga could make a 73 ball, but shit, realistically, you throw all them boosts on there, that shit might be a 90 anyway. So now you want
Yeah.
to give a nigga another boost from 70 to 99. Niggas gonna have 196 3-pointers with a
You,
70.
you,
Hey, go ahead,
But
iPod.
forgot
Go ahead,
one.
iPod. I know you
You
want
forgot one badge,
to.
bro.
iPod, go ahead, iPod.
Well, I mean, my thing is right. One thing I always do, I do always take like a lot of information from like 2K Labs, Pacers Gaming, other YouTubers, private conversations or videos. But the one thing that I always do is when I make a build, right, I go in and I play like through like a little bit of playthrough, like the college and all that stuff, right. But once I get into games, my first 3 games dictate, like at that 85 overall or whatever that I boosted up to, it dictates pro, all-star, superstar, and then Hall of Fame is the last one, right? So if I kind of perform the same throughout whatever badges I like, I'd be like, oh my God, I just killed somebody with this posterizer. I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna keep that one on, but then I'm gonna take off these other ones real fast and see how I perform with that. If I try Deadeye and like maybe I'm playing on All Star for a game and the Deadeye don't work, I'd be like, all right, you know what? Let me put it back on. Let me see how that go. Then I play it with All Star, like, I was cashing in that corner. All right, bet. And then I just go from there. And then when reports come out about badges not needing to be a certain way, I'd be like, you know what? I understand them. I'm gonna try this out. I'm gonna go to the park now. Let me try it out with what they said. See how I play. All right, it didn't play like the way I wanted it to play. Rec is always my last resort. Let me go here. I'm gonna go with what their recommendation is. It didn't work for me. It just wasn't working the way that it was working prior to that extra level. And that's where I always go with it. I kind of test them out again and go from there. But I'm telling y'all, if Mike is talking about a 75-3, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, you might want to go like 81, but because Mike might be trolling, Mike do be trolling sometimes, but I know for a fact that there are players out there that don't move a muscle. They will sit there in that corner and let all the badges stack up with Claymore, corner specialist, this new open looks and all of that, like catch and shoot. They gonna sit there and let that just build up to their player. So if that big drop or that that little guard going for a little steal or whatever the case may be and get out of position, they gonna hit them 9% in the corner over the small guard, or they gonna hit an open look, you know what I'm saying, because ain't nobody there. So I believe that the 75-3 will work, but I don't think we need nothing extra though. You know what I mean?
So
All
I
right,
got
to
I
speak
got
on
two
that.
questions for you real quick. Because like that sounds like a great strategy. I'm not gonna lie. But the only problem with that is like 23 is nothing like we've ever seen before, especially with the badge system. So like now it's not you're not even equipping badges. It's just however you play. So my first question to you is like, how are you gonna do that? Like, are you gonna just like stop doing those things, or are you just gonna keep doing those things? And then the second thing, real quick,
Oh,
is like
keep going.
attributes are tied to badges this year. So it's like if for example, like if you're talking about like Deadeye, right? For example, like if you feel like you didn't need to get that Deadeye that high, what's the alternate to that? Like, are you just gonna make another build and maybe lower your 3 point range or your mid range so that you don't have to go that high and maybe put those attributes on something else? Like, so those are
No,
my two
so this,
questions.
this is all for floor setters. So basically, we all have to have a different outlook on this game, right? Since we don't have badge points, which we can't take off or put on, right? When you first get your attributes and stuff, and you're like, all right, these are the badges that I can unlock. When you go from there, once you start getting your floor setters, by the time you get your first floor setter, if you don't get it at level 1, you should know, like, I like this badge a lot. You see what I'm saying? Like, you should have acquired a lot of games by day 3 of the game. You feel what I'm saying? Like, to Kai's point, he knows he's going to get a little bit of sauce. He's going to tweak a little bit of stuff. Be like, you know what? Damn, I shouldn't have listened to myself on that. Well, let me go back. He said he's going to have 5 builds day 1. If you know for a fact that by day 3, day 4, you might almost have a build done, you're going to know what badges you are in love with already. So that's why this actual, I guess, test or whatever you want to call it is all for floor setter. If y'all are saying that once we put floor setter on these badges, they're cooked for the rest of the 12 months we gonna be playing. That's what it comes down to. Because we all know most people's season 1 build, by the time season 2 comes out, you probably gonna have a whole nother build that you like. The whole community might have a consensus on what's the best or whatever the case may be. But for everybody else, they just gonna be like, you know what, I could live with this build. You know what I'm saying? Like, I bring out my season 1 build for season 8 and 9. I was dunking on people crazy, but it was because it had a 99 driving dunk and it had 93 strength for bully. So I was like, yo, let me just have fun, not be competitive, not go out there and sweat, every game. Let me just go out here and just, what I'm saying, throw up a couple buckets. All right, I want to dunk on folk for the next 2 weeks. And that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, like everybody says, it's to the player, but I just want to make sure that we not putting too much stake in everybody else's word without you testing it yourself. Because remember, somebody might not be playing on a monitor, so you might say, oh, you need this badge because such and such. You ask, no, it's not because of that. It's because this person might not be on LAN. They might not have a 1 millisecond monitor. You know what I mean? They might not be plugged in with the controller. So, like, we got to be nerds about it. You know what I'm saying? And people that don't have the fortune to get certain items that's going to make their gaming experience much more better at a competitive level, you have to just let them know, like, yeah, man, I mean, if you get this monitor, bro, this joint like 130, this joint might take you to a whole nother level. You know what I mean? But it's like, who wants to spend 130, or who wants to just put on a badge upgrade real quick? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it really comes down to.
All right, and
Yeah,
then to
yeah, I
speak
feel
on
you.
the threes for a quick second. Now, all of us up here, we could make a 70-75 three ball. A competitive player can make a three ball. You're going to know the timing of your shots. But we talk to a casual player, I would say 80 to 85-ish, because we know what to boost. We know what to put on. We know how to raise our green like window. So it's like, I would say a casual should go 80, 85-ish. That way they could at least have a higher chance of making their shots because they might not be as skilled at shooting as we probably are. Then one more thing on the strength. When people say the strength is going to matter, is just like the clamps. You had to raise the acceleration for your clamps to go up. So you'll have to raise your strength to get certain badges. So I would go 70 if you competitive and you good at shooting. But if you are casual and you struggle with shooting, go higher, 80-ish, maybe even 90s. That way it help you out. And then you could get like with the new badge, the wide open badge, you could get that gold Hall of Fame to help you make your shots if you know you struggle shooting as a casual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Feel
want to actually add
like
to that with iPods and your topic to make it make more sense on a simple term. Just an example, right? If everybody right now that's here equips the LeBron step back, right? You're gonna get a wide, and you make some room to make a play. Or let's just say you pull a KD, which is a very small short, and it gives you a chance to do something, with a little more speed and to get into the action faster. So those are just options. And now nobody's going to tell you the recommendation for you. You have to decide, like, okay, well, yeah, I want to have the quick step back so I could go ahead, big crossover, or do a hezzy, or just try to speed burst one way, whatever it is your play style, right? Or if you're going to go with the LeBron, get that wider step back, maybe hit a three or do whatever you feeling, you know what I mean? And that's where, like, playing it yourself, I always recommend. I think that's kind of what some of us are preaching here. Just get your hands on it and figure it out. Test.
Facts. I say spend hours to the entire day one in a builder. I know you're gonna be excited to play the game. For everybody in the space, you just want to make a build and start playing. But your best bet and get the best bang for your buck is take your time. Try the templates, try different dribble moves, but the goal is to make sure when you go to the park, you gonna have your money well spent because you made a good build. So spend hours to the first day. We all do this up here in this speaker space. We gonna spend hours to the entire day before we go just hit the park until we comfortable with our bills.
I think one of the biggest things too is like what people got to look at too. Like when you get into a new game, while you laughing and doing all these things, and I'm sure like Splash, iPod, or even y'all and Red will agree. Like one thing that we definitely got to test out, or anybody in the community need to test out before they start locking into shooting badges. Really learn and understand the contest system. And based off what they're saying, is like you really got to understand what is open, what's not open, what's greenable. If you could hit a 7, hit a 9, hit a 15, if they sped up, if they slow down, if you're fatigued, like you got to know all these little nuances of the game. Because like they said before, like you may not, you may have like an 87 3-pointer, and you like, why am I missing this and why am I missing that? You may go against somebody that got an 81 and they could hit a 9 or hit a 12 or hit a sped up or whatever the case may be. Like those little small things matters for real. So definitely take your time
Yeah,
to look into
and the fact that Mike also said everything is greenable. He said
Everything.
everything. Everything. He said, and even 100% success. He
Oh
said everything was
no.
greenable.
Can
Yeah,
can
he.
Brett, can I ask you a question,
Go
Red and Splash? Because you
ahead.
guys are mostly comp guys. So like, what is like your actual like concern with the Mike Wayne tweet about like the 70 and like the boost thing? Because like,
Okay, so
cause
for
real quick,
us,
'cause I just want to so like everybody else can like know because Q the guy was basically saying like he thinks it should be higher for the casual, but like in the comp stage or like what does that look like for you guys? Because
that's like you're literally letting us play with a free green. Basically, you're basically letting us. It's NBA Jam for us when you do that for us because what happens is like
there's no skill gap.
there's no skill gap. There's no skill gap for us because in a sense of everyone is literally sitting there like, if we're already greening, right? We're already greening with a lower three, right? So now let's say you're giving us that boost, you give us that crazy boost, you're helping the casual, but that's what turns the game into a non-skill gap game. And the reason why it turns into a non-skill gap game is because now the casuals hitting shit that they wouldn't really even hit, but they're only hitting it because you're giving them that crazy boost. You get what I'm saying? So like it kind of like it doesn't separate. That's why people keep up with you, and you're not really like you're like, bro, you're hitting bull, like you're hitting shit. People know when they're hitting shit they're not supposed to hit. You know what I mean? Like we
Like,
even know it.
like realistically, like, and I'm not trying to like sound like up and nothing like that, but you can't like have like John Morant shooting on the same clip as like Steph Curry. Like it's just, I get it, like how people want that, like the luxury of it, but it just don't work. I feel like 2K is always at its best when there's like a skill gap. Like for example, I know Splash is not going to dribble as good as Fana, but I know like I personally feel like Splash is a better shooter, like being more consistent.
Yeah, like he's
But
a scorer. He knows how to score better.
yeah, he's gonna keep it simple. He's just gonna score. He's gonna take whatever the defense give him. Like that's just the game, and it should be a skill gap based game. Like I feel like even me personally, I feel like 75 is a little bit over because one thing we didn't mention is green machine. Once you hit two greens, like you your meter, or even if no meter, you damn near snap green if you know your shot cue. Like you damn near snap green every time. So it's like those small things is like it play a big role. And like what happens is like if it's too hard to shoot in previous years, like the next patch that come out, make it too easy. Or if it's too easy to shoot, usually like everybody's satisfied with the game. Or if the people that can't shoot, then it turns into a one-dimensional game, and that's when people start complaining. Whether there's like a 6-9 that's super duper rim running or not doing certain things, and that's when like that imbalance starts to creep into the community, and then you got one side versus the other side, when ultimately we should just be aiming for the best product possible. The reality of it is, and I'm not trying to sound like, I'm not trying to insult nobody or nothing like that, but sometimes dudes just need to get better. Like work on your craft, get better, and compete, and that's just what it comes down to.
I would like to add to that. Mike Wayne, just last year, he was talking about how, dunking and layups and the timing for that, and he's like, you know what, the community, and I like that he said that too. He said the community's not ready for timing everything. So dunks and layups, and right now that's an automatic. And everybody's using automatic setups like an aim assist. He's like, okay, just use your player percentage. Basically, he took out player percentage last year. That's when he said that. He was like, well, the community's not ready for complete timing on everything.
So,
And unfortunately, for me personally, the way I look at it is like, you got Dark Souls games that are really hard, but that's how you get hardcore players. And I think the so-called casuals can, if they get forced, like I've been pushing shot timing for everything. Layups, for example, is the main thing. It's like, yo, and this year they put the timer, you can turn it on and off, but they didn't force it for everybody to have it automatic. And that's something that I think if they did that, now it brings a skill gap, but it also makes a casual become hardcore fan of the game, because then they want to learn and they're going to try to get better and they're going to spend more time on the game to actually improve. But, the Mike Wayne himself said that he doesn't think the community's ready. If you look up the tweet from last year, he said that.
So y'all cool with a 80% contested
so,
shot going in?
so wait. So wait, let me talk on. Well, I'll answer that first. First off, 80% shots not finna go in at a high rate. That shit's probably gonna go in like one
Once in a
time.
blue.
Like the only time I seen them shits go in consistently was Next Gen 21 when you had Sharp Badge. You was able to green consistent like 100%. But let me talk on the 70, 75 3. So the thing is, just like them to explain, and I agree, when you add all these boosts to niggas shooting the ball, your three is become lower and lower and lower, because all you have to do is fit the original threshold he said. So if Mike Wang say the original threshold, the numbers he usually put in, he usually make a tweet like, well, I think 73 is good for some people, but 75 is a good thing. So I played my team, and it was a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar this year. He had a 63 ball. When I tell y'all, I got clips of him green and yellows, etc. Because all the boosts and shit you could put on the court, or even when you make a player, all you got to do is get them to that original threshold, which is why the boost shouldn't be that OD. Because if I got a 63, me putting a healthy badge load out plus boost plus dimer plus hot zone shouldn't get me to a 75-3 because now I technically got a 75-3, which is now the competitive players and shit become more and more abusive because then shooting's really not as hard as you think it is because all we got to do is find a way to get to a 75-3. Or if he's saying, well, I think skill shooters going to be able to shoot at a 65, like y'all who played 20, I always bring this up. The Blue Reds had a 52-3 knockdown. They didn't miss a shot. Literally, they was going 6 for 6, 7 for 7 out the corner. So now you get to make glitchier and glitchier builds with lower and lower threes because he already told you that capped out threshold. That's why I don't think it should be crazy boost from badges. Badges should help you, for what it says, but they shouldn't be
So
like I should be able to have an 83, put on 4 or 5 badges, and I really got a 99-3 when I'm shooting a hot spot.
So Splash and Lavelle. I mean, because I mean, it makes sense. Like now hearing like the reasoning, it makes a lot of sense. But like Lavelle was kind of saying, like the problem is with like 2K is like if they make the shooting like too hard, then people are gonna complain, and then they'll patch it, and then they'll make it easier. So like I guess like if you guys could like think of like a solution, like what is the actual solution? Because Lavelle tried to give one, but then he was like, well then. Like if we make it too hard, people are gonna complain, and they're gonna make it easier. So it's like, is there even a solution to that?
It's not gonna be a solution because the game. Somebody might got an echo, by the way, but it's not gonna be a solution because the game's gonna get easier throughout time. As much as y'all want to believe that they're not gonna touch the game one time, there will be a shooting buff. There has been at least 2 to 3 shooting buffs the last 3 to 4 years. For my niggas who played 21 current, when you didn't have your my player grinded, we was all in the wrecking park shooting 5 for 1 million. They dropped a shooting buff randomly one day, and you could just shoot. There's going to be some type of shooting buff, which is why the original number that he says doesn't hold as much weight as it would 4 months later, or by December, or by January. Because he says 73 is going to be hard to shoot, or 75-3 is going to be hard to shoot. Then he stick to his word in the first week. It is hard to shoot. It's too hard to shoot. So now the casual majority of Twitter or YouTube or Reddit, etc. Well, I can't hit a shot and I got 83. The game's too hard. Well, I can't hit a shot and I got 85-3. Yes, us comp niggas is hitting with our 75-3, 73, or I'm shooting with my 85-3 like I got a 99, but the game gotta be good to the greater majority. So now shooting get buffed once, then it get buffed twice, then it get buffed 3 times.
And that's
Not
why I
everybody
hope they
on that.
don't touch the game
And
for at least a month,
and
and
the
they start
piggyback
taking
on
back
that
into
too,
play.
you gotta take into account like labbing the game opens up so many different avenues too. So for example, that people kind of like it goes unnoticed for like the casual gamers that play 2K, and I don't mean that as an insult. Like I have to keep on reiterating that because it's just levels to anything that you may do, whatever game that you may play. It's like it's levels to it, and everybody in here probably started from a certain level to get to where they at. So when it comes down to it, it's like it's certain things that, for example, KPJ base, Kyle Kuzma base, LaMelo Ball base. Some of these bases you're gonna just find easier or have a bigger green window to shoot with. It makes no sense for somebody for the shooting percentage to be at 80%. LaMelo Ball got whatever green window ratio that it got, and now it's just like anybody can just green. You know what I'm saying? Like people want to feel challenged. Like if I get if I'm playing defense and again I don't mean it in no rude way, but Billy Bob is greening every shot, and I know that I'm a better defender, better offensive player, completely better than Billy Bob. Ain't no way I'm supposed to be going tit for tat with Billy Bob 257, whatever the case may be. If you're good at the game, it should show you should get rewarded for being better at the game. That's just as simple as it gets. Like
Which is why shooting should be. I'm not gonna say the hardest thing. I think the hardest thing on the game should be dribbling, but because I believe it opens the most avenues to offense. But shooting shouldn't be as easy as it's been in the last, 3 to 4 years. Though the last hard year we had for shooting was 21 current. Every other shooting year we've had, bro, it's been even before 20, it wasn't even a realistic green window. Like if y'all go back to y'all clips of 19, 18, niggas was shooting bounce backs, lates, earlys. You didn't used to miss on them games anyways. Nowadays, everybody could green, and that's why I say don't be so quick to complain because I know niggas think the comp niggas complaining. We don't get shit changed though. Like I probably bitch the most out of every nigga in this call or every nigga in here. And bro, I'm still gonna win the first 2 or 3 my team tournaments. I'm still gonna be competing in every prom tournament. I complain because I broke that barrier. This shit not fun to me no more. This shit a job. You feel me? Like I enjoy talking to my viewers. I enjoy talking to my friends, playing with my niggas. But like I view this game as this is putting food in my family or me and my girlfriend mouth. Like you feel me? So I view the game from a different eye than most people will. But the thing most people don't understand before they complain, they missing because, like Verse said, they don't got on the good bases. We figured out the good bases a week into the game. O'Shea, LaMelo, KPJ, Kyle Kuzma, Steph Curry, etc. They out there trying to shoot with these bases that the green window is not that good because they might not be acclimated with 2K Lab or the comp niggas. So
Fact.
now we change the game because they weren't really acclimated. But when I talked to Billy Bob in January, he got on LaMelo with Oscar Upper. Now he really don't miss because shooting was made easier for that avenue of people, which I don't have too much of a problem with if there's a definitive skill gap in something else besides shooting. When Billy Bob can blow by you, quick drop, blow by you, Westbrook dunk, step back and shoot too, but you can see because good niggas, you can see if the nigga you playing is good, that he's not really that good. The game's just too easy at that point. You feel me? So I just want the game to be hard and not too hard for niggas, but the way I be explaining it is if we got a 10 out of 10 player and a 9 out of 10 player, in most games, you can see how much better the 10 out of 10 player is than a 9 out of 10 player. In 2K, you could take a 10 out of 10 guard and a 6 out of 10 lock, or vice versa. And they look damn near the same. Like it's too easy to stop the other one or score on the other one. So hopefully the game has a variety of like it's a difficulty for you to be able to tell the difference between hey, this nigga is that much better than this nigga, even though they're both comp.
That's what we need, and that's what we need, bro. Because 23 has literally no balance at all, bro. You know what I'm
I'll be
saying?
honest.
I agree with
My
most of
fault,
what
AJ.
you're saying, bro.
I, to be honest, like it benefits everybody because like for me personally, like when I'm playing somebody that is just outperforming me, it make me really have to go work on my game. So like let's take it to a content creator standpoint. Like EJ, uh, Red City, Splash, TJ, iPod, like dudes that do this like on a high level to where like they do like this is a part of their livelihood. Like nobody want to see like somebody that they know that they're better than in the game with them, no matter what the case may be. Like whether it's for views or competition or the passion of the game, like y'all want to go in knowing that I worked on this XYZ XYZ. I shouldn't have to worry about this type of competition or this type of person. And if that is a consensus around the game, then that's something that just needs to change. Like that's just what it comes down to. And I understand like it's a hard thing to hear, but that's just what it is.
Yeah, and I think that's where the game, why I think a lot of people didn't like 23 as much. Obviously, there was an avenue of people who did like the game, and I don't hate on nobody. Any nigga is entitled to his own opinion, whether I think the game's the worst thing I ever touched or whether he think the game the best thing he ever touched. Like if a nigga like EJ wanted to tell me he think 23 one of the best games because of what he accomplished, I can't disagree with him. But if a nigga who I know I've been busting his ass for 5 years tell me that 23 one of the best games because he just now good, that's where I think that we was talking about this like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. The skill gap between amazing, like I'm talking a top level player. Like if you go in any other avenue of any other game, almost a top level player is usually not going to be in the game with a nigga who's not even considered comp. On 23,
Right, right.
you win a lot of games with a lot of niggas who don't even consider themselves comp. Some niggas probably don't even load this shit up for real. They load up they 6'9", they give you the game of your life. And
See,
you
I like how
doing it.
you look at I like how you look at the game though. You look at it from the competitive comp side. You know what I'm saying? Which is
That's it.
good.
But like I
And
listen.
I look at it from a different. See, I look at it and I look at it different. But I like how you doing it because you like okay. EJ probably look at it from the content creating side of it like more than the comp side of it. But I look at it
Mm-hmm.
first as the competitive winning tournaments, winning shit. You know, I look at it like this. I like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why.
It's good.
That's why. Like after I
It's good to have both of those. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I listen to a nigga like you, and I understand where you coming from. Why you don't consider this game like you don't really get no fuck. You pulling 4K. As much as niggas want to say the game dead, your shit not dead. So how you gonna say the game dead? And I understand that
Right.
compared to if I. That's why like I know how to see the game from a different lens. It's from content creation, from competitive, from casual, from the niggas who I wouldn't even consider casual. They damn near don't even load up. They get home, they pull out the black and mild, they pull out the Bud Light, they load up an hour,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
they play now online, they load up with the Lakers, and they get off type shit. So I know how to
Yeah, they
do
get
it.
off. These are niggas that drive trucks all week and they cut off work and these niggas see these niggas they don't look at that, like I said, they don't look at the game the same as, oh man,
Damn.
I'm trying to let me learn these different, let me lab up, let me lab up. These niggas don't give
They
a
just
Get
fuck.
trying
the
to have
The
fuck
fun.
on.
average nigga is not labbing up, dog.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck. They looking at, they gonna type in demigod build on YouTube if they want to play my career with top views. Okay, I'm making that. Hopefully I can score. If I can't,
Yo,
fuck
but
it.
I want to say something to that because see, my thing is when I was talking about Mike Wayne, like he understands that, and that's what the quote I said earlier about why he said like the community's not ready for timed layups and timed everything and all this. But my thing is there's a lot of games that, for examples, that are very difficult that they don't give you a easy mode, and you just got to get in and you got to play and you got to figure it out. And I feel like, on a stance, I'm not with or against one side, right? I'm also at the same boat. I see all perspectives, but it will help if you create mechanics that say, hey, look, you got to figure out this layup timing. Hey, you got to figure out this, like meteor dunk only. You can't even dunk regular no more, like just meter dunks only, like things like that. And then you keep it into the game. You introduce it for 5 years. I promise you, the casual community gonna figure it out sooner or
The
later.
only problem with that is that like 2K is a basketball game that's rated E, so it's like as bad as I don't disagree with you, but as crazy as it sounds, like you got 7, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds
Yeah,
that
but they
want to
better
play.
than most. Those 8-year-olds are better than the adults who only play once a week.
I
Man,
mean, I ain't gonna,
these
I ain't gonna
kids
lie.
out here
Listen,
are so
right?
good,
Go ahead,
bro.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, man. My whole fan base is kids, bro. So
Listen, like,
I'm
so
telling
like,
you,
yeah, like, so when you talk about that, right? That's why competitive players get upset when we speak on like when we speak. Of course, we understand casuals have to get catered to too, but it's like you're comparing someone who plays your game all day every day to someone who might pick up your game for an hour or two, like splash chat and put the game down. Don't get me wrong, like, you know, 2K is 2K, bro. It's the only basketball game. People gonna buy that shit regardless of how it plays out, bro. Even people who say, I ain't buying that shit next year. Look what everyone, you know how many people said, yeah, last year that was their last 2K and they not playing it. Look where everybody at right now. Oh my god, like yo, this shit, this the one. You know what I mean? Like we back to square one now. We going through that stage. But the only thing different is this stage, this actually feels like this 2K actually sounds like it might have potential. So,
And
and
or real quick, man, I was just gonna ask like Splash and Lavelle, do you guys think the fact that like now online, like the difficulty is gonna be set to Hall of Fame is gonna play any
no,
different?
so he's what he said was basically he explained the stage is gonna have a different. So Park is always on like All Star. Park's always on All Star. He said stage is probably gonna be Hall of Fame difficulty, but the thing about it is like you gotta understand like that difficulty shit. Like it's kind of like they're gonna have to tap into the sliders. Obviously, that's why they're always asking constant questions because us when we play Park is different from okay when we play Hall of Fame difficulty on quick match. That's completely different from the Park because that shit don't matter when you're listen Hall of Fame difficulty for a Park person is like playing on Pro or All Star. And the reason why I say that is because when you're playing on quick match, you're playing with people who don't got every badge. Now, when you're playing at the Park, you're playing with someone who got 93 and they got all these badges and stuff. So that's where the difference comes in with that. Now, he also, like he stated though, like, stage will have its difficulty, obviously pro am, whatever. Everything's gonna have their own sliders. Now, my thing is though, like Splash said, I do want I like most games, right? Like Madden, right? Madden, I'm gonna be honest, right? Madden is arcadey as hell this year, right? Shit's still fun though. I could lose on that shit, I'll still play that, whatever. But you could tell who's the better player all the time. With the game being arcadey, you can still tell who's the better player 9 times out of 10. You know what I mean? Like like for instance, like you'll see even if the person's in the game that first half, you gonna see their ass get flooded by the third quarter, second, third quarter, it was end of the second, third, whatever it is. Now, you know, I'm hoping that that does so, because last year, like we said, you could lose any 6-9, and 6-9s were OP, bro. Like you could lose to any of them.
Yeah,
Now,
I hit on what he said. So like, man, I'm real tapped in. Like I'm cool with most of the Madden pros. I watch them. they'll literally be streaming and they be trying, like, they don't be OD watching stream. They'll be down like 28 in the first half, getting hold, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna still win by 14. We don't have the luxury of saying shit like that in 2K as much as a nigga like that is. Like, you telling me if I hit up a call, I'm talking from a pro level. This is why I'm talking like how I'm talking. Telling me if I hit up whoever the best Call of Duty pro is right now, and he give me a 28 kill spread, I bet he still know he 29 in game is 30. He still know he gonna win that game. And I just think the skill gap is decreasing in our game as of right now, because especially at the competitive level, you can't really tell who better. You can obviously tell better between a competitive and a casual, even if the game is close, even whether a nigga lose, you still might know you better than so and so. But so let's say me and Red are top two PGs and we both play. You really can't tell the difference between both of us most of the time, because most of the shit, once two comp level niggas go at it, it comes down to luck. Did you grab that board? Did it go through your body? Did he walk through your body for that blitz? Did your shot change right here? Did you get the wrong animation here? It becomes too RNG. And I don't have a problem with some form of RNG. And for people who don't know, RNG is it's just luck. Like, I don't have a problem with some luck being involved, because momentum is a bitch in basketball for niggas who don't hoop. But like, it ain't carrying a nigga for 4 quarters. It ain't carrying a nigga for a whole 21-point game. And if y'all playing like for some money and shit, and I just think that's where a lot of niggas knew, like, that's why a lot of people gave up on 23 early, and they just knew, like, when I'm playing a competitive level nigga or a competitive level team, the better team don't always win. And I think at the comp level, the better team should win 9 times out of 10. You can ask any nigga who played Pro-Am this year, any nigga who probably loaded up stage tourneys most of the time. You can ask the niggas in the 2K league. When they was loading up them best of ones and shit on the stage, any nigga could win up there. You can obviously say they are professionals, but it's professionals that's better than other professionals. And I think 23 had the minimized version of the skill gap between top players, so you can't even tell like who really supposed to win. You might know I'm better than whoever I'm playing, but the game just got him busting my ass, and I can't do anything about it. So I hope the arcadiness just slows down a little bit to the point I want to be able to control what I can control on the basketball game besides grading my open fucking shots. Like, I feel like everything else, kind of rebounds, worms, box outs. Y'all know the rebounds was bouncing to fucking half court this year. Sometimes you get to steal, sometimes you don't. I'm sure everybody here played a lane and tipped the ball back to the nigga in the scoring position. Loose balls, niggas turn into the flash and pick it back up. Like, too much shit you can't control. And I just hope on 24 you can control what you can control, so you can separate yourself from whoever you playing.
I'm not gonna lie, Splash, bro. You explain that shit crazy, bro. Like, like I said before in the past, I don't really watch any comp players play, but like just hearing you talk, bro, and the way you explain shit, bro, it makes it so eye opening. And we understand, like somebody like me, like when I first started joining the spaces, like I'd hear some people that come up here that they claim their comp and stuff, and they're talking. And I'm like, well, I'm thinking like from like a semi casual to like like a decent player, and I'm like, well, I mean, why? Like I couldn't understand why it was such a problem, but like hearing you guys speak, bro, like I'm really into detail. Like for all the casual people in here, or like those that like don't really understand why comp people like complain, bro. Like, bro, that was eye opening. I can't lie.
Appreciate you.
There's a
Just to
reason that
piggyback real
motherfucker
quick.
won $250,000. Well, sorry, was it 200 or 250?
I won twice, two 250s.
That shit. There's a reason he won that much money.
Just to piggyback off that too, like I think a lot of people have a problem with it because they take it as if though like we're talking down in a sense to like make them feel worse or something like that. I like critique the game, or Splash critiques the game in a sense of like I'm not critiquing it because I'm bad at it. I'm critiquing it because I know what I'm doing and I see what's going wrong or what should be happening versus what is actually happening. And I feel like that's just like trying to find that balance for the overall consumer. Like, do you hit it on the head? Like deflections, or if I steal the ball and the camera flipping, now you got the ball for some reason and I don't got the ball no more. Like, those small things is like game changing. Like we've seen people lose in a professional scale to where they steal the ball, the camera flips, and now that person that they stole the ball from now has the ball again. Like those small things, like you just got to look at those things and understand like that's just stuff that shouldn't happen. I shouldn't blitz you, watch my whole body hit the ball, and you just run and lay the ball up, whether it's a yellow or a red. Like certain things just shouldn't happen. Like it's just shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, it's literally
Or somebody dunking on you with four people jumping and you even time the meter right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's too much RNGness, and I'm trust me. That's why I be saying I learned the way to see the shit from a different level. And niggas know, like I said, I complain the most, but the reason I complain the most is because one, I'm playing for a lot of fucking money in most of these tournaments. So that him explaining that camera flip, it's the fourth quarter. I got a fast break three, it switched back. I got it stolen. I might have just lost 20,000. Or he just explained me getting dunked on by the dunk meter early timing on four niggas, or I tip a wide open pass. Like, bro, I'm complaining about that shit because this shit.
I understand, bro. I
Hey,
lost for money
yeah,
because a
that's
dude didn't green his free throw, bro.
yeah.
So
No,
I
no,
understand.
no, I'm just saying. So that's why I say I understand it from everybody level of the game, and I know most niggas. That's why I try to learn how to explain this shit down so everybody can understand what I'm saying. I'm not calling niggas ass unless you is ass. Then I mean that just is what it is. But if you know you not ass, you know you not ass. I call you ass all I want. Who cares? So it's just I just know how the game should be from the competitive level. Everything else, trust me, I take it with a grain of salt, bro. I'll load into the park most of the time. I'm laughing and giggling. I know the shit finna be bullshit most of the time. But when I load up in that prom, like, bro, we had niggas in the 2K league losing the playoffs because they had a wide open roll and laid the ball up off the bottom of the backboard. Like, you feel me? Shit like that. What you wanted him to do? Wide open. He niggas missing wide open dunks, and then the other nigga come down on the other end and one on three people 70%. Like, that's what I mean. I need the shit like that to be minimized. So then it's enjoyable to watch at a competitive level. That's another reason I think the 2K League not growing as much as it should. I think a lot of niggas need to market themselves better. 2K not growing as much as they should. Sometimes it's just not fun to watch. I think it's fun to watch niggas in the park and it's fun to watch niggas in the stage. Y'all be doing y'all fucking thing, but like if you niggas sit down and watch a competitive pro-am game with some fucking popcorn, bro, you're gonna turn that shit off because it's a bunch of ass shit going on 90% of the time. So like you will watch two top level prom teams go at each other, and y'all really would be like, honestly, I could beat these niggas. You can't. I promise you.
Yeah, I
You
swear I
stand
the
no
same
chance
thing.
of beating them niggas. But the game, it looks so ass when you watch two teams play. You just think you finna fucking do it to them niggas. That's the difference in when I be trying to explain it to niggas. And like, I just want the game to
Yeah.
have a
So,
from the
hey,
top level. That's it.
and someone said that he losing because of the invisible force fields on the baseline.
Yeah, it was a what that was 22 last year. For niggas who didn't play prom, it was an invisible wall in the game. I know it sounds stupid. It's
It
not
was
like
in
I'm.
the middle of the paint, right?
It was an invisible wall in the middle of the paint, and randomly in like the third or fourth quarter, your nigga just tripped trying to get a wide open rebound. I swear to God, invisible wall. So
Listen, I have
that
PTSD playing
you
center with that shit,
yeah,
bro.
you hear us bitching shit. We bitching for the better of the game because we break the game quick, bro. Like, bro, I'm gonna have this shit down to the T by the third day. Obviously, I'm gonna get better as the game go on, but whatever the most glitchy shit is, we're gonna have that figured out pretty quick because it's gonna be some tournament popping up 2 weeks in. We gotta be ready for that right out gate, et cetera, et cetera. But I still want I hope 2K can find a balance of Arcade. I know niggas thought that I was into it with Sim. That was all for just fun and games. I'm cool with a bunch of Sim Nation niggas. It just was funny. And 23 was dead, so we kind of sparked that. But I hope they can find a good balance of Sim, arcade, and comp. Like, but I know it's hard on a basketball game. So like,
I
Yeah.
as
was
much
I
as I
was
bitch,
like
I
you.
know it's
I was
hard.
like you until I had watched my kids not enjoy this game, and I was like, "Dang, I've never looked at it from their perspective because now they load up on the game, and I'm not going to give both them little niggas $100 to make a player, so they
Oh,
out
oh,
there."
don't get me started on that. I didn't even get
Hey,
to the microtransactions.
but not even that. It's like my kids go out there and they play against us, and it's not fun for them
Yeah, it's
now,
not.
and like they have to, like they had that one year where they had a Rookieville. I ain't saying they need to make a Rookieville, but they need to make two separate parks, bro, where you just don't really level up that much, but you play against people like you, and then they should make a park where it's higher level ups and you rank up
Okay, so
higher.
so so
I think they
so,
got that.
so to
That's the
answer
bouncing one where they be bouncing on the trampolines. That's where the key is supposed
No,
to be,
that's
if you
too.
ask
That's
me.
too
Come
casual. That's
on,
too
come
casual.
on, bro, come on.
No, that's too
Yo, cap.
casual. That's too
Crying,
casual.
that shit was funny as shit though. Hey, I'm crying. He's funny as shit for that. But listen, nah, the answer to that is, oh man, he's crazy. The answer to your question is what I said, right? So I said the way you solve that, there's two ways to solve that problem, right? like Madden, right? Anyone like when you load into the game, you have they ask you if you want to play arcade, simulation, or competitive. Now, 2K could add that too, but obviously it probably would like kind of numb the servers down. Now, what 2K can do is do that, or the second thing you can do, they just gonna have to make matchmaking skill based. So when you load into a park, like for instance, right, with rep and everything, they could make the park and they could make rec skill based matchmaking. I'm gonna be honest, right? Rec. The reason, all right. So the reason why we enjoyed, and even though it's a long time ago, the reason why we enjoyed 2K15 rec so much, 2K16, 2K17, and people don't understand like you know, those games cater to the better player. And, there was bullshit in every one of those games, but they still cater to the better player. And why I say that is like, besides 15 was skill gap. Then they dropped patch 4, everyone and their mom was good shooting bullshit in people's faces. Now, 16, 17, even 19, 18, like, they had it to where when you matched up in Pro Am, right? You were matching up with people in the same tier as you. If you didn't match up, if the server didn't find someone that was in the same tier as you wouldn't find a game, bro, until someone literally got into it. So I feel like, but now there's a lot more people now. Now we're talking about there's billions of people in the game, so that wouldn't happen now. So I feel like they should go into making the game skill based for rec, whether it's park. So you're playing people at your level, because you know what that does, bro. That keeps the game interesting. Like for instance, when I'm in the rec, bro, I don't like playing rec because I know when I go in there with 4 of my people, bro, we're gonna smack everybody damn near about 30, 40 or more. And that shit get boring. Unless you're grinding badges, bro, that shit get boring and it's L content. Bro, if I stream rec and we blowing people out, they're not watching that. Now let me play a rec team. Like say I'm playing someone at EJ or stats or splashes level, right? If I'm playing someone at that level and then that good, then they're entertained. Oh shit, this is a good ass game. Like lock in red or lock, they'll start your stats start talking to you, as into like, bro, y'all blowing them out, bro. This shit ain't fun to watch. It's more.
Yeah, it's boring.
That's why.
It's
Listen,
Man,
that's
I
why the
don't.
stage community does so well and the pro am when the matchups go because people love watching two people or two teams go at each other and they love like seeing that competitiveness. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, part content is good, especially if like you're a good creator. But like speaking on a competitive side, like when you're competitive and a content creator, like you know what I mean, like obviously you could be both, but there's a separate. Like I'm gonna give you an example. Like EJ plays to a certain extent, right? But EJ loves the park. EJ he'll say like he said outside. EJ will sit his ass and bust the random's ass all day, right? And he's a content creator, so he's entertaining, so he can do that. But for people who are content creators on the competitive side, it's kind of like you have to balance it out. You know what I mean? Because obviously
I mean,
you're playing for
I think that's what stage is made for, though. Stage is made for that, to separate the comp from the actual people that don't want to play like at a hard level like that every single game they play.
yeah, and I feel like that,
If
that
you
that's why I
think
said
about
that.
and not to cut you off, but if you
You good, you good, you good.
I was see when okay, so I know that most of everybody that my crowd that be out in the park, they don't play stage. The only way they'll play stage if I go to stage. They're not just gonna go there by themselves. Like they don't they always say, hey, I don't go to stage, EJ, unless you in there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I could tell just the way, some of them just don't want to be in stage because they know what it comes with.
Right.
Cause and they're gonna run and they're gonna run. You know what I'm saying? Opposed to a content creator probably playing in the stage that they probably watch every day, and that's going to make them want to go in there now. You know what I'm saying? But only for them though. You know what I'm saying?
And you're not lying. That's that you and staff are speaking facts on that, and you know what I mean. But what's gonna happen, right? This year's gonna be interesting, right? Because unless I don't see someone staying in the stage, unless they make two builds off rip, because you grinding your badges, unless someone's really good, like that's something, right? The people who are really good in the stage are really gonna show out this year, and the reason why I tell you that is because with the way your badges are set up, you playing comp all day, dumb badges ain't gonna line up the way they gonna line up in the park, bro. When you in the park, dumb badges gonna look amazing, but when you in the stage, that shit gonna change everything. You know what I mean? Like because you're playing sweats every single game. you're not gonna get them same shots. That that's why I said like when you're grinding for a multiplier or something, like I don't know if the stage and the park multiplier is gonna be together, but let's just say it is. People are definitely gonna go to the park first before they touch that stage.
To speak
Yeah.
on what Hate was talking about, with his kids getting not enjoying the game, like basically they getting dropped off. Because if you're not winning or having fun, you're losing majority of the time. But we all get on 2K23 right now, a little Timmy about to quick drop us to death. It's more about getting better at the game instead of trying to make the game easier for a casual little kid. I feel like if you focus on getting better at the game, you should want to play the game more. We all got to get that ass tap before we get better anyway. So if you a kid or a grown man and you want to be a casual comp player, you
Yo,
have to
hey,
go to
hey,
the
nigga.
stage.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, big dog. And the reason why
Yeah,
I don't agree with
hey,
that,
big dog.
hey, for
God
a
damn, hold it down, big dog.
for $100, nah, bro. They need to make it to where there's something for everybody to play. My 10-year-old son ain't fit to make a player that cost him $100 to get his ass whooped by a grown ass man. That's comp.
Hey,
Like,
but that's you gotta understand though. Like that's just something the gaming comes with, bro. We listen,
no.
listen.
I'm agreeing with y'all, but I'm
No.
saying
I know what you mean, nigga.
for that cost 2K, if you're gonna be hitting kids like that, I don't mind because I can hang with the big dogs. I've been doing this for years. But when I finally get to see my kids just really start getting in the park and stuff like that, I mean, I'm not giving them $100. So they out there with an 80 overall, and when they try to hop on the court, everybody hop off. They can't get a game. That's why they got to make something.
Right, but they have
You
that.
gonna
They
give
have
them
They
that
that.
could go to
100.
that
They
theater
You
though.
have
gonna
That
that.
give them
They,
that
theater.
100.
they got that theater, bro.
Big
Yo,
better
can
get
I
on that
say something?
trampoline, gang.
Yeah, he
hey.
gonna give them that 100.
Yo, can I say
Listen,
something about that? Here's the thing, man. I'm a little hardcore too about the skill based thing, but I understand where you come around. I got 2 kids, but my thing is maybe a separate mode for kids, a teenage mode. They got to
I
put in
would
there.
say theater. I would say theater is for kids, bro. Theater, the tramps, you know what I mean? Like I would say theater and stuff like that. 'Cause at the end of the day, bro, like, you know, at the end of the day, like no, nothing personal to you or any other parents. All my friends, all my best friends got kids. So like they're 10. You know what I mean? Like you say your kid's 10. At 10 years old, bro, they still young, bro. Like not no offense, like they're gonna play the game and they're gonna play the game and stuff like that, but they're 10. They're still young. They're not 12, 13. When they hit like 12, 13, that's when it'll be like more obvious they're into it for the fun of the game. So they're not gonna like, obviously no one likes losing, bro. We all gonna win. We all gonna lose. That's just how the game. Some people are gonna win a lot more than others. Someone gonna lose more than others. But when it comes down to that, like the kids are 10, they're still young, bro. Like the games eat for everyone. So while the games eat for everyone, obviously they had to make it for everyone, like, and that's what they're trying to do. They're literally trying to do that. But like, there's nothing you could do if listen, hey, listen. I hate to say it, but let me splash stats. One of us run into one of them little ass kids. I promise you, we getting an A+. I'm dropping all 21, and I'm moving on, bro. Like, and that's not even
No,
like a thing,
as you should.
right?
I'm not disagreeing with that part at all. But what I'm saying is, I look at it from both sides. Yeah, I want the game to be competitive, and then I hear my son talking about, "Oh, this man effed it." I'm like, "Damn, what's wrong, little dude?" And then he just getting his shit smacked. I'm like, "Dog, I'm not giving you an extra 50 because you're gonna get smacked anyway."
I
And it's
feel you. I've
like,
been through that. I've been through
so
that,
it's
bro.
like he don't want to play now. He go back to Fortnite, right? And it's like, damn,
Can I
like
get $50, Dad?
Now you
no.
buying V-Bucks. This is a transition, bro. Now you buying
No,
V-Bucks.
no, but
I,
so like I get what two. No, I'm saying where I get where 2K is coming from, but my issue with that is they completely looked out for the others, but the comp players they just like shut it down because like there was a time that you like I like playing pro am. Pro am is not fun right now if you're not in the league, bro. And then them games ain't like you're playing all day. You're gonna play about 2, maybe 3 league games a day, and then you done. Like pro
and
am
that's why,
closes
but
at a
that's why
certain time.
I got back to that earlier, and I already explained that. I explained like the reason why Pro-Am died, well, the leaderboard Pro-Am died, is because of the simple fact that shit died because they added private matchmaking in the leagues. The leagues ruined that because before you were in leaderboards, you're playing your tiers. There was some me and Splash literally had this conversation much earlier. The only way you can bring that back you're gonna have to put something in there where top 16 teams get to play in a tournament for $5,000 or $10,000. Now you got people in there because now what happens is since you got the league now, everyone feels like they're entitled. Like I ain't playing. You think I'm gonna play pro for fun, bro? I ain't playing that shit unless. But then again, the games haven't been the same from those times where pro am was really fun. Like the like Splash said. I mean, Splash and me were talking about it earlier, right? The competitiveness and the competitiveness compared now to then, it was way more competitive back then. People were like, they were on the game all day. They wanted to grind. It didn't matter. They just wanted to play. They wanted to get reps in, and they wanted to get reps in on game because also the game was also fun as hell to play too. You know what I mean? As into now, bro, ain't nobody want to watch someone do Steve Francis 1,000 times, bro, and fade all game. Nobody want to watch that shit, bro.
I get what you're coming from, Neff. I think one thing too is like, and I don't know if it's just broken or just not necessarily utilized. I think we already have the tools to like differentiate stuff like that. Like when you load into the city now, like you have the little meter that tells you like bronze, silver, gold, the purple joint based off your skill level. Like
That
y'all know
shit,
what I'm
that
talking
shit
about.
kind of fake though because if
No,
you
that's
look
fake
at
because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
be
yeah.
no,
That's
wait,
dashboarding.
yeah,
not
yeah, because I've been a Brown for all 5 seasons. I just don't play the
right.
shit. I load up on some. We load up for private. That's it. That's why I say like
Yeah,
it
that's what I
is
was about to say.
theater, and I think theater is supposed to be that spot. But the thing is, and even if they let's say they put in this game mode for kids, what's stopping me from going in there and beating the shit out of them because I got the shit beat out of me by some top niggas? Is all I'm saying. I'm not saying I think like that, but I don't. It's really hard for them unless they do skill based. The reason I don't want to do skill based,
I ain't
I
gonna
get
lie.
to
I
that
don't
in a minute.
think I like that. I go beat on the
Yeah,
kids.
no, that's
Oh,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
I get in the skill based in a minute. The problem is even if they put a game mode in for kids, what the fuck
How
is
you
stopping
restrict it? You can't
skaters
restrict it.
from going in there and beating the shit out of them? It might be either
Damn, yo,
bro
when you
code or
saying that
something.
is crazy, Splash.
But that's what I was about to say
Saying
though,
no,
Splash. Like
I can't get my A+ in the
Child
stage.
abuse.
I might go get my A+
What you
rest of
mean?
the
That's
way
free
though.
A pluses, free
Hey,
badges.
we do
Feel
need the
me?
kid
Hey, I'm
games
getting
for
all
the
my
real.
badges on little Timmy.
He said, "Fuck them kids."
I'm
But
going to go
that's
get
what I
my
was about
Yeah,
to
badges
say
what's
on
though,
them
stopping
Splash.
me
niggas.
Like
Fuck
though?
my
when you
career.
really think about it though, like what I was saying was like they already have the tool in there to like differentiate who's good and who's bad. I just don't feel like it's utilized well enough. Like let's say like your kid get online, Neff, and like he load into the park. In previous 2Ks, like if you walk up to the park, he could see like the player card and be like, all right, well, he a legend. I'm not about to play him. I don't think that is like that no more. Like that would be something that he can control, but I don't think there's a way for 2K to be like, yeah, it's some kids playing in this server. Let's just lock the server and protect them over here. I don't think that's a thing.
And the
But in
reason, oh, keep
Well,
going.
it ain't just kids, dog. Just
No, I
people
understand what
in
you're saying. You're
general.
just saying
Like, yeah,
lower skill level niggas, period.
yeah.
But you trying to make an argument for both sides by playing devil's advocate, which is what's the hardest thing to do on 2K? Cause like, man, I ain't gonna lie. As of right now, nigga, they can't do it because if they make the game too easy, we pissed. We gonna still beat niggas ass and we gonna adapt and shit, but we pissed. Now if the game too hard, now they gotta spend $200 to make a my player. For y'all who got kids, y'all gotta get them 200, knowing they finna load up and get their asses waxed.
Who said we gotta do it?
I ain't gonna lie, you kind of
Listen, I'm
do.
gonna tell my kid. I'm gonna
No.
if I got a kid at Ellison, get your ass in my career. All right.
Man, y'all not making them grind that nigga from
but
no
but
60.
They got
but I will
but Splash. They got all the time in the world. They're kids, bro. Like they got.
Yeah,
but
but I
I will
bet you
say
give
this
them that
though,
for them
Neff.
V-Bucks.
I will say this though, Neff. And I understand we're in a different time now. But back in the day, if you was playing the game and you losing, you gonna figure out how to get good.
Facts.
When I was getting waxed, when I was playing 2K9, 2K10 versus bigger brothers or people in the neighborhood or online, then when 2K11 came around with crew mode, I was waxing people bad. You just had to get better, bro. It's unfortunate. Maybe they could start off. I'm not. I ain't talking about you particularly. I'm saying in general. Maybe kids could start off playing Roblox first, learn 2K, and then go from there. And like,
They fuck around
And
and get
but
waxed in that too.
I was using my kids as an example. The
Hey, niggas
example I'm
was dropped
setting
by
is
Roblox. I don't know about that.
it don't matter how good you is. I've watched my son come to my park and drop me for like 10 off quick drops. So it's like if you gonna make it for everybody, then make it for everybody. If you're gonna make it for comp and show who's different, do that. But the shit that is at now, it makes no consistency sense. Like you couldn't tell my son coming to court with a 99 overall right now, and he was on twos and he took out first, and he was quick dropping you. You couldn't tell him being good or bad versus the last 10 people you played that did the exact same thing. So that's what I'm saying. Is like the game
That's what
just
Splash
doesn't
just said
have
that though.
any consistency.
We just had that. We just literally had that conversation. So that's literally what we were just talking about. How
Yeah, I heard you.
Yeah, so we're agreeing. We agree with that. Like, there's definitely no.
Yes,
It's just gonna be hard.
It's just the consistency in the game that I have issue with. 2K20, you knew what you was getting. It was several people out there with different builds to where we're like, "Ooh, I never seen this build," and you'd be like, "Oh, I like that build. Let me see how you made that." It's not like that nowhere. These 3 builds: 6'9", a 6'1", and you'll get every blue moon a 6'8" with a 99 dunk.
The easiest way I could explain it is that, like, for me particularly, right, or like comp community, comp looks at skill like that's fun, and then the people that just want to genuinely have fun on the game, like the casual consumer, just wants to have fun by being able to play basketball for however they identify it by. Somebody may want to come in here and make Charles Barkley and play exactly like Charles Barkley. That's fun to them. Steezo load up in the park. He want to do 1,000 million dribble moves and not be penalized for whatever he don't want to be penalized for. That's cool. Like, it's just hard to find that median, and until we find that median, it's just
never. Listen, the fact is, I agree with what you're saying. We ain't never gonna find that shit, bro. You're never gonna find that shit. And even if, like, say you implemented a system where, like, okay, even if you implemented a system where it's like, all right, well, let's do a park for 10-year-olds and let's do a park for like the age brackets. That shit wouldn't even work because niggas alive say they 10 years old and bust 10-year-olds asses all day. So they don't do anything for rap. So, it's always gonna be, when it comes to that, it's always gonna be different, man. Like, like you're never gonna be. This is the point of the matter, right? The fact of all facts when it comes to this shit, bro. You can't, no matter who you are, just like a female, bro. Like, even when you're with a girl, like, bro, you can't satisfy them all the time. People are always going to be competitive players. Listen, whether you're competitive, whether you're casual, none of us are always going to be completely satisfied when it comes to the game because there's things that we're going to be upset about. A casual is going to be mad. A rookie, like you say, your kids, they're going to be mad that they're getting dropped off, right? We're going to be mad if we're playing against someone we know's ass and they're keeping up with us, but, that's the game. So it's kind of like, that's what the game is right now. The game is the way it is. The game is literally for everyone, like, because they have it to where, people can. But like I said, there's a skill gap this year, and it's going to be seen. That's why I said, like,
but
when they added adrenaline bars, go ahead. What you said?
No, but like the way you do separate that again, like you see Call of Duty with their modes. Like, again, I know we talked about this a million times, but like having places where there is a competitive area, like it is different sliders, is important. And I think that 2K has to create, ranked park and like ranked, even if it's 3v3 and 5v5. Like we talked about this ranked mode, but like they have to have separation. They have to have an area for the casuals, but then you can create an area for the competitive people. And like that guy that just came home from his 9 to 5 and doesn't feel like getting his ass like stomped on by Splash when he gets on, like, I mean, dude, then he doesn't have to worry about it because Splash is over there in the competitive scene playing against competitive people versus playing in the regular park.
The problem with that is what happened when I'm bored of that and I want to go play versus the nigga who coming home from his 9 to 5.
Damn, see,
And the answer to that is you're not gonna gain no rep over there.
Okay, now that is perfect. Now you got to get that to the devs.
That's what I was saying.
With no record and ranked with records and rep.
There you go. And I'm sure that y'all would love beating somebody by 21, man, but it'll be wasting your time.
I'm gonna keep it a stack, man. All this y'all saying is not gonna fix the game, bro.
Right, facts. I said that.
That's gonna make all the parks dead as shit. If you try to split the comp scene in the basic bot scene away from each other, then nobody's gonna be in the park. You need to reward the bad people for beating the good people with more rep. You need to reward the good people for beating the shit people with less rep. It's that simple. Like if you build all these different areas, bro, that's what made the parks die.
Yeah, and that's why I said, Holly, that's literally what we spoke on, and that's what we said. Like I was telling them yesterday, like the thing, like even when, like, I don't know if you were here yesterday, I don't, but we were literally speaking about that yesterday, and I was telling them, like, so the difference, and I was trying to explain the difference between with the park thing is they made 4 affiliations, right? They did the 4 affiliations makes it harder because now you have 4 different parks people at. you have, if you leave it at 3, you have more people. You have more people in
No,
every 3 of the
fuck
parks,
4, fuck
right?
3, 2 affiliations tops.
Yeah,
And also, those 2 affiliations should play in the same park.
right.
Everybody should be in the same
I
park.
think
If
they
you
just
want to
need to have
keep this game
console
alive the whole
affiliations.
year, same park. Stage,
Right.
park. That's it.
Right, and
No.
I agree with that. I say 2 of them, but 2K they'll probably keep it 3. Like they'll probably keep it 3, and I agree with you on that. And that's why I said like even the court thing, like people are asking why like you can't find games. I'm like, bro, you have 6 courts. When you had 4 courts, there was never. This is the thing, right? With the community is never happy. And that's why I'm gonna get back to why the community is never happy, right? When we had 4 courts, right? When we had 4 courts and 4 3v3 courts, and we had 2 or 3 3v3. I mean 2 2v2 courts, the community was bitching because they're waiting for games. But you got consistent games. Now that we added 6 courts, well, now that 2K added 6 courts, now we can't get games because there's too many courts. So now, like for instance, like I said yesterday, like with the server thing, you got 36 people on 6 courts. Then even if you get another 36, they're gonna be on the God next, but they're gonna fluctuate because anyone knows when you beat a team. When you beat a team once or twice, they're like, I'm not going over there again. So now they're staying on one side of the court, and now you're not getting games. And that's why I'm saying like they're gonna have to lower. Well, we don't know because obviously we'll find out this week. I don't know how they're gonna go because this will be something new. They went the overall route, they went the rep route, then they went the overall route. So now who's to say what they're gonna do now? It could be something completely new. They could make it where, like you said, it's 2. It could be PlayStation versus Xbox, and it could be 2 parts. Who knows? Like it could be so many things we just don't know, man. But I agree with you on that, man. Like,
Yeah, like y'all said, it's gonna be hard to please. Like the realism is, it's really too hard to please niggas nowadays because as much as we want to look at these other games, you go talk to a Madden Pro or COD Pro, I guarantee they complain just as much as us. I talk to the Madden Pros all the time, and they talk
Bro,
about how
Madden
dog
has a
shit.
worse game than 2K will ever have,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
They
I
have the
talk to them,
same
and
toxic plays every single year, the
yeah,
same nano blitzes every
and they
year.
complain just as much as us, and we look at that shit as we wish 2K could at least do some of that, but you can't please comp sim arcade anymore with the tier we're in, like in 2023, my nigga. It's really hard. If a game figures out how to do that, that's great, but it's gonna be really hard nowadays.
Bro, I put it like this last night in this space, man. I don't know if you guys were here, but there just needs to be a reward system for the quote unquote casual when he steps on the court and beats somebody that he shouldn't beat. Just like how they have like this rookie all-star veteran method. The rookie, when a rookie steps on and he beats somebody who's a vet, who's earned badges for grinding the game 12, 15 hours a day, he should get 50% rep for winning that game. Just like vice versa. When Kai steps out and he beats 100 different rookies, he should get less rep for if he were to beat 50 veterans. Like, there should be some sort of parallel, just like how you in Call of Duty, when you step into a ranked game, like as you go up, it gets harder. So like an iridescent player in a COD lobby is going to get less rep when he plays the silver and golds. Like they literally have a system for that. If 2K were to implement some sort of system, bro, that is actually rep, like skill-based rep, then it's going to save the game. Because now when your 10-year-old son or whatever son goes on, he's like, yo, that's a vet 3. We can get extra rep for beating him. Like when they literally pronounce that like as like a cool achievement in the game, people are gonna want to do that. And guess what? That makes Sky happy. That makes me happy.
Can I play devil's advocate to that though? If you're a low ranked person, are people gonna want to play you then?
If you're a low ranked person,
if they know that the rep boost for beating us is that big, they're gonna want to play us without
at that point though,
I'm talking
you have to hear me out, because they want games no matter what. If you're grinding for a top 10, it doesn't matter who you're playing. You need consistent games to be able to compete with people who play rec, to be able to compete with like streamers. You know what I mean? Like, and if we do it that way, guess what? Now EJ isn't the only guy getting consistent games. You think EJ has a bunch of, veteran players pulling up on him? Hell no. It's a bunch of people from his TikTok chat. But now some guy that has 15 viewers can compete with somebody that has 1,000 viewers in a rep race. Yeah, he might not be able to get the number 1 spot, but because rookies are now trying to pull up and beat him because he's a high rep, he's going to be able to compete and also help grow his viewership ultimately. Like, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it might not be as good as somebody who goes and plays a stage, but let's be honest, like, you're not walking in the stage and getting back-to-back games all day.
Do you think people should lose rep if they lose games?
Yes, 100%.
So like,
I think win percentage and overall wins should matter, because like somebody who's 5,000 and 3,000 should not be number 5 on the board when the guy below him is like 6,000 and 300.
Mm-hmm.
I think your actual record should matter 100%. I don't think it should be games played and like
Do you
there's
guys
some.
think this top 10 thing could be something related to that? Because it's like top 10 is not like it's not. I don't think it's first 10 people to get to legend or whatever you guys want to call it. Like I do not genuinely believe that.
I
I
believe
think
it's
it's
gonna
gonna
be
I think it's
like
gonna
a top 250
fluctuate.
leaderboard.
Yeah.
It's gonna fluctuate. It's gonna be always a top 10, and then names can get taken off the list and stuff. That's
Yeah,
what I think it's gonna
because
be.
there's no way like that once 10 people get there, they're just gonna show there the whole year. That makes no sense.
Yeah, I think losing a game, it doesn't have to be a substantial amount of rep, but it definitely needs to be enough. So if I lose 10 games, it equals like one loss. I mean, it equals like one win. You know what I mean? Like there has to be some sort of parallel there because somebody shouldn't just be rewarded for having a 31% and winning 9,000 games and losing 9,000 games.
Well,
Yeah, no, I agree with that completely, Holly, because as of right now, when someone plays to back you up on that, I agree with that because right now when you grind rep, right, you're not being rewarded for being the best player. You're being rewarded for playing the most.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do that, you erase the whole like playing the most thing. And now it's like, oh well, if he hit legend first or got there first, he's actually good. He's winning, because like you said, you take a hit, but like I said, like also balancing that would probably be difficult for them because right now like they have it to where I felt like if they applied that to how they applied the badge thing where like if you have a D plus, you take a certain percent hit, or if you lose, you take like a 10 to 15% hit. I
Yeah.
feel like we don't know.
yeah.
We
Well,
don't know,
that's why I'm
but
saying like it has to come with like losing like 10 to 20 games because if you do like you lose a substantial amount of rep on like one loss, you're gonna have people that are in those rookie like things trying to rep up that aren't gonna be able to move.
Yeah, and
You need to also like count for your people that have 10, 20, 31%. So they need to be able to
I
move.
I think the good
It's
good I think the
also
good thing with
count
that.
on
Oh, sorry.
who you play too, because I mean, if a YouTuber get 100 straight park games and I'm on a 5 win streak and nobody wants to come to my court no more, that's tough. I think it should
Well,
matter who you
that's
play.
my point right there. Like I'm trying to balance it because somebody like EJ gets 100 straight games, but I'm not EJ. I'm not getting 100 straight games. But if my rep is good enough to make at least people pull up on me, I'm at least getting games
Yeah,
now. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I think crossplay gonna make the parks more lit in general.
I hope so.
honestly,
Just because they're more lit doesn't mean
that
people gonna pull
yeah,
up.
yeah, and I agree with that. And also, like I said, they're not, like he said, it doesn't just because they're lit doesn't make people gonna pull up. But like we've been speaking about this for years, like rewarding the people for beating the higher rep or giving them
Yes.
a percentage is definitely the answer because it'll make them like there's billions of people who play the game, bro. That'll make people want to play like even like I even spoke of like last year like beating some like if you beat someone with a logo, right? Give them like like give them like what's like say there's like a certain like apparel or like arm sleeve or something that is like the one thing about 2K is people want to be noticed. People don't not notice and say people want to be rewarded in the sense of like they want to be recognized for what they're doing. For
Well, you
instance,
know how
like
many times somebody beats me and
Yeah,
says, "Yo,
yeah,
that should be my
yeah.
logo. That should be
It'd be
my
a cool
logo." Like,
concept if how like we have creator codes in Fortnite. If there's a creator thing like where you did beat a creator and then
okay,
you get
okay.
something from
So
the
Tim,
store for them.
Tim, I was actually speaking about that. That's also a dope thing. And I was also saying like Twitch drops for certain like streamers or things for like you. I feel like those would be super fire as well too
Like,
for like content as well. Yeah.
yeah, because it'd be cool if like you like again, let's say that I beat like a creator and now I'm eligible to go buy something in the store. That's an exclusive because I beat that person with that logo. Like that would be like 2K would be making money, and on top of that, like the people with the logo would be getting like again it's a cool concept. I think it comes full circle.
And that's a super dope idea. Like I always said, like one thing about the community, okay, like leaderboards, right? You know why people want leaderboards? Because people want to be recognized. People love being recognized. So like even like we were just speaking about this, right? Pro am. The reason why pro am was amazing, right? But pro am like there's no incentive there now that makes people want to play pro am because now you have the leagues.
bro,
So now
whether
you
the
have
game
the
was good or bad back in 16 and 17, people wanted to play it because of RTTF.
right. Exactly my point. So me and Splash were just saying, like, you don't have to have a $250,000 tournament for pro am, right? You could do something as like, for instance, like obviously, to make it fair, they'd have to have certain nights or a time frame for you. Like, say for instance, like, we knew when, like, I competed in pro-am. My pro-am team was like top 5 for like 4 years. So like when we played, once we got into the method, like there was no balance because you could win all day and get your points, and then you could have that one team. Like for us, we literally were number 1 all day, right, for 2017 finals, right? Then a team quit on us the last minute, and we didn't qualify because of that. We went to 4th place.
Well,
Now, what I was saying was, what you do is you can do it so we're like, what if you take them top 16 teams, right? Give them a time frame. Okay, the top 16 teams, it's not guaranteed, but we'll give every player from each of those top 16 teams. Plus, this is what I'm saying. What makes it even better is now that you have PlayStation and Xbox together, you can put it to where, oh, now let me take these top 16 teams and you guys get put in the draft pool. It's not guaranteed that you guys will make the team, but
Not
you
even
get
a
put in the
draft
draft
pool,
pool.
but
bro. Just having an amateur circuit.
I'm just giving an
That's what's been
example.
big for
Can,
Call
can
of
I
Duty.
say something about Pro-Am though, real quick? Just because again,
Go ahead.
I obviously watch a lot of it. I noticed that even in the walk-on, there's a lot of like older people who play walk-on and 5-on-5 2K. It's not like you don't have a lot of like little kids playing that mode because it's like it's a lot more like organized, and it's like there's not really a goal in Pro-Am anymore like it used to be. It used to be leaderboards back in the day because people wanted that recognition to be like a number 1 team or whatever. And then it came to the road to the finals and the road to the All-Star is what kind of drove people to want to play that mode. But now that both those things are kind of irrelevant, like you said, leagues kind of killed leaderboards, and then now they don't do any more tournaments because they have the NBA 2K League. So it's like it kind of pulls away from the idea of actually playing regular Pro-Am. Anyone who plays Pro-Am, it's dead because you have like everyone's playing private and just going into like leagues.
Right, and that's what we said, Sham. That's what I was telling them earlier. Like, private. Listen, everyone begged for private, and that rule. That's why I said people have to be careful what they're asking for because like everyone begged for private, and then when they begged for private, now everyone's like, I don't want to play leaderboards. We're gonna just play private matchmaking, and it took away the fun from, as you recall, like you remember the previous years, like like it used to be fun when you were loading up with the same tier as you, and it made it like exciting when you're like, oh shit, like EJ and Splash are playing against each other, and like you see everybody would run from Twitch to Twitch chat to go watch that
Bro, that
game and
shit used
stuff.
to
Like,
be crazy.
That's the best content.
yeah,
Bro,
that was the
you
best
would hit
content.
people in traffic, dude. I remember those days again, like back when I was with Island
Can't
Gang
wait to
and
pull
that,
up
bro.
on
Like
DJ.
we would run into some like top teams. Like it was us in Throwdown, us in Space Jam, and all them back in the day, and it was just insane. Like when those games would happen, like we just randomly search like, oh shit, like we're playing this
Right,
game.
and then the community would go insane. That had the community hype because it wasn't expected. So now what it is like with these leagues, everyone's just like, oh well, I'll get off for league and I'm gonna get off it. But now if you add something like if you give somebody an incentive or something to make people grind, you bring that back. Or, you know, I'd hate to say it, I don't know, Champ Splash, how y'all would feel about it. Or you just give people certain days that they can only do private games. Y'all probably wouldn't like that, obviously. But to bring Pro-Am back, you're probably gonna have to have like
No, that
a
wouldn't be an answer.
I
Only way.
no,
exactly. I know that's
okay.
why I
This is what
said
I'll say. That's what I'll say. I think the way you bring it back is if the 2K League was able to host a tournament in the game where they give to the community. Again, you know how they do 3v3, they do the 25K tournaments, but that's like a third party thing. They don't do any special things in game for like the league to like for a chance for people to win money. Like if the league was able to host a tournament within 2K itself for like like okay, you need to be in this part of the leaderboards to qualify to compete for like $25,000 for 5v5 or same concept for 3v3 in game. But the league runs a lot of external stuff. They don't have like a internal UI in the league to in the game to like run tournaments, which is the major issue right now.
yeah, and that's just part of that. Like we're just because we're touching on a lot of things today. Like we touched on that. We touched on like why, like a lot of us were agreeing
I
that
mean,
like
why don't we just reward Pro-Am with something like it's not monetization is going to be really hard to do for somebody from like a 2K League perspective because a lot of people in it aren't above the age of 18. They don't live in qualifying states. Why don't you just have in-game rewards that are specific to Pro-Am that give people a reason to go grind it?
that's for sure, but that's so hard to do because like even with now that you have the 2K League, Like majority of those players, like Splash will tell you, Champ will tell you, bro, they don't want to play unless there's something money wise involved since they're
Okay,
getting paid
well
right
then
now.
they don't have to play. They're gonna keep playing money, but you're gonna still funnel more people into pro-am if that's the
Oh, that's for
ultimate
sure. That's
goal.
for sure.
Like
That's for sure. Yeah,
if
that's
that's the
definitely.
ultimate goal. I mean, like we're not trying to satisfy those guys. They're already making their money. They're already in overnight tournaments every single night. So what is the problem?
No,
You know
no,
what I mean? The
that's what
problem
I'm
is
saying. I agree.
pro-am's dead.
I agree with you. Listen, so I agree with you on that.
But it used
I'm
to
saying,
be when you play pro-am, your court would get bigger, the crowd would get bigger, you
Yeah,
get
no,
the
that needs to
assets
come
stuff
back
for your
100%.
court.
oh yeah, I
100%.
agree. Like
That
I've been
has to come
asked
back.
that has to go. Like Splash was
And
just saying, like,
even I think a bomb idea is for almost, bro. Like pro-am, you should have like a logo by your name showing that your team is Pro 5, and then in rec it shows that you elite a rec. Like they should do that. Like do something to where I'm like, I got something. Like I don't know.
Every mode has
and
its own
hey,
ranking.
that goes back to now Nav, that goes back to what I was saying, right? So what I was just saying was one thing. Like I've been in the community for years, so has Holly. You know, a lot of us up here have been in it for years. So the thing about that is that's what I mean. Like the one thing about 2K community, the one thing they care about is recognition. They want something to show. For instance, right? Park, everyone wants leaderboards because and I said you don't have to have it to where like you could do like okay, leader like this the most rep gained this week, most points this week, most steals this week, whatever. Like you could do something. You could put top 3 in rep this month, top 3 in rep overall. Like people love that. First stage, most VC earned. You can have a leaderboard, most VC
Bro,
earned
you
this
know how
week.
many times people would watch 2K TV back because they would just show like all the park rewards and all that stuff? Like back when Poor
Exactly.
Boy Sem was on it back in like 1920, like even when that like statue came out that had everybody's name on it, like day one, everybody was at the statue.
Right,
Taking
and
pictures.
that's what I'm saying. Like they have to like as like with 2K, once they notice that and they find like the things to do with that, that's like even with certain things, even if like that's why like even with the events, right? Like, I'm gonna say 19 had the best park events ever. Like they had like Gold Rush, they had what was it? They had Gold Rush, they
I
had
mean, all those events were boostable though. That was the biggest
right,
problem.
right, and they're all every events are gonna be boostable. We spoke about this yesterday too. Everything's gonna be boostable
Oh,
until they find like a way. Okay, so what happened was you gotta punish someone when you punish someone. Like I know, like obviously as a game, you don't want to punish someone so bad, but you have to make an example of someone to make them feel like. Larry, I'm gonna give you an
no,
example. Like when people boosted last year, they would get banned for like a week. Oh, it's cool, bro. I'm going for a week. I'm gonna play on my friend's account. Now, if you ban someone for 2-3 months, they're like, damn, bro, I can't get.
Can I say something to counteract boosting though? Like
But
again, this kind of piggybacks off of what Hollywood was saying earlier. Like when you play better people, it should be to a point where like it's putting you beyond like those boosters. Like boosters are gonna keep playing shitty people. Like they're
Yeah, they're
like
gonna play 60 overall rookie
yeah,
ones. That's what I was saying
and people
yesterday.
and they're gonna keep losing, and every time that person loses, like it's less rep for them. So it's almost like there's no point for that booster to play a shitty person. They're better off playing like Splash versus playing like shit gamer 123 like they'll have a more likely chance of winning the tournament. Like that's why like running into the good people in those events is like that's how you like if you have that type of system in place, then it's impossible really for boosters to actually like succeed unless like there's two like really good people in the game boosting together like that. But those people aren't going to want to do that because then they're going to get banned. Like like they don't want to get banned because like usually the good people are like more recognizable. So
yeah, and that's actually like that's exactly what I was saying about like even with rec, there's a kid I forgot his name. Oh my gosh, he used to play pro am. He had like a rep system. You guys seen that level system he had? That
I
level
will
up.
say, sorry to cut you off.
Nah, you
One
good,
thing
bro.
that stopped us from boosting back in the day, though, do you remember all like those boosting police streams that people would do?
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, when you had oh my gosh, when people had
Bro,
like
I used to
they
dress like
would
a
dress up with
police
a
officer and
tuxedo.
walk around stages.
Yeah, they
That's
would
We
dress up with
don't
crazy.
have connections like that anymore. Like we didn't have connections like that back then. So now, like, imagine like if they were to try to do an event like that, I promise you, I'm snitching. I ain't watching none of that happen, bro.
Nah, that's to lose. People are not doing that to lose.
Yo,
And
yo,
that's
Hollywood, you need to bring that back. Just like
now. Listen,
literally just a
that
police.
tuxedo shit was hilarious. That's like you Hollywood. You remember like they would dress up as like 5'4", a 5'4" with a tuxedo on, and they would sit there
Yep.
and
No,
watch
I
the
used to
game.
do it, bro.
And
I
yeah,
did
and
it.
they'd put like LD2K on there. Oh my gosh, that shit was hilarious, bro.
Bro,
Oh
the
Like,
boosting
my.
police was fire, bro.
could you imagine that though? Like, say 2K implemented something like that. Like, say
It'd
someone
be
was boosting and you put like
funny.
two, like you had like a Ronnie 2K, like
Yeah,
face scan
walks
for
out
the
and just
That
LD.
snags
literally
him and
reminds
yoinks
me of
him.
like the cops, like that show, like with the freaking like cameras on the
Yeah.
cops, and like they're literally
Bro,
running
I
around.
used to have the police like green screen effect on my stream, and I would
Nah,
say bad boy, and I would
nah,
like
bro,
stand next to the
yo,
court
this
and
man
clip
gonna have
it.
like 6ix9ine in the background.
Yeah,
Yo,
bro.
that's
Yeah, y'all
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah,
But yeah, like I said, this hey champ, you're right about like matchmaking. 'Cause I even say that like it's kind of hard for people like when you want to grind a rec, right? The thing with rec was like for a content creator, rec's cool, but like people don't really want to get entertained by that because you're blowing people out by like 30, 40. Like, and the thing about that is like, all right, when you're beating someone in the park, it's different because when you're beating someone, it's a quick game to 21. Now, when someone's watching you beat on someone for 30, 40 minutes, that's not entertaining to them. That's why I said like, a skill-based thing, like, matchmaking with people in rec that were at the same level as you, that would make things, that would make everyone happy because then like, you're keeping the casuals playing the casuals. You got you got the sweats playing the sweats, like you got the like the average, you have every level playing against each other. And there's someone, like I said, you got PS5 and Xbox now. So now you have a balance into who's playing who. Obviously in Park you can't do that. Like Holly said, you can't do that
I
in Park.
I
Go ahead.
personally think that like the thing I miss the most is really the Jordan Rec Center because that's where the pro community was born essentially, and I wish that the idea of of pro am would just go away and they would again. I know it sounds horrible, but I wish they would.
Nah, I love that idea.
I wish they would just get rid of walk on, get rid of pro am, and just go back to the Jordan Rec Center where that's where 5v5 people have to play, and there will be a court that like they can have a special court where it's like built like a private matchmaking court basically like it's not like if you step on the court with another team basically it just puts you in an isolated like thing like the games are still going on around you but like you're in an isolated like server playing each other so like it's just that like I don't have to explain that concept the best I can but like you have 3 courts that are like active courts for just random people to step on and play but then you have like this like it's kind of like a private matchmaking court basically you step on and like it just like changes into like a regular like private game. So then like you don't have to worry about like trying to get your 5 on the court and try to play somebody.
The simple
That
thing to
would have to
do
be
is if
that
you
would have to
come
be
into
separate.
a rec match and you're squatted, you should instantly play other squads, not 5 randoms that don't even know each other. You're going to blow them out every time. Squads versus squads in rec, and then randoms can go play against other randoms where it's more fair and even for both sides.
Yeah. And I just think that it's kind of like seeing the jerseys in the rec center again, it looks a little more appealing this year. But I just think that the freaking I mean the walk on just looks so like unappealing regardless, which like it's too organized. It's not like what made Jordan Rec cool was like there was like it had a personality. It was unique. Like there was originality. Like I didn't like it like all your buddies could be all wearing the same shirts and like look like a team. But like you didn't have to wear some like generic ass jersey and go out there and just like look
Oh yeah,
poor.
we all wore zebra
Yeah,
pants and Kings jerseys.
yeah, like, and that's what I'm saying. Like that kind of kid that takes away from it, because the thing was, I even recommended like had said one year like I think people would even be cool like say you even do like shirts and skins or like one team wears white shirts, another team wears black shirts or whatever it may be, or then you could like wear whatever shorts you want, because people. The thing is, so people love having that freedom of being able. Because what happens is it kind of keeps it fresh to the eye, as into when you keep seeing the same rec and the same jersey, you're like, damn, bro, like this shit kind of getting draining as far as like, you start seeing the same visual. Now, I also said like, like we had those years where 2K21 where we had those gyms, we had those gyms. Okay, so this is another thing that I think they should add. Like obviously they had the rec. They could also have a mode for like I said. How they had 2 sides. Like one could be for pro am, another one could be like an outdoor thing. You guys remember when they had like the red gym on 21 where you would play like the my players and stuff. You could use those type of courts. Even bro, they like the best court that I've ever seen. Like besides the park courts that I've ever seen in 2K ever. It's Terminal 23. That shit was so fire in 2K, bro. Like even that, like adding that into like like a 5v5 like open gym where like I'm not saying like you could keep the rec, right? But you could also have another mode where it'd be like a matchmaking one where you can wear your own gear, kind of like how we do in theater. Like I felt like that would be so dope, man, because then you get people that outdoor feeling where obviously it could be up to 21 or whatever, but it still would be dope.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that the biggest like thing that 2K messed up is separating everybody. Like I feel like every year, like the city has just like kind of like isolated people too much from like things, and like there's too many places to go to, and it's like everyone's so distant from each other. Like we went from like this small little park in 2K14 where you were like in a little like you're literally caged into like a small area, and now we're like separated like into all these different sectors, and it's like I don't know. I think it hurts the game more than it helps.
That's where me and Hollywood were going to, like, where you that part of the reason for that, right, is that you have four you have four different affiliations, right? You could either knock that down to three and it'll be fine, or like Holly said, like you could do two, right? Now we don't know what they're gonna do this year. It could be completely different. The thing about it is that you went from four courts. The reason why you had consistent, like, but I can't blame 2K though. You know why you can't blame 2K? Because it's the community's fault too. And then the reason why I say that is because what I said earlier. Now, when they had four courts, right? We had two. Yeah, I know you guys remember. We had two 3v3 courts on the top. We had two on the bottom. Then we had a 4v4 court in the middle. Then we had, and then we had a 1v1 court, 1v1 the 21 court, and then we had 2v2. We had two 2v2 courts or three, right? Which now you have four courts, so people are getting constant games. What happened was the community was complaining, bro, I don't want to wait for games. But so now they gave us six courts. Now we have six courts, but with them six courts, now people aren't rotating enough. With four courts, everyone was rotating and getting constant games. So that's why I said, like, I feel like if you lessen the courts, you get more games. So you stop that whole, I'm not getting games. There's no one, because you got 36 people on six courts. You know what I mean? So then your other ones, you have, not to say you have you have four 2v2 courts, right? You feel me? So that's 16 players right there. You know what I mean? So like that are already there. It's almost half of your server, not including the, then you got next. But then if you beat a team once or twice, they don't want to play you no more. So now like the rotation is terrible, as into where four is, even if people will leave the park and come back, you're still getting games over and over again. You know what I mean? So I feel like if they lessen the court and they would lessen the affiliation, you don't need four, bro. You can do three or two. Two better, but three, you can have two sides. Like, even like, just let's say example, PlayStation, Xbox, um, and like, just the demeanor of things too. Like, with those parks, with those affiliations, yeah, like they were cool. They were trying to try something new, and I'm not knocking them for trying to do something new, because that's a good thing when you're trying to research and do things for new. But the thing that people loved about those old affiliations, because people were like, oh, why ain't the new affiliations working? Well, there was one less affiliation, and you gave the affiliations a boost. So like, for instance, right, this year you have a balanced game, right? Now that the game's balanced, it'd be dope to have those boosts. Like, yo, if you go to this park gives you this boost. If you go to that park, that's dope. And not only that, every park felt like where you went, it felt like the meaning. Like I said, like Flyers felt like you were in New York. Venice, like, Sunset felt like you were in Venice Beach. Rivet felt like you were in Chicago. Like, it gave you like you and you had like, you had the effects where like the Flyers, the ball would be on fire. And that you had the chains, like when Rivet dunked the ball, the rim would shake. Like those little things did they added, so even though it's so small, they impacted the game so much. You get what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of people are asking for like those. They're not asking for the same thing, they're just asking for a better version of those type of things from the, like, that made people want to play the game and made people like hype about the game. You know what I mean? So they definitely could go about that. And even when, like, when we got into like the percentage thing, everyone was asking about the, what Mike had said earlier about like the increase in the batches, and like that's a hard thing to talk about too, because all right, from a competitive standpoint, you want that to be what I think it was 70 or 75. You want it to be around 70, because we're getting the boost from, we're getting the boost from hot zones. You're getting the boost from your badges. You're getting the boost from buying shooting boosts. You get what I'm saying? So you already got like three boosts plus, like how someone said, like, you have the new badge where the spotter badge is brand new, and a couple other things. Now for us, obviously, we want the skill gap, so we wouldn't want that increase, but you kind of have to put that increase for the casual. So like that's the best way to balance the game out. And floor setters. We touched on floor setters as well. Floor setters is a dope idea. Hallie, you weren't here. How do you feel like? So you know how floor setters lock once you put them in. Do you
Yeah.
think it would be dope? Obviously, they transfer down the future. Do you think it would be dope for as a rep reward for them to add basically like say down the line they added like a rep reward that they let you rework all your floor setters, or do you think they
Oh
should
yeah, no,
just not
I
touch
don't think
that?
they should be locked. I think you should be able to rework them once at the beginning of every season.
That's not a bad idea either, because you know what you do with that. The devs patch the game, so when the devs do a patch, we were speaking about this
Oh yeah, the
earlier.
game's gonna play completely different in 2 months. Like day
Exactly.
one's gonna be a completely different basketball game than we get 2 months in. Like think about how like much people are like complaining about shooting. Like what was it 2K20 when nobody could shoot off rip with no badges, and they made it
Right.
so easy, and like everyone just started hitting whites.
Yeah, and that's why we were saying like they shouldn't touch the game unless something's obviously OD terrible. They shouldn't touch the game, But the community, like I said, with these spaces and stuff, we have people from all different communities. Park, my team, we have casuals, we have competitive players. So I feel like you hear a voice from everyone, so it's perfect. Now that like the floor setter thing, that's not even a bad idea. I feel like I was saying like they should let us do one, like you said, either they could do it every season or they can make it to where you could change them every patch. Because what happens is like say they do drop a patch, right? If they drop a patch, like for instance, remember 2K20 when everyone was on slash and playmakers, and then they dropped the patch and they passed it behind the back, and then everyone went to play shots. So like it ruined everyone's first build, like almost a lot of us. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. As far like what you're saying is a great idea, because you give us a chance to rework our badges. I mean, not the badges. We'll rework those, because if the game changed or you made something harder or more difficult, maybe we want to go, mess with our build and
I mean,
stuff.
what you're
So
saying makes sense. Like Call of Duty, like they come out with patches almost every 2 weeks, and it's a whole new different attachment or a whole new different perks that you'd want to use with like a specific patch. So yeah, no, I agree with you. Either a different patch or every season.
yeah, that's super dope, man. That's why I said like, I like touching on things like that, because those are little things. Those are small things, but those are very impactful as into making your build and how. And we are also talking about we don't know if we're gonna get four, floor setters or 8, or maybe they'll say, hey, or take the first 9 bronze, but you got to earn the 9 gold. You know what I mean? Like, or maybe we'll give you a little of each. We'll give you 4 of these, 4 of those. So we're like, because obviously they're gonna be impactful of how they fluctuate. Because um, I don't know if like if you dove deep into it, but like when you put that floor setter on, you don't have to grind for that badge. Like that badge automatically goes up to that, from my understanding. So if you put it on gold, it goes straight to gold.
Yeah, I actually have no idea. I hope
Okay,
that's how it works, but I think
so
you might have to grind for it to get to that, and it just stays
nah,
at that.
I mean, I'm not sure. That's what I was told. Coach, you in here still, Coach? I don't know if Coach is still in here, but Coach he was super. So he probably on the phone, but you know, they're speaking about that. That's how they think it works as of now. Like when you I think Cinco spoke on that. Cinco spoke on that earlier, and he was saying that um he
Yeah.
actually brought it up, and he basically was saying that you know the way it works is that when you touch those badges, like when you put the floor setter on it, it stays there. Like you don't have to grind it. Like if you put it on gold, it stays at gold. That's what that's what we're just going off of. What was being said off of reading it. Other people are saying maybe you have to grind and then it stays there once you get it.
Yeah,
So
that's how I kind of interpreted the tweet, was like it locked in. But honestly, we had no idea that was even a thing at Community Day this year. Like they never even brought that up to us. A lot of the stuff at Community Day, like apparently like you guys were getting almost more info than us, like getting
yeah,
tweeted.
yeah. Nah, they were letting the community like we kind of had like what I would say is like like I've seen a lot of people down. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start like our own community day type thing, and we got a lot of the people in here, and then
It was popping, baby. It was
yeah,
popping.
yeah, it was.
I
It's
mean, that's a step in the right direction though, because like when was the last time we had a Community Day where we came out of Community Day like what the hell did they find out? Because we didn't know any of it. Like
yeah.
Yo,
So
we had everybody in here, bro. It was
yeah,
popping.
and that's the step of the direction that I want to take. You know what I mean? Like in the
I gotta
future,
go
like
get a wifey sometime, man. I'll be back tomorrow for the space, man. Everybody have a good night.
all
Yo,
right, yeah.
take care,
I
man.
know
Thank you for
my
coming
team
All right, my
through.
number
boy.
that's my team, so I know you'll be in here, man. But Yeah, coach. Now that you're back in here, so for that we know for 100% if the floor setters take you to that badge automatically, or are those floor setters there? You have to work to them, and then once you get there, they're automatically.
Yeah, first of all, that's my bad, bro. I was taking care of some business. I'm actually streaming right now too. I just came back in because I was like, man, I forgot to turn my phone off or say peace. But the floor setters, it said that it will automatically. I'm sorry. Let me say it right before we quote this whole thing. It will auto progress to that level. So if you use a silver floor setter, it will automatically progress to that level. But if you have the gold one, you can bring it to that level as well. But they are permanent and they can't be removed. Basically, once you put them in there, that's it. No changing it.
Okay, so there you go, Hollywood. So that's actually gonna be so that's how the floor setter works. So like say you want limitless on gold. If you put that floor setter on gold limitless, it will not move from there at all. It will stay there permanently. But the trick to that thing is though, do you want to keep that on something you use all the time? Or do you want to put that like say you don't do layups every game? Do you want to put that like on
Yeah,
a
that's gonna be interesting. Like, I
yeah.
feel like spot ups and inside centers and guards would all want to almost do it in a different aspect. Like as a spot up, I don't know if I'm gonna shoot the ball every game.
Here, y'all.
Exactly. So that's gonna be making bills. That's gonna be very like that's gonna be something that's gonna take a very big like deal on the bills. That's why I'm so hyped for Wednesday.
And like centers, you don't know if you're gonna get a block every game.
Right.
So
So
like your chase down and your rim protecting badges could go away. You don't know if you're gonna get a shot contest in the paint every game. Like
Yeah,
I would
yeah, that's what
honestly
I was
keep the
saying to
rebounding now.
everybody. I was explaining that your badges fluctuate so much that you want to actually be patient with those and don't waste them until you figure out the exact fluctuation.
We
That's
also
like,
don't know
okay, this is
what
giving me
badges are
trouble.
actually gonna activate. You know how we always have like a 2K, bro, where like some stuff just doesn't activate.
Yeah, exactly. So if you can just grind it out and then be like, I'm gonna keep this one up here because I don't need it to come back down for the rest of the time. So that's kind of the idea that I'm going with for now.
Yeah, no, I'm
Until
definitely gonna be waiting to pop to put mine. I'm
yeah.
not gonna use mine at all.
And another
Like
thing, like us, like Hollywood, I was saying, like everybody's different. We all play like at different levels. Obviously, what I was saying, like for instance, I say like you find out you're doing great with silver limitless, right? But I have it on gold, and then you mess around and put your limitless on gold, and you put the floor setter there, and you're like, damn, I didn't even need it on gold. I could put it on silver. Now you got to rework your whole build. You know what I mean? So I'm just wondering. This is my question. Like, how like when we were making the build last year, and like you know how like when you're putting everything up, you couldn't like continue unless you go 99. I'm curious as to like, are they gonna make us? Because what would make it? Listen, I know for us it would sound crazy, and it would probably make people and put people in shambles, but it would also make people really like think. What I was gonna say is that what if they make it that you have to put those first before you can continue and process your build? What if they make you put the floor setters on before you can continue to play the game? Would you be like you like that would be would you like the excitement of that? Like, oh, like you're really gonna gamble with your build, or would you like rather it like no, let me wait and let me figure it out and I'll put them when I can?
I've never been a gambling guy. That's the way I put it. I don't like to gamble much in general when it comes
Yeah,
to things.
I feel you. So I get that. Yeah, that's understandable, man. Does anybody else have a take on that? Like how y'all would want it, man? I know Gyro, Q and them, they had a lot of input earlier. EJ. EJ's probably streaming too, bro.
Yeah, he's probably working too. I know he'd be
I'm
editing and
here,
shit.
yo. There's a delay on the computer. I try to get on the computer to do this, bro. It ain't letting me.
Yeah, I was spark one on. I wasn't actually spark one on that, but I
I'm
have.
I'm using my computer right now.
Word.
Yeah, I gotta get on. I gotta try that. What's up, Brent? You got anything? You got anything to touch on?
Yeah, I really think we should be able to loot swags like we were in 2K20. Thoughts?
What? Yo, you're a troll. You are such
Yo,
a
yo, yo, yo.
yo. You are such a troll, bro.
Uh,
Nah, like serious note. You got anything to touch on a serious note?
Yeah, like I like the whole. I genuinely like the badge thing. Because well, the one thing I don't like is that there will be like people who just hog the ball to get their badges. But I feel like if they do that, they won't get their badges. They'll go down if they keep like taking bad shots.
Yeah, they'll get penalized. Like they won't play. Like they're not gonna want to play around. We were just talking about like like people should be rewarded for beating a higher rep. Or like you should be rewarded for beating a higher rep, or just like the fluctuate like the game so that it would make people want to play more too, or like making like courts smaller. It's like shrinking it down from 6 to 4 to keep the games consistent.
6 to 4 what?
Courts, because you know how there's
Well,
6 courts now, so it kind of like it's harder to get games because there's more courts.
the problem with the I
We
think
spoke about this. We touched on this. We ever had this convo?
no, but okay, because I really like the 19 and 20 part, just because everything like maybe not the like aesthetics of it, but like everything was just so like everything was so efficient. But now you gotta like walk up a bunch of stairs and like walk over ramps. Like in 19 and 20, like there's that like small stairs to get up to the twos, but that was like that wasn't a project like in 2K or in the cities where you have to walk over bridges and shit.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I know what you mean. Like it was simple. Like you had your stores and stuff like that, but like it wasn't a big ass city. It was like it was a good like a good size. Like it was a good size. I get what you're saying. Um, but that's like that's why you got the spawn feature and stuff like that, man. Um, you know, we also touched on the fact of like basically like how the badges are working and stuff like that. Um, you know I don't know how everyone's gonna play a certain portion. We're basically okay, so this is a good thing to touch on Hollywood. We asked this and I hope like like the depth team in the long run, so we were talking about this with me, Splash, a lot of people. So how people times okay, for instance, for stealing, right? Do you feel say someone has a 85 still, right? But you have a 75 still. If I time because Mike said there's a skill gap in that now. If you have a better still than me, but I'm a better timer than you. If I'm better at predicting the stills than you, should I be rewarded more than you?
Facts.
If if you can't time them well, but you have a higher still, what's your
Yeah, no, you should. You should.
yeah, that's what I was saying. I feel like that should be a thing. I feel like just because someone, has a higher skill, it doesn't make them better at stealing. But I feel like the person who times the person.
But I also think there needs to be a balance there because somebody who is just better at timing is probably going to give themselves like a lower steal rating and make their build better in other categories. Like you still got to force those people that are good at stealing the ball to put steal in their build.
Yeah,
Like there has to be a balance to that.
Right.
I would say like a good number out of that, like at least 5 out of 10. You know what I mean? Like make it 50-50. I feel like if someone is good at timing, at least make them a 50-50 ball. You know what I mean? Like I think would you call that even? Would you call that fair?
I think if you got a silver's pickpocket, you're not getting any steals. It's just like it don't even make sense. Your badge should predict your steals as well. Now bump steals. If them is in a game and you playing good defense on the ball, he trying to dribble into your body, that make more sense. But steal animation got to be determined off your pickpocket.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that, but give everybody that's listening just a perspective. Mike Wayne put out a tweet about what percentages should be good for the community, and we had a discussion about like, okay, how do we please the casuals, but how do we make it fair for top players or just people who are, consistent in the game? How do we provide everybody with some type of medium? The issue is, okay, a 75. He said a 75 for 3. That's fine. But that you put on a badge, you get some boost, and you do a whole bunch of other things like hotspots and so much more. That 75 that's supposed to be fair enough for everybody to shoot with ends up turning up to like 150 after all of those stacked up elements causing imbalance when you're playing a top skill player versus just a casual. Does that make any sense? So that was the conversation we were having, and it does have to do with this one as well as far as steals. And so there's a lot of conversations about what our opinions are, and we're giving suggestions and ideas, and it's always welcome. Nobody's wrong because nothing's implemented. You're not changing the actual game. You're just giving a thought, and it's always good. And I encourage anybody to jump in and share their opinions on that.
Go ahead, guys. You can jump in. Word 2, I see you got your hand up. Go ahead.
Yo, nah, I just want to say because I heard you. I've been in these spaces every day. It's my first time talking, but I heard you say we wanted the new parks of the new city back in the day. Yeah, we wanted that back in the day, bro, and you know. But now we just want to get like to playing basketball again, like simple parks, like when it's lit again. You know, like the
I,
city, the
I
new
get, yeah, like
it's
get straight to
too
the point. You
much,
want to
bro.
straight to it.
Yeah, like it's too much. Like they did too much. Like it's just too much. And like I think Champ said it, they just took away from like playing, bro. Like we don't need all that to play the game. Like it's just too much.
I think a lot of the city is more of like the story mode, the my career where you go this place, you got these side missions, and it's the people that really don't play park for real. They might just play the game for my career and the story mode, just how like Chris Smooth would do, and he'll just make a whole YouTube video enjoying the story mode in the city and going to mission and quest to quest. So it's really another game for people that just enjoy that part. That's how I look at it. But you're right. I
It
just
should
want to
just be
hoop.
an option if that's the case. Like it should just be an option. Just like now, I guess we can just play like we don't have to play my career. I guess they're saying like that's another good thing.
They didn't say we can't play my career. That we won't. They said that they're going to be optional
Well,
side quests. Is
yeah,
what the
yeah,
nigga
yeah.
said.
Like it ain't gonna be quest basically this year. Like
Yep, yep.
that's
J
amazing.
J Mid, what's up?
All right, listen, man. Y'all can hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. First, I want to say, appreciate y'all letting me in here, man. I be in the spaces as well. But I want to speak on the rec community, the ones that go in solo. Because I feel like it's not like being talked about or addressed. Like, I make content, by the way, too, and I go on with randoms, but I could easily go on with a squad because I like to show people, like, I could do it myself, right? But what I feel like is not being talked about is the matchmaking issue that we have in the rec. Now I feel like some of y'all have like said like well because I was in here the other day and somebody was like the builder's gonna fix it and even somebody was saying like oh well if we have a mode for teens and like that's not gonna fix it well because what I realized about this community like it's like why we don't have the t-shirts like people are gonna find a way to ruin it like and I feel like people that go in solo have to deal with a lot because if you ask me I done had rec games where I go in by myself just with randoms and I have like a great game and I'll be barely losing to these rec squads and I don't have a problem losing like I said I'll take my L but when they start messaging me like I'm like bro I'm in here with randoms and it's like I know for a fact because I look at you know you can go after the game, you can see what like games they play. It'll be the same team, no prime games played, none of that stuff. So all I want, right? Again, I don't know if this might be confirmed yet because we haven't seen like the city and the rec stuff yet, but like I just need 2K to understand like this for people that go in solo, it is not balanced. Like I have games where I have 37 steals, efficient, and I barely lose because I'm playing with randoms and I'm playing against a whole rec squad.
Yeah, that's
But that's what I wanted to talk about. But yeah, I just appreciate you letting me in. But yeah, that's all I had to
yeah,
say.
that's what I said
I mean,
earlier. A squad, if you come in with a squad, you should be matched up against another squad. If somebody go in solo, it should be solo team, squad versus squad, and then I feel like that make it more fair and even. That way you don't run into a squad when you solo and get smacked.
Right, but here's my thing. Why doesn't 2K should have known better? You see what I'm saying? Like they should know like that's gonna be a problem.
Now to answer you, like that's a tough. Like, listen, we actually had this topic, and that's tough to touch on because now when you say squad, what are you considering a squad? Are you considering you and another person? Are you considering you and a five?
Five.
You and like
I'm
okay,
talking about I'm talking about a five.
so that probably would be a lot to work on, a lot to fix on because when you touch something, right? You got to think about when they make these games, they touch one thing, it could break a million things, so it'll put the game in shambles and then they got to rework a lot of things. Now, obviously, something in the future they could work on. We obviously don't know how they did it this year, so my thing about that is, even if like the stereo, let's to solve that problem, to solve the problem that you're talking about is
Mhm.
literally it's easy. It's in my opinion. This is what I would do for it. Right? How you fix that is, basically, I'm not gonna say you're gonna have to make a mode. Like you'd have to make a mode basically for people with a squad and people that don't have a squad. So you have to make first like like we were talking about earlier. Like I was saying, you could do it for like an outdoor or indoor. When you go in the rec, they can have like how when you go, how the gym has like both doors.
Yeah, we already have 2 doors. Yeah, correct.
Right, right. So what I'm saying is, my theory is that I was saying like, a lot of people want to play outdoor. A lot of people want to play like, have like an outdoor like they want to play like, Dykeman shit like that, whatever. Like someone just like literally messaged me, and they said, Red, why can't we do like play at like the Jamal crossover or I forgot what it was. Someone whoever sent me those parks, you guys could definitely send me those parks again. But they named me a couple parks. But the way you solve that is you could have two sides, and the one side could be for teams with a squad, and the other side could be for people with no squad. You get what I'm saying? Like I feel like that would be the
Yeah,
easiest
I
fix.
definitely agree with that
Yeah, that I feel like that would
because
be yeah. Go ahead.
like I've already been seeing like people been saying like yeah they're ready to play. Now me personally, when the game drop, I'm gonna be my career getting my badges. Like I'm not going right to the rec. I'm gonna be getting my badges, my build right. But like I just know people are gonna hawk it. Like the first week, everybody's in rec, and I'm not gonna be surprised if like you gonna have people saying like is the matchmaking's the problem because like it's been a problem. But like I know I can compete because I play both sides, but yeah, that's all I really had to say.
No, yeah, the easiest fix, like I said, the easiest fix to that would be, having a side, for people who don't
I'm
have a squad.
I'm kind of
Like,
confused on what your issue is. Is your
okay,
issue with the game or with you not having
Bro,
people to
Call
play
of
with?
Duty don't even do that. I'm gonna be
Nah,
honest.
nah. I make content. I can easily run with like a high win percent
he's saying
players. I
he's saying
just choose
that
not to.
he's saying like he doesn't. He's saying that he kind of basically he does. He's saying for the
No
people who
game
don't have.
does that though.
No
Nah,
game
you're
is ever gonna set
No
that end
game
because it
does
doesn't
that.
make them any money. Like
Yeah,
at the
that's
end of the
crazy.
day, bro, 2K wants to make an income. Like that's not an issue. That's an immediate fix. Like that's like you just need to go hop in a looking for team server on Discord and find teammates.
Hold on, hold on,
I,
hold on, hold on, hold on,
I
hold on.
feel like
A random
What
a
term is
random
feel like
court, like they already put a random court in the game for people that don't have squads.
what is that? What is it? You talking about 92 and under? Squad
No, they
time?
have a randoms court.
No, I'm talking about the rec. I'm not talking about park. I'm talking about the rec.
You want like a rec, like a randoms rec?
He wants like
Yeah.
How would that work? Because then the teams wouldn't have a point guard, a shooting guard, a small forward, a center, and a power forward. You would
Huh?
have to have thousands of people searching that by themselves.
Wait, there's 2 doors. Wait, are you
he's
confused on what I'm
Bro,
saying?
rec is
what
for
he's saying is Holly is basically like how we have the rec, right? You know how there's like two doors.
Yes.
He's saying like one door should be for people who have a squad, and the other door should be for people who are
But what happens? What happens once they get
if you
in?
have a
Like as a
squad, guess
dev,
what?
how do you make that work? What happens when there's only 30 people searching at 3 a.m. and all 5 of them are centers on one team? Like
Yeah,
just
nah.
as a dev, that's not gonna fail properly.
we most of the time when that happens, bro, we usually get to this day we still do get loaded in with like 2-3 centers on our team
Because
sometimes.
we're on like a one build. Everybody usually has like 1 or 2 builds. It's not like Call of Duty, bro, where you just hop in and it doesn't matter what gun they're using. Like we're on a position based sports game.
Yo, even Call of Duty doesn't do that though. Like I understand what he's saying, but like no game does that.
Yeah,
What I'm saying is the rec is now gaining more attention. It's already okay. So let me ask you a question, Hollywood.
Yeah,
If they don't fix it, then what is the purpose of the rec? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if it's the same way,
the
it destroys the
purpose.
purpose of rec. Because all you're gonna have is squads of 5 going there, got the chemistry. They're gonna be on randoms, and guess what? They're gonna do it over and over and over again because 2K allows them to.
But why would 2K be mad that that's happening? People are
Right,
playing the
you can get a
game.
squad too.
No,
I
huh?
feel like at this point, like a lot of people brag about playing 2K since like 2K like 14 with her. How don't you have like a 5 at this point?
No,
That's
I
my
can. No,
thing.
you're misunderstanding the point.
I
No,
No,
hear
I
what
you
you're
get a
saying, J-Man. I
five
hear what
I
you're saying, but
understand
what
what
I'm
you're
saying is
saying, but
why
like
would 2K perceive that as an issue? People are playing the game and spending money on the game. That's the 2
because
points.
there's a lot of people who don't have people to run with.
but 2K has the whole Discord. Listen, to solve everything. So 2K has the whole Discord, right? They have a 2K community Discord with so many people to like you can look for and find. So if you're ever having that issue, you can just hop in that Discord. When you hop in that Discord, there's thousands of people in there, looking for people to play with. So, like that's an easy solve. I feel like obviously everyone's not on social media, but I feel like anyone who's like at least even a casual gamer, they
But
would,
your solution to that, bro, is just a 1v1 court. Like there's so many solutions that they've been put in the game that people that don't have a full five and they feel like they're getting their ass whooped in the wreck. There's so many other things to play. Like that's just I don't see a world. I understand what you're saying, but I don't see a world where 2K sees that as an issue that they're gonna ever address because it's not an issue. It's not affecting like whether we think 2K is terrible or not. Guess what? They've made more money on us every single year, and it's progressing. So the only way that like we can really address issues that they're gonna fix, we have to have a solution. And they've already implemented solutions, is what I'm trying to get at. Like there is other options for people that don't have a full five to walk into to rec to still play their game. They have a
Go,
solution for that already.
go ahead, J-Man.
So I have a question real quick. Everybody knows what 92 and under is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go in with
Do y'all
592
so
overall.
can somebody explain to me why that mode is broken?
How's it?
Because all you have is people like again, squads of five, they go in there and beat on random people.
I mean, I'm not
So
gonna lie, bro. We had this conversation earlier. Like, there's just always going to be an issue.
Exploits.
There's always gonna be exploits. There's always gonna be exploits. There's always gonna be things that there's only so many things that you can control. As like you know, there's always gonna be something in a game or any game that there's only so much you can do about it. What's up, BD?
But how
So
is that broken? How is that broken if it's low rec and everybody in there 92 and low? That's not broken. If you get
I
beat, you
thought
get beat.
what he's saying is
Because some people will max their badge and keep their overall 92 and just go against randoms with
Yeah, but that's like
badge
that's the point
92.
though. Like that's what I'm trying to get. Like it's a winning and a losing basketball game, man. Like
It's not, you can't
but it's
fix
not
everything though.
balanced. It's not balanced.
It's not
That's what
gonna
I'm
be
saying.
balanced all the way. Unfortunately,
bro,
it's
it's
just
not ever
how
gonna be
games
balanced
is.
because there's too many people in the world that Like I literally had this. It's crazy because you're like the second person. I had someone else because I give everyone a chance to speak. Like I don't like people feeling like, oh, well, you're only doing it for comp. You only do. I give like I do this for casuals. I do this for comp players. I do this for people who are in the middle. I do it for like every category to make everyone feel like they have a voice. You know what I mean? So and get everyone's opinion. So I actually had this combo yesterday, Coach. I know you remember if you're at the mic. I had this conversation with Puka, and he had the same issue. And he was talking about his teammates, and you know, like that's just something like
EJ,
I'm
there's
not
a
gonna.
guy named Stop Camping, bro, that's asking to speak.
Okay.
Um,
All
hello.
right. Yeah, go ahead, BD.
Can you hear me? Hey, sorry, good question. So, why did 2K get rid of the walk-in rec when you could just squat up? Because I feel like they could have had that plus Pro-Am. So when people want to play teams, they can go to Pro-Am. I mean, because I know people play teams in Park also, but I feel like that would kind of eliminate more of the copiness that the randos play with. That's just how I feel.
Now, like it's like Holly was speaking on earlier. Like when you do that, you already have Pro Am, right? You have Pro Am, you got
Right.
rec at the park, you got the stage. If you do add that, you take away from that. You take away people from the rec. You get what I'm saying? Like you take away from like people who are squatted. Don't get me wrong. Like the teams who play competitively obviously they'll do rec or like they don't play. They play in leagues and stuff. But that would just take away from teams in the rec. You get what I'm saying? Like
At the end of the day, I'm gonna put it like this, man. It's a win or lose sports game. Like they're
Yeah.
not gonna add things to make it easier for somebody who's losing. It's
Yeah,
just
like
it's
you're
I'm
losing,
not. I'm not asking for it to be easy. I'm just asking for it to be fair. Like I'd rather like the guy said earlier. Like you go in the rec with a five, you're up by 30 or 40. Like it gets boring because you're beating up. Or 9 times out of 10 doing it against people who don't know each other.
Can I speak on something? I want to speak on that because the fact
well,
is, in my experience, I played rec every year since it was introduced. But this year specifically, when I go on the rec with a squad, more than likely we playing against people that know each other. Like if I go in there with a full five, 9 times out of 10, we playing against a team with a full five. That's in my experience. Now sometimes we do get matched against teams that's just all runners and don't know each other. But most of the time when we squad up, we playing against a full five. Rec is supposed to be Pro Am is more so for squads, and Rec is their way of implementing something for the randoms to do. If you just want to go in there
I
and
don't
play
think
with
it is
somebody, you
though.
don't
I
got
don't
a
think it
full
is
five.
though.
Hold on, give me a second, please. But at the same
I don't
time,
think
we
rec
can't.
is their way of doing any of that
I mean,
because
but they
that's why they
can't
have the NBA
stop people
2K
from
league.
squatting up. They can't stop people from squatting up and going into the rec. Because then if they do that, then what people going to do? Because like you say, pro am isn't ranked. Is really no benefit to playing pro am. You get what I'm
Okay.
saying? So it's like
So what are you trying to add a benefit of people playing pro am, or are you trying to say like rec is like I don't understand where you're going here because like
honestly, the point of what I'm saying, I'm just trying to help him understand that people going to do whatever they're going to do regardless. There's no way,
yeah.
like
Mhm.
they made the game as fair as possible, as they could possibly make it.
Yeah,
They
and
made it
that's what
as
I'm.
fair as possible.
The
They
reason
made the
people
I
don't
have
go
no
in
problem.
pro am half the time, bro, is I pick up people from my chat and we load into the rec us five. I don't want to have to make a new pro am team every time I want to pick up four
Right.
people from my
And
chat.
that's why I'm saying
There has to be a
they
5v5 basketball mode that people can just also
yeah,
walk
they
into.
made it as fair as possible. They made it as fair
yeah,
as they possibly can. That's
that's
all I was trying to say.
that's your answer. And they made it as fair as possible. Like they're like they did what they could. But Scott, you want to speak? So what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, so look, you have to understand there's five positions, and as a gaming company, you want people to get in games quick. If the attention span of somebody clicking in trying to get in the rec and they can't have a full five, really demotivates people from playing in the rec. The quicker they could get into play, the better. So I think a gentleman said that if there were players and you could just have an all random rec and then have an all squad rec, it doesn't really work because there's not enough 2K players at the same time clicking A at the door to be able to do that. If there were two different modes, the games to play will just be way longer. So when 2K does this, they have the 92 and under, and they have 92 and up. And don't matter if it's rec, they're gonna try to have an algorithm so they can have where you can play with randoms if you do go in as a random. If you play with a squad, they're gonna try to match you up with a squad. But their algorithm is set more for the quicker the gameplay, the better. Because nobody wants to try to play a rec game and it takes 10 minutes because you're trying to make it fair. People want fairness, but at the end of the day, you want performance over fairness. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, by going by myself, it should be all five people going in by yourself." But that's just not how it works because it just takes too long to play.
But how? Hold on. So what y'all
Yo,
are telling me is that it can't work, but nine
No, it
times
can't
out of
work. There's too many positions. It's five positions. It'll work like in park, for example, they have a random court, but if you notice, there's only one court that makes it random. If you try to do that for the rec, there's five positions. You need a PG, which is the hardest position. Then the secondary position is shooting guard. Then it becomes a power forward. Then the lock, then the center. So if you have multiple people that are centers trying to play, it'll just be some troll shit. But if you have different positions, um, you have to equate that into the math, right? There's five positions to fill in the game, and then there's the how many positions per player. So let's say out of 10 people, four people will be centers, two might be locks, one or two power forwards, and then the rest guards. So with that algorithm, it's gonna take too long to play in a rec if you go in as a lock, for example. As a random PG, most PGs, even the good ones, the comp ones, are going to be teamed up anyways. So you're going to be on a loading screen for a long time. Imagine when I think people are going into different servers to try to, boost their players and stuff. Think about it as the same way. You go into a park, there's only two courts filled up. That doesn't help 2K,
so let
especially in
me
the
ask you
American
let me ask
servers.
you a
I
question.
well, all
Why do
right,
we
let me
have Why
go
do we
ahead.
have two doors? That's what I want to know.
I,
What's the
I,
point
I,
of it?
we ain't gonna keep
And,
going.
and
We gonna
then
It's
yeah,
just two
Maria,
doors because it's
we
just
gonna
kind of like it's just how
let's
they
not
want to
this
make it.
let's
Go
let's
ahead.
just knock this topic out the way right quick.
topic out.
Now, if you're going to be a rec warrior, if you take accountability, you know what comes with going in solo. You're going to run into a squad. You're going to have sorry teammates, most likely. That's like me. If I go to a 1v1 core, I know I'm going to see post scores. I know what I'm signing up for. I can't blame 2K for not making it
Correct.
cater to me. Let's hold ourselves accountable. If you get a squad, go in with a squad. If you don't want to play with randoms, if you go to a game mode, you know what you're signing up for. Take accountability, Try different game modes. If you want to play with randoms, they have a random 3v3, random 2v2. You have to hold yourself accountable instead of blaming 2K and telling them they need to change something. Then you'll get better at the game trying different things. Just get more squads and friends, and then make it easier for you.
I think the thing is with casual players, there's not a lot of associations that go with casual players. I think All City is a community that promotes casual players. SEBA is a community, is a draft league that promotes casual players. So I think the underlying problem is a lot of players come from work. They're not into the comp scene, so they don't have friends that they can play every day. I think if they were more more into posts and trying to meet friends, I think everybody will then go into a way where everybody squad up. But a lot of people just are not, you play bad, everybody says you're bad at the game, go play something else. And if you can't find friends, then it just makes it more difficult for you to play 2K literally by yourself. Make sense?
But there's so many things that a person can do. Like he said, if you get on Discord, you got All City. It's a part where you can look for players to play with in the rec or 3v3, whatever the case may be. iPod, he got one. Then you can look for people on Xbox. I know on Xbox, if you make a post looking for players, that stuff literally take about 5-10 minutes to get a full five. It's other things that you can do to get a full five if you don't have people that play the game with you. Like literally, people that I play with, our times don't correlate sometimes. So I might be on the game by myself. So it's either I make the decision to go run with randoms, or I'm gonna make a post on this Discord and wait till I get a full five. It's up to you. Like he said, you gotta take accountability for the situation.
Fact.
Or if you run
Go
with
ahead.
some go in the theater. A lot of people that I met, I go in the theater and I run 3v3 randoms. And if they play well, if they play good or they complement my play style, whatever the case may be, I add them. And then we'll run and it just go on from there. And then you might put it's you just if you want to be good at the game to play with people that's good at the game, then you gonna have to put in the work. It's just like in the
Yeah, the
real
problem
world.
is just not introducing. Like, if you're a normal player and you play bad, they're just gonna say give up the game. Again, you got to join some type of association. I know I'm in part of SEBA, and we have a high school level, and the coaches there are supposed to teach you what a stack triangle, reverse triangle, and things are at the high school level. Then when you get scholarships, if you get better, then you go to the college level in SEBA, and then from there you're supposed to know what stack triangle and all those other rotations are. So there's just not a lot of places that's welcoming to the casual players. So when you run into rec and dudes are in there trolling, I don't think they want to troll. It's just people always tell them they suck. They don't want to take the time to kind of teach them. I'm not really familiar with Red City, but I did hear that he is welcoming to casual players. I know All City as well. There's just not a lot of associations that say, "Hey, you're a casual player. It's okay. Let me teach you how to play. Let me bring out your potential." And when you get into the rec, if a lot of people are more comp, then that will make the atmosphere more fun. But it's just 2K is a very difficult sport. I mean, a very difficult game. You suck, you're gonna stay suck because there's not a lot of things that help you
But
become
why
better.
do
I
you
want to
why do you
say
think
something.
2K YouTubers are as big as they are though? Because it's casuals wanting to watch their favorite creator. Like some of our biggest creators in the park community are all because they were at one point making a game breaking build, had good jump shots, had good stretch builds. Like that's just what 2K is. Like you guys are trying to almost like underline what 2K really is.
Yeah, I feel
It's
you.
the 1% being watched by the 99%.
Yo, I want to add
But a lot
something
of the
right there to what you're
99% want to
saying, real
play
quick.
too. They just don't have places to play in. You
Well,
get what I'm
that's
saying?
where the LF that's where it's an advantage now that Discord is a thing on PlayStation and consoles. So
Correct,
I'll
correct.
make a Discord. I'll probably have an LFT server out in the next month as well. Like, but you're
No,
not
next
going to be
week,
able to
bro.
step
Next
into an
week.
LF.
Have
You're not
one
going to be
next
able to
week.
step into an LFT server though and just figure your way out. Like, it's 2K, bro. It's win or lose. People are going to be
Yeah, but I
mad.
want to I
Like,
want to
there's
add
no stepping out of that.
I want to add to that what everybody's saying. I want to kind of give y'all perspective, and it's a little bit hard truth. It's the same thing as life. All right, life ain't gonna just hand you everything or anything. Maybe your mom does, maybe your dad does, maybe somebody around you might spoil you and let you be lazy. But life ain't gonna give you nothing. You got to earn it. You got to fight for it. And a lot of people don't realize, and myself included, I grew up poor as hell. as a kid, as a teenager, I didn't have no outlets. I went to the wrong places, went to the streets. Guess what? That didn't do anything for me, right? I did, but the truth is, that was what I thought the only outlet I had, the only thing I could resort to. Guess what?
Well,
There's so many opportunities. There's so many things that I could do. That the American dream. I'm in New York City, right? So instead of going into good things, I went into bad things, and I didn't find the resources or ways to help me. But now I've got older, of course, I understand now that life has a lot of opportunities. And it's the same thing with 2K, what Hollywood and some of the guys are saying is you have the resources out there. You just not whoever, sometimes people just not trying it, or they just, solo queuing and then getting mad about it. When I solo queue, I'm on my stream and I tell my stream, hey, this is Elden Ring, Dark Souls. We're gonna see what we get in here. Like you don't have it's like rolling the dice. And whatever comes. I make the best of it. I try to play the best. I get on the mic and talk about like, yo, cut, do this, that, and try to make it better. It's not good. Y'all know how it
So,
is out there. But the
coach,
point is I understand that that's what I'm gonna get. And then when I want to link up with people, I'm like, hey, I gotta put in the work. I gotta put in the effort. Just like in life, you have to put in the work. You got to put in the effort.
um,
Opportunities there.
so coach, to touch on that real quick. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Trevor.
well, I'm about to say, well, it's kind of like real life. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people in her hoop. If you hoop in real life, 9 times out of 10, the people you hoop with, out of 7 days out the week, they're not gonna be there for every hoop session you go to. So y'all know sometimes you gotta play with some randoms. I mean, it's the same thing like 2K. The homeboys might not be on all the time, or you might not always have a five. Sometimes, like you go on a rec, that's what come with it. Just going into a rec, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just what come with it. It's nothing you can really do about it. I mean, at the end of the day, just don't go in the wreck by yourself if
Yeah,
you
but
lose that
some
much.
people rather play the 5v5 over like a park.
Right.
That's why again.
Understandable, but that's what just come. I'm not attacking nobody. I promise. I'm just saying that's what comes with it. At the end of the day, that's just what comes with it.
You got a point. Okay, so this is the thing, right? Coming like we're all from different levels, and some of us are casual, some of us are competitive, some of us are right in the middle. Some of us are right there from being super competitive. Now the thing about it is, right, and coming from like a competitive aspect, I'm a competitive player. I've been where you guys have been. I start like, listen, I'm gonna tell you like me, right? Me personally, when I first started playing, like I've been playing 2K since Dreamcast, bro. I've been playing 2K forever.
Sheesh. He's an
When,
old head. He's an old head.
right, so I'm an old head. I'm 30. So when I first got into gaming and stuff like that, right? You know I've been gaming for years, but I was in 2K14, right? I was gaming and I was good at the game, but I never always good. I always played quick match, always good and stuff like that. I played with randoms. On 2K14, I literally found my team, right? Just picking up like players like I did. I kept playing with randoms. Every time I click with someone, I say, yo, you want to squad up? Then I went from me and someone else, me and my boy Buddy. Then from me and my buddy, we found my boy Los. And then from Los, we found J Rod, who's in the 2K league right now. And we're down the line, right? And so, for me, for content creating, I ended up playing Shakedown like every day. And then, Shakedown put me on to, content creating. That's my guy. He basically like got me into the content creating thing. And for that. Now, you guys, one thing I could say I've been where you guys have been. And one thing that I'm gonna say is when you're losing, I was the people that you were before. Like I was the person that was like BP, right? When I first met BP, right, he was also in the league. Bro, BP was left righting the hell out of me. Left righting, shooting threes in my face. Like I couldn't stop it behind the back, left, right, three, money. Like, yo, I couldn't stop. I'm over, yo, you're a cheeser, like, and what it comes down to is then we start to, you start to sit there and say, you know what, like you start trying to get the things that you can't stop removed from the game, or you start sitting there saying like how you're saying right now, well, I'm losing in the rec because I'm not playing against a squad. So what happens when you get a squad and you're still losing? You know what I mean? Then then you come to the realization like, damn, like I got to get better at the game, and like you guys have so much access to things now, bro. Like, people make YouTube videos, people got TikTok, they're telling you how to dribble. They're telling you what moves to put on. They're telling you what's effective, what's not effective. So like when you guys are sitting here trying to get better, Like
Piggyback off
look
that
at
real
someone.
quick.
Go ahead, bro.
So I think the biggest thing with the 2K community versus some of the other ones, Call of Duty, any of these other esports games that are going on, is the intimidation factor. Somebody that may be above a rec casual that is considering getting into the comp scene and maybe jumps into a tens, let's say. The negative feedback that they get defers some of these people that might have really good talent going on.
I agree. I
And
agree.
it makes them say, okay, I'm not ready for this yet, and they may never develop into a comp player. They may not say, I'm going to pay $10 to join this league because these people just told me I'm trash, or they made a bad build that's not a competitive build. But it really draws the line with, I would say there's like three tiers of 2K players. There's your just under the line of professional, your comp, or your casual. But I think that anyone that has league aspirations should focus on that. But anybody in between should really just be trying to build the community up and not dogging these people and just intimidating them away from the culture of it. And if we did a better job of just inviting people and being okay with somebody missing a shot, if they're not playing money tens, you don't have money up, or if they're joining a draft league or something, and something and can share that knowledge with somebody, that goes so much farther in the community's eyes than it does just winning. I hate losing more than anybody. But if you can just
No,
help
Turbo, that
build
makes sense, man.
somebody
The
up
community, like,
and you say, okay, look, you can shoot. We just got to work on some of your fundamentals
Hold on,
and
hold
just
on, hold on, hold
take
on.
them under your wing. And if everybody did that with a couple of people, the community, I think, would just be a lot better place. But when it's so toxic, you get into a tens chat and maybe you don't get picked up the first time, but you got next, and they just troll you right out of the lobby. You don't want to join again. You're just like, man, that was terrible.
Turbo, to get the, like, I get what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from, but that's something that you just can't stop in any gaming community, no matter if you're playing Call of Duty, no matter if you're playing Madden, no matter if you're playing 2K. Like, that's just life in general. That's like when, you know, like, I play ball in real life,
Mhm.
right? I played against kids that sit there and, I played against people who sit there in your face. They're talking shit to
I'm
you.
by
They,
no
curse.
means like a give
Yeah.
everyone a ribbon thing either. I'm just
No. I know what you mean. But what I'm saying is more of like, that's something you can't prevent because there's so many. You got billions of people playing 2K. Someone walks in there and they're playing when someone walks in there and they're playing, in the rec or something, they hop in there with randoms, and you have people who are competitive and like they have a competitive nature, but they not may not be that good at the game. So what happens is they hop on the game and they bring that competitive nature, but they're not as good. And one of the biggest things that people say is like sometimes people aren't as good as they think. That could apply to me. That could apply to you. That could apply to anyone. Sometimes we're probably could be good, but we're not as good as we think we could. That could be. So now that with that competitive nature, you're always gonna feel like you're better, or you can be better. So when people are talking trash to you and stuff like that, that's just you can't stop that in 2K, man. Like obviously you can tell, and I get what you're saying. You know what I mean,
I'm not
but
gonna lie, man. Everybody who sucks, please pull up on me, bro. I'm gonna talk the most shit to you this year.
exactly, and that's my point.
Like,
Like
like that
that, and
that's
that's
content for me
yeah,
too.
that's
Like
content.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You just can't get away from that in 2K, bro.
I don't
That's
want to
like
get away
that's
from
like a
it, but
bare
I just
bones
think that we can
2K.
do a better job of just inviting those people over. And like, if you're streaming and stuff, absolutely get your content out. Get your money where you can. But
I think that's where the LFT servers come from. I don't think it's anybody's job though to
Wait,
like
it's everybody's
make
job.
somebody
It's
else better in the world.
100%
so
Like,
so
everybody's
so so
job.
look, y'all.
I met a couple people this weekend. You guys know Joker ABD. His IRLs. I was at a wedding with him, and like they play pro am basketball in real life, and they're talking to me about 2K, and they're like, "Well, I'm gonna make a," and they were telling me like what builds they make, and I'm like, "Wow, where do you play with that fucking thing? Like, that doesn't even make any sense." And they're like, well, And then like I showed them some film from like a Hall of Fame overnight, and they're like, "Why isn't anybody moving in the corners? Like, why is there no motion and stuff?" And like, don't understand the difference between like actual basketball and then what the competitive scene has turned into. But they understand basketball, and then once I explained it to them, they're like, "Oh, that makes so much." But nobody's ever broke it down to me like that. We sat there and we watched from the semis to the finals, the Hall of Fame 2 or 3 nights ago, and they're like, "But nobody's ever broke it down to me like that. Can you? I want to play now. Like, show me what leagues to get into. I want to do it." But no one had ever said,
Yo, yo,
Yo,
now,
we-
now when you get into that, the thing is like, and I'm not saying everyone's the same, but it's very tough when it comes to that topic because when you're a competitive player, man, like especially when you're a content creator, you're not trying to lose. Me, I'm competitive, and I tell, me even when I play with people, right? I'm a competitive. I tell my viewers and I tell them like, I'll pick when I'm playing park and stuff like that. I'll pick them up all day. We can play or whatever. But when I'm playing competitively, if I'm playing stage, I'm like, bro, I'm not doing it. I will not play before I pick up randoms to play in like a competitive scene. And like the thing is, a lot of people don't want to take that time to teach someone, especially if you've been playing for
Steve was
years.
great with that stuff. Like I've seen them do
well,
that
well,
from a distance.
let me just jump in real quick. Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead, go
You
ahead.
don't think that it would be good content even when you lose?
No. I've never
I think
said
I
it's
think
not.
losing is content,
It,
but it has to
it's
be a roller coaster of emotion. If I'm just sitting
yeah,
here screaming at a guy who sucks at the game every single for 10 straight games, people don't want to watch that as well.
yeah,
That's a
right.
fact.
And then not only
But
that,
that's where
like
I said
what
there's
happened,
tiers.
Fred,
There's
Fred, so
and I guess I had another one in content creator. But as far as you're a comp player, but you're never gonna make the league. Like whether you want to say it, like you have aspirations to make, you're never gonna make the league. Um, but those middle of the road people that know the defensive sets, that know an offensive set, that know the builds that need to be played, that know the leagues, that are in the community, those middle of the road people are the ones that should be stepping up and saying, "Hey, let me get you to where I'm at, and what you do from there is on you."
Yeah,
Yo,
I feel you.
can I
I,
can
I
I
don't
can I
know.
say
but
one thing when it comes to the
Okay,
casual?
so
so
you're saying that
Rex,
though.
but if
Go
I
ahead,
say
go ahead,
one
Holly.
thing,
Go ahead, Holly. Go ahead, Holly. Sorry.
Let Holly talk. Go ahead, Holly.
So you're saying that though, but from a devil's advocate perspective, have you ever heard of like taking advantage of people? Like, you know how many people that are content creators that get taken advantage of for their mindset or their knowledge in the game,
I
and then
wasn't
you
talking
never hear
about
from them
content
again?
creators when I was saying that. I was targeting,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
get it.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying like even in the scene though, like why would you want to give your sauce to somebody else? Like this is a competitive
That's a
game we are
fact.
playing. This is not
That's a fact.
Minecraft. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
hey,
Like
can I add on to it? I want to add on to what Hollywood was saying, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's just me, but I've never like, bro. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I've never had nobody like. I've never lost to somebody and thought about like, damn, I wish he would teach me how he did that. Or I wish, like, bro, I ain't gonna lie. 9 times out of 10, people in the 2K community, bro, if they're playing against you, they're not gonna tell you how to beat them. They're not gonna give you the sauce on how to play against them. You feel me?
That's
That's
not
just
true
unless
either.
now unless you on my
That's
team,
ignorant.
you feel me? I'll give you a few pointers here and there, but when it comes to teaching you how to play against me or how to play like my play style or play
No,
how
that's
my
not
pro
true
am team
because there's
play
people
style,
out there that are hosting dribble labs or teaching that stuff, and a lot of
And
it.
Turbo, I'm a part of that. Turbo, I'm a part of that. Like I'm a person who I often get hit up. Like all right, when 2K comes out or whenever, like I get so many DMs on like Twitter, like, "Yo, Red, teach me how to dribble. Like, how do you do this move or how do you do this direction or how do you time that?" Like, I get
And
so
there's a
much of
ton of
that.
content creators. I don't know if you get as much 2K videos on TikTok as I do. That people have just dribble tutorials on there, or it,
Not, Turbo, that's the point. You basically pointed my point. That's what I said. Like, as
but you
in
know
this,
why those are up, right?
yeah,
Because
that's
they
what I'm
want to
saying.
make money off them.
great.
There's a
Exactly.
reason they're monetizing their
No,
brand. They're
there's no
monetizing their
exactly,
problem with
skill.
that at all in
exactly.
anyone's book.
But they're not gonna monetize it by going and talking to Timmy 36 and telling them how to get better at the game. There's a reason, like when you go to Valorant, they have coaches for people to get out of bronze. They go buy coaches for 2
So
hours.
let me just give you like my like perspective on it. I joined in whatever year it was, years and years ago, and tried out for this draft league and had a
Mhm.
terrible build that I just, it was like a semi LeBron replica that had absolutely no business being on a pro am court. And went out, tried out, got dropped off. Everyone trolled me onto this lobby, and I said, "There's no fucking way I'm gonna just ever join up and lose like this again." And I did the homework myself and figured out, okay, what do I need to do to be better at this? And the next 2K, I was running leagues. I was, on teams with good people. Some of them that are in the 2K league now, and but not everybody has that self
Right
confidence
now,
in
terrible.
winning. Like,
Now, terrible.
That's what
Now,
separates
and
the.
terrible, and that's the point, right? What you're saying is the game is like, okay, the game is a game, right? But you know, life applies in all matters, bro. How you are as a person. If someone has it in them, they have it in them. If they don't, they don't. You can help someone and try to push them to that, but like no one wants to like,
Teach got
bro.
his hand up.
There's
Let
too
him jump in.
yeah, there's too and I got him. There's too many people. There's too many ways and forms. You got TikTok, you got YouTube, you got Twitch, you got Twitter. There's too many ways of you to find out. Oh, like how I said, it's too many. Like you know what I do, bro? Even me to this day, right? I figure out how to dribble all the time. Like I know how to dribble. Usually the first day I figure out everything, and I'll learn shit down the road. But even when I there's a move that I'm curious or I don't know how to do, I will go look at a video, find it out, and then I'll just perfect it better than the person that knows how to do it. I'm like, oh, that's how you do it. Bet now I'm gonna know how. I'm gonna find out how to do
For
it
sure,
But
better.
for
just
sure.
having that
Now
mentor
there,
though that you can go to, that
Yep.
but people don't have,
Yep.
bro. It's very real.
Red,
Like
let me
So
it's
so
like,
how
bro.
does
intervene for a
2K
second.
fix that though?
good.
Yeah, 2K can't fix that.
Let
2K
me
can't fix.
intervene for a second,
Go
guys.
ahead, coach.
The in the end of the day, guys, there's a lot of great people out there. I mean, Red and Ja have been doing these spaces for like 5 months, right? I jumped in and been helping them. They're working like 40-hour weeks doing these. And did this conversation over and over. We've done other conversations, literally the same conversation again with different people to inform them, to help them, to guide them in different ways. I only
And got
joined
nowhere.
specifically to do that, to give a 2K community something non-toxic, something supportive, something helpful, something where we could just go back and forth, agree to disagree or not, and all that. And I think that's what we're talking about individual type of like trying to get a specific thing, but in the end of the day, people are going to be people. They're going to help when they want to help, and they're going to help themselves. Also, sometimes you're
It's
talking
life.
about
Like yeah, it's life. It's that's
you're talking
like
about like
how coach.
content creators that are like just trying to get their money, and then there's other ones who are really being helpful, trying
Yeah,
to
like
put out
there's
content.
a whole
So it's
circle
a
of different
beautiful
people.
thing. But by the way, I want to appreciate the two guys or three guys that had their hands up. Q, you had your hand up. You can go first, and then the other
Yeah,
guy.
I'm gonna just say one thing. When it comes to what Turbo is saying, I agree with one part, and that's uplifting the community. With this crossplay that we have, we're gonna have more content. We're gonna have more people that could get more friends and have a better 2K experience. Red gave the formula, the same formula I used when we didn't have all these resources. You first take yourself accountable for being good or bad. If you want to be good at the game, you're gonna get better, you're gonna find out how to get better, then you're gonna start adding people that's better, then you're gonna have a better 2K experience. That's the cake, that's the icing right there.
Like that's
Everything
like
you need to
I gave
know.
you that free game. Like I literally
Right,
gave you
that's
that free.
free game. That's
That's free. Like
without all the resources.
like that's what I'm telling you. Like like if you can't get that mentor, bro, all you literally have to do is like there's so many forms of social media to hop on. And this is coming me about me from coming. I'm a player who played competitively in pro am. Like my team was top 5 for like 5 years in pro am. Competed so many times. I played pro am, and I went to the park area. I went to the park area. I chose not to go for the 2K league or whatever. So this is me telling you for like in all forms, whether it's pro am, whether it's park. My thing is that I the way I see it is like there's too many ways. Like I said, if you're a rec player, you have no one to play with. Hop in the rec, and when you find someone, there might be that one person you're clicking with. Find that person, add them. Yo, bro, like yo, just add me on PSN. We can match up. Boom. Now you got 2 players. Then the next thing you know, now you might play another rec game, and it's just you and him with 3 others. You might find one good player, or you might find 2 more people, and you're like, yo. I mean, I'm with him. Like I'm with Hollywood. Yo, y'all got 2. Yeah, we got 2. All right, bet. Like, yo, add me. Let's play. Boom. Now you got 4. Next thing you know, you find that fifth person. Now you're squatted. You're not having that issue. I'm not saying you're gonna win every game, but you're definitely gonna be better. And that's how you go down the line. Now you like, oh, I don't know how to do that move. I don't know how to do this, bro. You got TikTok, you got YouTube, you got
Right. It
Twitch.
all start with yourself.
Yeah, none of
There's too
that
many.
was started.
There's too many forms of social
But
media. There's too many forms of social media for someone to say, yo, I don't know how to. I can't figure this out, bro. Everything is on social
YouTube
media.
it. YouTube
Yeah,
it. Hey,
YouTube,
Black
TikTok,
Black.
But you
whatever,
can't
bro. Like,
YouTube getting trolled out of a party and never and like
but that's that, bro. That's just
that
life,
is.
bro.
You're
That's
right.
life.
You're right. You're right.
Bro,
right,
that's
we
just
don't
because,
have
bro.
mentors in real
Hey,
life.
hey,
We
I
only
got a
have
mentor in real
Turbo,
life.
Turbo,
Bro,
2K can't
welcome to video
listen,
gaming. Hold on. Yo, let
bro.
me
Listen,
yeah,
explain
because
like how
Turbo,
I
we
even got
can't
into 2K.
carry everybody to the promised land. We
yeah,
can't
like,
baby all these little kids. They have
like,
to
like
want to be better.
Hey,
listen, like,
Hold on.
Turbo, you're trying to like control, like, you're trying to control something that's control. You can't control people. Like, that's a mental, bro. Let me tell you something, right?
Yeah, you're almost trying to control a
Yeah,
narrative, like in somebody's
I
life.
stream on Twitch. I stream on Twitch every day, right? I stream well when like 2K like first, right? When I stream on Twitch, right, and I'm playing, right, my chat, bro, and like every year, unless I stop being consistent, I'm always at 500 to 1,000 views or more, right? Now, when I'm streaming, I can win 20 games, right, straight. I lose one game, yo, Red, you're trash. You suck. You sold, bro. That like, bro, like, most people like, I can sit there like, you know what? you know what, guys? I'm turning the game off. I'm gonna turn the game off because y'all said I suck because I lost one game. And bro, that's just the way gaming is. Like in gaming in general, you're gonna hear shit talking,
Yeah.
bro.
But
Sports,
could I just say
sports.
something with
Listen, hold
that?
on, coach. Hold on, coach. Sports in general, you're gonna hear shit talking. Like that is like,
yeah, yeah.
and like
I'm
this is
all
why.
about it
Okay,
too.
this is why.
I'm not trying to pussy down the community by any means.
No, no, I'm not. I'm not saying you're trying to pussy down the community at all. I'm just saying like sports in general in real life, whether it's gaming, whether it's real life, whether it's Call of Duty, no matter what you're playing, bro. When a person's competitive, you're gonna have people who are like, "Oh, good game, bro," and then you're gonna have a person that's gonna sit there and say,
Darwinism.
"I'm gonna bust your ass again, spin the block, come around the court again, so I can bust your ass
All right,
again."
all right.
You know,
Yeah, but I
you
think
don't have.
Turbo's making a point, and it's simple, and we should all accept it in the sense of if you're a good person, you hear that it's a freaking 8-year-old. You don't need to get crazy on the 8-year-old. You know what I mean? Like have a little bit of decency as far as you don't got
We're
to
not.
become a mentor to every person in the world, but at least have some decency. If you hear that he's
I,
No, but coach,
I
that's
ain't
not
gonna
I'm
lie.
leaving the
I ain't gonna
lobby
lie.
if it's
coach.
an
I
8-year-old.
do agree with
Coach,
that,
you're
but
not
them be
coach. He's not
demons.
talking about coach. He's not talking about. He's not talking about kids, bro. He's talking about. He's literally about talking about people who he was just talking about himself, and he was talking about himself and his experience, how he went into a party and people, and he's saying that people might experience it. He's not talking about. We know 8-year-olds. We're not gonna do that to no 8-year-old kids, bro. Come on now,
Bro,
bro.
there's no
no,
avoiding.
no, of
There's no
course.
Yeah,
I'm just
avoiding what
there's
making a
no.
Turbo is
point.
Do
saying.
There's
What
not.
I'm making a point is that we, just be a good person as best as you
yeah, but
can,
coach,
regardless.
listen,
I want to
coach.
hear
I
what
get what you're
Feature
saying, bro.
says. He's got his hand up, and he
Yeah, Feats, go ahead, bro.
No, man, I'm just sitting here listening, man. I rarely get to listen to the content creator side of things. I'm usually, in the spaces with the pro am and the pro am players and the coaches and the league owners like myself. And one of the things I noticed about like the content creator thing, two things. The content creator, you guys are solo, so you have your own thing. Like you play rec or whatever, you play in the park and stuff like that. But there's no concept of like team orientation. So when you're talking about, I got to win 20 games in a row, I don't want to play with the scrub, blah blah blah, this and that. On the pro am side, it's like it's more long term. Like the league that I run, it's more long term. So anybody of any skill level can join. You could be absolutely terrible, and we'll find a role for you in SIBA, 100%. Man, you know what I'm saying? Like you start off at the lowest level, and you can organically grow. And it's like you can play in this league and lose, and it'll be great content. Because if you, let's say, one season you're on a team that goes 3-13, right? Wasn't that good, Next season you go 6-10, and the third season you're 10-6. You're in the playoffs. That's big because now you made it. The winning
I do
feels so
disagree
much
with you
better.
on that. I disagree with good content on that. Like I think it's content for that person, but there's got to be something that's attractive to the outside eyeball. Like it's cool for like the people on that team. It's a cool story for them, but like they also have to find a way to bring it
that's strictly
attractive to the
from a
outside eyeball. And the way
content
you do
point of
that,
view.
Yeah, but that's
Holly, what Feats. Okay, so basically, what Feats is saying, like he's like promoting. He's basically promoting what he has. He's promoting that he has a league for people who aren't at that level. So he's trying to say that, well, for
There
people
is
who
a
aren't at
space
that
for those
level,
people.
Well,
they
that's
have.
not. Listen, let me just
No, no, no,
clarify
listen,
that. That's not exactly true.
no, no,
My
no,
league
no,
is for
no.
people
Listen,
of all skill
listen.
levels.
I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm not saying that you're trying to like promote in a bad way. I'm saying as like you're letting people know that there is leagues and there are things for people of that nature who want to get better, who aren't that good, like you guys.
Yeah,
Then
so Feach is the answer to Turbo's
yeah,
question. That's like
you're right.
it's
You're
not 2K. That's what I'm trying to get at, like with Turbo. Like it's like that with every game, bro. Like I grew up on game battles, getting yelled at, kicked off teams, booted off rosters. That's how I found all the Team Witness boys was on a game battles forum. Back when
Yeah,
I
but
was like,
Hollywood, I'm not gonna lie. When one of the high school coaches in our level like started doing that to their players, Feach kicked them out the Discord and charged them $300 to get back in, and he paid it to come back in. Like he was trolling on Twitter, and then he was like, "Bro, let me come back, Feach, please, bro. That's on
Yeah,
me."
I don't listen. I
Damn,
don't really
300.
tolerate that. I don't really tolerate that
There's people that
toxicity.
paid $750 to get back
But
in
I,
the league.
but
Y'all need
listen,
to do what he doing.
I want to clarify one thing though. My league isn't designed for bad players. You know, I have top of the line players. I have former 2K League pros like Spammy that plays here and stuff like that. DJ Too Cold. This was the first league he ever played in was Seba way back in the day in 2K20 before he ever played pro am. I found him in a looking for group post trying to run park. So he actually started here. This league is for all skill levels, whether you're really good or you're really bad. What my league is, it's not a league for bad players. It's like a massive multiplayer online RPG. That's what it really is because you join as a prospect, you got to make a high school level team, and on the high school level, it's an entire league in and of itself. Last season, we had about 35 teams. And you got to make your way on there. And while you're playing high school ball, the college level coaches, it's a second league. They're recruiting you to play college. And if you're good enough at the high school level, you'll get offered a college spot. And while you're playing college ball, I mean, you guys can figure it out. At the pro level, when we got 32 teams, the best of the best, they're scouting you for the draft. So, in other words, like it's like Seba is like a content creator's wet dream because what do content creators really be doing? Like like somebody said, making a YouTube video about dribble sigs and the best build. Everybody's going to know what the best build is by February. If you're making best build videos in February, March, April, your content sucks. I'm not trying to diss anybody, but like you have nothing. Like if you're playing rec in March, April, May, and that's your content, you know what I'm saying? Like that content's bland. How many times can you play in the rec, beat the shit out of teams by 50 and play against 4 AIs? But on the pro-am side, especially in the league that we created, it's from September to September, all year round, every game, every season. We never forfeit a game. The Discord is exploding with content. Why? Because it's long term. Even teams that lose stick together. They build because the wins aren't as good if you're not suffering through the losses. You know what I'm saying? Like this storyline's like crazy in
Hey,
this league.
Turbo. So, look, this is what I wanted to say, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a prime example of exactly what you're talking about, bro. Like in 2K20, I had a BP build, bro, and I was a good to average player. Like I was always good at 2K, but I was just hitting that peak of like really figuring out 2K
What
and
the
how
next
to
step
really
is.
play this build. So I had bro, I ain't gonna lie, I had a BP build, and I was in pro-am, bro, and I used to get blitzed hella, bro. I couldn't fucking get open. My teammates, like, we all cool, but I'm getting called ass, bro. I'm leaving the party. Some days I wouldn't even get on. Like, bro, you know what I did? I took my ass to YouTube and I watched the best people in pro-am. I watched Spam 101 at the time. I was watching Young Precise. Bro, if you want to get better, you're gonna figure out ways to get better.
Accountability.
You
Yeah,
feel me?
like I said, and that's the point. Like besides the matter, bro. Like you have to take accountability first, like, and know, like, a lot of people. What happens is 9 times out of 10, a person doesn't take accountability. They're gonna blame the game. They're gonna say, "Well, 2K had this," or if this person stopped doing this cheesy move. But like most of the time, I'm gonna give you like an example, right? People call people who know how to dribble. Me, I'm a person who knows how to dribble, right? Um, they'll call me a cheeser. But the only reason a person is going to call you a cheeser is
They can't
because
do it.
they don't know how to do the move. They don't know how to dribble, or they don't know how to do the things that I know how to do. So automatically, I'm a cheeser. Now, once they figure that out, that cheeser thing goes out the window. And I'm a prime example of that because that was me in 14. I knew how to dribble. I was still winning.
But there's people who were like, oh, like I said, I met BP. BP was a freaking. He was like, he knew how to
Let
do
me pause you
everything.
right
I'm like,
there
yo,
though.
there's
BP helped you, right?
like, no, nobody helped me. I learned on my own. I literally
All
learned
right.
on my
I
own.
don't want.
I
I
literally
don't. I'm not saying like
no,
hold people's hands or anything. Just
no. He didn't listen.
accepting and
BP.
point people in the right
Listen.
directions, even if you
BP.
don't got to bring
Listen.
them in
You
the
want to know?
lab.
Listen. You want to know what BP told me? You want to know what BP told me, bro? When I called him a teaser, he said, come around again. He called me a come around. He said, come around again so I could bust your ass. That's what he told me. He said, come around again.
Literally,
And I
Listen.
that's what
love
people
that.
say,
He
bro.
listen. He said, come around again so I could bust your ass. He said, and right, and I kept playing. I played him over and over and over
And I respect
again.
you.
I didn't listen, right, and I didn't give a damn. I played him over and over again, right, and eventually I ended up I met my boy Colt, right? Colt's in the league. He plays for the Celtics. Colt Colt was another person, right? This is mind you, this is 2K14. I met Colt. I started hanging out with Colt. You know, he started talking to me, and he's like, "Bro, you just gotta keep playing or whatever." I kept playing. I learned on my own. Right? Like for you to get better, you have to play against better people. You're not gonna get better playing against average people. I mean, you can work on your moves and stuff like that. I'm gonna give you a prime example, right? When I play Park, I can do whatever I want against anyone, right? Now, when I go into the stage where I love to challenge myself, I know like 9 times out of 10, like when you're alone and you're like when I'm dribbling alone, it's easy when you're dribbling alone. When you're sitting there labbing up, doing dribble moves, it's easy. Now, when you start trying to dribble in front of a defender, that's a whole different thing. You really getting tested. Like, okay, like now you have to make sure all your movements down and stuff like that. So what I'm saying is like, bro, you really that it's a mental thing. Like I'm not like you said, you're not saying for people to like hold your hand, but you're kind of saying it at the same
I get
time.
it.
That's
I
just
am, I
something
guess.
that's like that's like and like that's the thing
Because
about
if
it
I
is,
didn't get
bro. I'm not
dogged
gonna
out of
lie to
those
you.
tens parties, I would
You
never have fucking said I'm gonna put my nose down
exactly,
to it
and
and
that's my
figure
point.
this
That's my
the
point.
fuck out.
Exactly, terrible, and that's my point. So you're either gonna be someone who's gonna be like, I'm gonna get better so I can compete with him, or you're gonna sit there and you're gonna be like, no, you're gonna you know what? I'm cool. I'm gonna go play another game,
Yeah, but I
and
got
that's
I got a
and
question,
listen.
yo.
Go ahead.
What about all the players that don't learn that way? What about all the players that will probably benefit from somebody like yo, they're taking their time out to show them the right way. Like, I mean, that's you. You got a different personality
No,
type,
no, no, no,
so
and no, and I know that, I'm giving up. I get you. Like, but I'm saying that's from my perspective, and that's why I'm saying like, no matter what, when it comes to this gaming shit, bro, we all have different perspectives. For instance, me and Hollywood have a different view from you guys. Q has a different view. Everyone has a different view, and that's why I'm gonna give you an example, right? So when it comes to like I'm gonna give you an example. When Mike Wayne like dropped a tweet today, he said, "What do you think the percentage should be for shooting?" Right? Me as a competitive player, like what he said with the badges. How much do the badges affect? As a competitive player, right? As for casuals, I understand 100% for casuals. If you want to make it 80, 85, I get it, right? Because you want to make it to where like they feel like they can compete. Now, for me, playing as a competitive level, I say 70, 75. The reason why is because we already have all the boosts we need. We have the attributes, we spoke about this earlier with a bunch of people, from
Hot zones, hot
hot,
zones.
Hell yeah.
exactly, hot zone. You got hot zones, you got the badges, you got the no meter. Plus, people are buying jump shot boosts. There's so you're basically equivalent to that. So you basically make it so we're like, damn, I can make anything. It's damn near impossible to miss. Not impossible, but obviously you can. But it's harder to miss for a person at a competitive level. So it becomes very easy, and that takes away from the skill gap. But I also understand because there's casuals who need that. They need that boost to make those shots because without that, if like I say 70, I might, 70, 75 is cool for me, but you may need that 85, 90. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? So like there's all different type of areas and there's all different type of ways. That's why, when, I said like there's never for everyone speaking, right? This is the hardest thing and it's the hardest pill to swallow, right? 2K, like, listen, I salute 2K. 2K does everything they can. And when I mean this, like, the devs are working hard this year. You've seen it. They've been communicating with us. They've been talking. They're trying their best. It's impossible to make every person in this game happy.
Facts.
Listen, you can't stop. Listen, 2K can't stop. 2K can't stop an 8-year-old from getting their ass busted, right? As to a average player who's never played Pro Am, you can't stop them from getting flooded in the wreck.
You can't stop a person who knows how to dribble. Listen, like for instance, like you could try to stop someone from dribbling. You know what? Take that move out the game. If a person is good at the game, a person is good at the game. There's nothing you could do. They're always gonna find a way. Splash said it earlier. He's won the 250K tournament 2 times already. He said it earlier. He said, "Listen, you can take out. You said you're gonna take out. You're gonna take out speed boosting. All right, cool. You're gonna take out quick stop. Now we're gonna fade. Like good people are always gonna find a way to win no matter what. And people are gonna get better over time. But 2K, you can't blame 2K and you can't hold 2K accountable for people who are getting getting snapped on or getting trash talk. They have 2K can't sit there and say, "Hey, I'm gonna ban Jimmy 35 for saying that, telling that kid I'll spin the block or get better, kid. You're trash."
That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm kind of missing right now. Red is like, what issue are we trying to address here? Because
like
basketball, even in real
Yeah, I
life,
ain't gonna lie, I'm a little confused.
that's
Just
my point. Like,
kind of everybody holding themselves more accountable and uplifting the community instead of just always being negative.
but not. But that's the thing. That's the
Everyone
thing.
needs the negative to either get better or no.
Hey, this the 2K community. It get real toxic.
That's the problem.
Listen,
That's the problem.
And that's
the
Not
community.
everybody
And
though.
I love
That's
it.
Not
every
everybody
community,
out
bro.
there.
I love toxic.
Bro,
I
somebody
love
gonna
shit
talk
with
There's
a
a
some
lot
mess
of
to
passion.
great
somebody.
people. There's a lot of
listen. All right. Before we get into that, 'cause I want to change this topic. 'Cause this is a never-ending topic. All right. So, the thing with this topic is that you can't. This is a gaming, bro. Like, Nate, you're gonna have positive. Listen, you're gonna have people. For instance, right? I'm a competitive player, but I'm also a person who sees things from both sides of the court. Right? I see my point of view as a competitor. Like I just told you now. Like I could have sit there and like, man, forget them. I don't care. Like I'm a comp player. You need to cater to us because you know the casuals. Who cares about the casuals, bro? Like they're gonna be, but they're gonna. But no, I'm like, you know what? I get it. If Mike wants to make the bonus 75, 80, cool, I get it. Because, there's probably a casual player out there who needs it, yeah, it'll take away from the skill gap, but fine, you know what I mean? Like, that's cool. But there's nothing you can do, no matter it's the difference from someone saying good game. It's the difference from someone saying good game and saying, your ass, like you can't stop that. That is gaming. Like, welcome to the gaming world. Welcome to life. That is life. You know what I mean? You can't stop that. You're going to win. You're going to lose. If you're good, you're going to win more than often. If you're average, you're going to win, but you're going to lose some. And if you're bad, then you're bad. You're going to have to find a way to get better. There's nothing, 2K can do about that. And when you're speaking to other people and you're saying, well, I just need the community to stop being negative, bro. Do you know how many people play 2K? Like, Coach, how many sales did 2K have last year? You heard, Coach? Oh, my bad. Coach, my bad. Coach, how many
13 million.
13 million. Do you think 2K can control 13 million of people to be positive? You know what I mean?
All you're talking about is basketball, dog. Like people talk trash on a basketball court in real life.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm telling. Like I'm saying in general. I'm not even saying. I'm saying in general.
Just talk about basketball in general. Like we're playing a basketball video game based off real life basketball. I was not in high school patting somebody on the ass saying, "Yo, good game, bro." Like, nah, I was saying,
bro,
yo, I'll see you in the playoffs if you even make it. Shit, like you suck.
And listen, it's also it's not about 2K though. How about it's up to us to make a different environment, not 2K.
Amen. Guys,
the community was built
I ain't gonna lie,
man.
I ain't gonna. We're gonna get off this topic because there's no.
Yeah, it seemed like we were going in circles.
Yeah, we're going in circles.
No, I feel like we're all talking about the same thing. To be honest,
no, we are. But the thing about it is like the topic. There's no solution. There's no one's ever gonna agree. You're gonna listen. We're gonna disagree. We're gonna disagree to agree, and we're gonna move on from this topic because there's no solution that any of us.
No. I think we're not disagreeing because everybody.
No, I said we could agree to disagree or whatever.
In competition, we all can agree that you gotta be a winner and whatever it takes to win. So that's agreeable. Now, the talk about being a good person, that's a separate conversation. It has nothing to do with it. When I'm on the court, I'll break your nose if I got to.
After
the game, I'll buy you a drink and say, my bad.
Exactly. Listen, when I play, I'm gonna give you an example. I can play Hollywood, right? When I play Hollywood, I'm talking so much shit to Hollywood. But then after the game, I'm like, yo, like GG's Hollywood. Y'all go there.
Hollywood said he's better than you though.
But Red, no, the community was built off of that. Back
Yeah,
in the
like
day, it was pull-ups, the best
bro.
content, who playing who. This is the 2K community. That's what everybody love the most.
Yeah,
You
people
gonna
love,
be toxic.
and that's like Holly was saying, like people embrace, they love that competitive nature. Like even when you're watching a movie or you're watching a basketball game, and bro,
Bro, I
like
don't care what
people,
age you were.
NBA.
If
yeah,
I beat you, you were my seed and you were splitting the block, bro.
Uh,
I wanted a
yo,
100 win streak on
yo,
your head. Like, I
you
don't care. And then yeah, guess what? Like you DM me later, be like, yo, Hollywood, what was that build? I'll probably link you my video.
hey
Or
Hollywood,
I'll,
let me
I'll
ask you
be
a
like, yeah,
question. You think 2K makes it easier for people to kind of be more looked at for the 2K league, or you think they just kind of like pick and choose?
no, bro, you can't. Let me explain something, right? Like, because you're going to a different topic now. For the 2K League, bro, like I said, everyone knows if you are a gamer, if everyone knows what leagues you need to be in, everyone knows what leagues you need to go to compete in. And when you compete in them leagues, you're seen. You're either good or you're not good. Like like there's nothing you can control about that. So when you get, I already know what topic you're going into because like we had this convo the other day. You just had a bunch of 2K League players in here before you left. The 2K League, listen, the people who are good at the game are good at the game, right? You can't stop that. There are leagues in the game, and people are watching those leagues. If you want to compete to get in those leagues, if you want to compete to get in a league, then go ahead and jump at those leagues. Get a team, play in the league. If you feel like you're up to par to play on that level, but when you're playing on that level, if you're sitting here complaining mentally, I'm not saying you, I'm saying in general. If someone's sitting here complaining and talking about, you know, and you're sitting here talking like, oh well, we need to be on a negative, bro. If you think you're gonna go for a league and you're complaining, or you're sitting there saying, well, you know what, that positive energy, you better take that
bro,
shit
let
out the
me
window.
ask you how
And
easy it is to get in the NBA. Fuck the 2K league. Let's put it in a
Yeah, I
real
was
world
just trying to
reference
change the
because
topic to be honest, because we said we were
yeah,
changing the topic.
what's in it? Let's go to the next topic, man. Because I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like it's just at the end of the day, we're talking about basketball here. Like this is basketball. Like this is not
Mentality.
2K's
Mamba
issue.
mentality.
Yeah, I
Mamba's
feel
right,
I feel like
mentality.
we just gotta look at it from a realistic point of view, bro. Like you gonna talk shit. You like motherfuckers gonna get told to spin, keep spinning. It ain't been a few people
yeah,
I didn't
no,
beat who
these
didn't
are are
came
these
ask an
back
are
and
off
beat
topic
me.
question?
Go ahead,
Has
bro.
anyone heard if you can be on the same team in Pro Am with different consoles?
Yes.
Yes, you
Yeah,
can.
On the same
yes, you
team?
can.
Yep.
Yes,
Every
Yes.
single
I
mode
wasn't sure if
in
it
the
was just,
game
I
every
works.
know it's
single
a separate
mode you can be on
mode,
the
but I
same team.
wasn't sure if it
Yeah.
was like you could run into an
That's
Xbox
lovely.
team.
Yeah,
That's
you could be on
lovely.
both sides.
Nah,
Either
but
way.
Coach, I love having these combos because regardless, like they don't have to get, no one's getting disrespectful. Everyone's giving their point of views, which I love. You know, but the thing about it is, this is why, like, how someone just like feats. You just sat here and like you sat here. I'm gonna give you an example, right? Like when you came in, you said, like I never heard from a content creator's perspective. Like I've always been, but when you have people like me, like bro, let me explain. Like you have people like Bean Hollywood and a few others, bro. We all like I'll put money on like people like me in Hollywood. We play at competitive level. We just choose to stay in the streaming aspect. Like I'm
Bro,
pretty
I
sure
was I was literally one of the best players in the world in 2K16. I was road to the finals like on Team Witness. Like we beat Throwdown by 40. We walked in,
yeah,
we played dimes and everybody and we're up by them, up by 10 going into the fourth quarter. But like the thing is like sometimes, you start to realize like you have better aspirations, and my aspirations was just not the 2K league.
yeah,
It's
and
to
and and and
entertain
that's
people.
the same with me. That's how I took it. Like every year
But
we
that's
were
not
top
better
five.
aspirations. I worded that wrong. Like everybody has different aspirations.
Yeah, that's a better way of saying it. Like we had, like we noticed us. We were like, I listen. I get asked every year, "Yo, Red, you coming back to program? Like, come back to program." Like, bro, I had it when like my team was on like 2K TV for being like number one, bro. I remember when Peerless Proficiency was 100-0, and then they finally played us, and we scraped them by 40. You know what I mean? The same way, like we played Throwdown. So the year that Throwdown won in 2K17, we played them, and we killed them. You know what I mean? Like, but like as far as the system was, I wasn't a fan of the how you got in system because like I said, we were gonna qualify. We're beating everybody all day, and then a team quit on us, and then we only got half the points, so we went to fourth place instead of first place, and we didn't make it. So, you know, um, but like I said, like yes, there's a lot of content creators because people are don't get me wrong. There's content creators who are also is what I'm saying is there's content creators like
that are also competitive, who've been there, who can play at that level. But we also chose not to go that route because we chose content creation. Like me, for instance, like I'm gonna tell you, my first experience with the 2K League, when before it started, I got invited to the Sixers. Right, I went to Philadelphia. Jeff, who's the coach? Let's see, his name used to be the White Kite. He was a pro am player.
I
He
played
knew
on
I was
his team.
competitive. Yeah, yeah. So I played against him. He's actually the head coach for them now. He invited me out. He knew I was a 2K player, and I'm not gonna lie. Got up and I seen them practice. I got up and I seen them practice, and they were playing. Like I played with them. We were there for hours. I'm saying we were there for 6 hours straight playing scrimmages all day. And then I seen that and I'm like, bro, I can't do this. Like, this ain't for me. I'm not. This ain't my lane. Like, I looked at it and said, bro, I won't be able to stream. I won't be able to, do content. And I like it'll be very hard. That's for instance. I'll give you a perfect example. Fana's in the 2K league, right? And you'll see Fana will grind, and he'll be having a great year. And then once the 2K league comes, he doesn't really stream as much because he's practicing for scrimmages. He got the tournaments. You're traveling. It takes away from other things. Especially for me, like me, I take care of my grandmother. My grandmother just had open heart surgery, so me and my family take care of her. And with that, like I have other things where like I'm not gonna do that if I go over here. If I was to go for a 2K league, so like there's nothing wrong for with people in here. What I'm saying is there's nothing wrong with going in different areas or realizing like maybe something's not for you. Just like going for a job or going to college for something. You might say, hey, this is for me, and then you're like, you know what? That's not for me. You start realizing that's like me.
But then there are
I was
people though
And you
where the
can still
2K
be
League is an
successful at what you're
advantage.
doing. Okay, okay.
exactly. You can still be
There's
successful.
the smaller creators that don't have a guaranteed revenue source from NBA 2K that want to take a jump at the 2K League. Like I always told this when the 2K League first came out, bro. If I didn't make it in 2K19, I was gonna go for the 2K League. Like there's always like there's always it's a plan for some. For everybody has their own plan, bro.
And not only that, Hollywood,
But
I wouldn't really look for a 2K League player to kind of tell me how the community goes. I would kind of go more the route that Red City does, like to listen, basically.
I almost disagree though in a way
Talk to me,
because
talk to me.
like a lot of the 2K League players like they are a part of our community. They're watching my streams. Like I met Dayfry when I'm a park player, but I know all the 2K League guys just because I'm there. I go to a lot of the 2K League events. Like I've been
Yeah,
partnered with the
same,
NBA 2K
same,
League since
same.
season
Yeah.
2. So they are all consumers of the game as well. Yes, they play at a higher level, but ultimately they understand entertainment. They understand like how our actual scene works. They all started playing probably 2K in the older days, just like me. We're all the same in an aspect. We all are consumers of NBA 2K. So that's like the biggest issue is to find a balance. You need to reward, the casuals for beating the veterans. Like I said earlier in the thing, like to try to hopefully switch this topic to a different aspect that is basketball, but like basketball is about winning. If you can't get with the fact that you're losing and you need to find a way to win, then you're not going to have fun on 2K. That's how 2K has always been. It's a basketball
Yeah,
game.
every game actually is like literally like that. Every game is
Yeah,
literally
video games have always
yeah.
been just around
Listen,
Fortnite. Why do you think they have one person winning on Fortnite? Why do you think we all loved Fortnite in season 1? Because it was the first time we had a battle royale where we were fighting 100 people to try to win the game.
Okay.
I want to add on to that what Hollywood just said, bro. And I ain't gonna lie, if anything, right now, bro, like I feel like at least with 23, bro, they're making the game easier for people to get good or be good at the game. So if you still not putting in that work to get better, what else? What else can you feel me?
Honestly,
Yeah,
though, we
Black
should
got
be
his hands up.
thankful. I'm not gonna lie, we should be thankful for the 2K League because there's so many people and from the 2K League that are directly in contact with devs that make the game better for us. Now we
All
have
right, Black,
Wolf,
what you
who's
gotta
literally a
Can
say?
I
dev.
just
Black.
say something again? Like, obviously, like I've worked around and been around the league. Like, I've never like been an employee of the league, but like I've seen like the league and what it's come from, and like seeing like over the years. Like, I'll say this again. I wish a lot of the YouTubers would have got into the league in the early years because the early years was kind of like a filter year for like talent because like you didn't have a crazy amount of talent in the early years of the 2K league. Now it's like the talent level is a lot dramatically different. One thing I really want to see from the 2K League players is I want to see somebody be successful in both being a professional but also being a content creator. And the only person that's truly at that level, and I think he can be better, is Bear. Um, like
Agree.
Splash was gonna get there, but unfortunately, like he's basically banned from it. So
Uh,
Hey, Champ, I got a question
Hey,
for
what
you on
happened to
that.
Dimes and them?
You heard, Champ?
Let Champ finish. Let Champ finish. Go
no,
ahead, finish,
no.
Champ.
Well, I mean, even the comment on Dimes, I love Dimes. I've known him for a long time. I've known him before the league. I think he sold a bag. I really think that
Me
he
too.
kind of like he could have got to that point, but there was a lot of things he didn't know how to do, and he just chose not to learn. Because being a content creator, and Red City and Hollywood can both agree to this, like you got to learn to do your own shit. Like those people who be posting like, "Oh, I need an editor." It's like, bro, like editors are cool and all, but they cost a lot of money, and the time it's gonna take, like. When it comes to content creation, like you got to learn a lot of shit on the fly by yourself. Like you can't always be relying on other people to like uplift your channel or to do things for you. And like even like with like Bear learned a lot of stuff on his own. At first he was relying on other people, but he learned a lot of stuff on his own. And like that's what was so important for a lot of these 2K League players. And a lot of them don't want to learn. They're too focused on trying to be good at the game that they're not putting time in to learn how to edit videos or learning what's the right videos to make. And that's kind of the issue and the disconnect with a lot of 2K League pros is like they're great at the game, but they just don't know how to separate themselves like and create time to like actually like use that as like a tool for them to grow in the content end of things.
Well, that's one thing I talked to Frank about. Actually, he's in here listening. Is like developing brands on these players because that will bring more eyes on the 2K League and make 2K actually have to like, you know, address the 2K League, like maybe us having like our own 2K League gym and things like that in game. Like maybe the My Court is now a 2K League gym, but in order for that to happen, these players need to develop their
Yeah.
brands. They need to become like LeBron Jameses of the NBA 2K League. We know who the best players are on the 2K League, but I promise you, I haven't seen one piece of content
Well,
on my
even
timeline.
Dave Fry. Again,
Yo.
I'm sorry. I know. Again, I'll let you get in, Coach. Like, I just have to comment about Dave Fry. Dave Fry is considered the GOAT of the 2K League at this point. He is the GOAT because he's won 2 titles. He went out there and almost won a third one without Jack. And like, he is somebody that could have really taken advantage of content. He tried. He made videos like in the beginning of 2K, but then he just disappeared. Like he just stopped. Like he got busy with outside life. Like the reality is like he wanted to, he had other things, other obligations, which I understand. But like the potential that he would have had to actually like, and Dave Fry's an entertaining person. Like anyone who's seen Dave Fry, even seen his streams, or like,
Oh, Day Fry. Listen, I play. Listen, so like just to top on that. So like Day Fry and like so my team was the sharpshooters. Day Fry's team was make it happen.
Mhm.
Listen, when I tell you we used to play them, Day Fry was by far like his content. Even I seen that of content. Look, I was a content creator and he wasn't yet. But when he would stream the games that we played him, I even would sit there and catch myself watching Day Fry stream because I'm like, yo, this shit is hilarious. Like, and his energy that he brings and how he was so passionate, like, it was enjoyable to watch. You know what I mean? So I agree with that 100%. But like you said, it's kind of hard. Like I told you, the first thing I seen when I went over to for the Sixers thing, I'm there with Radiant, Fees and everyone. It was dope, but the problem was that my thing was, yo, I was drained after sitting there playing for 6 hours. So like playing scrimmages for 6 hours, then hopping on, like bro, after 6 hours, bro, then trying to hop on and scream, bro, you're beat. That energy's not there. And as a content creator, anyone like Hollywood could agree, you'll stream when you're beat, but you're not really gonna want to because that energy that you want to give your stream won't be
Yeah.
there. And then for
That
you to get
fake
up there
energy.
early
You
again.
already getting
But
paid.
let me say this too. Again, I know that like I'm talking a bunch about this, but again, I've been around
Nah,
this
you're good,
for
bro.
like,
Go
but
ahead. You're gonna
like,
speak. That's what
I'm gonna give an
it's for.
example of what, like, again, Bear made a lot of his own success. I'm not gonna take anything away from him, but I think what really did help him a lot was so the organization that he's with, T Wolves Gaming, they actually kept him and Kai, his shooting guard, in market and actually gave them housing, like basically for free. And they were doing content for themselves, but also doing content for the organization. And the problem is the league itself, I wish would try to supply more tools for these guys. And like the league, like they try their best and they obviously have limits to what they can do. But like, I really think that a guy like Dave Fry, if he would have had, even if he invested his own money, even if it wasn't the organization itself, Wizards DG, if he would have been able to, again, this guy made 6 figures back to back years. Again, everyone yells at me for pocket watching, but I keep track of all time earnings. It wouldn't have taken too much to try to invest in your own brand and try to like put stuff out there to just like get, create another source of revenue. Because in my opinion, like, guys like Dave Fry, they're the epitome of like what like is 2K. Like they're the best at the game. Like who else would you want to learn how to be good at a position besides Dave Fry? Like
like he literally is like the LeBron James or Michael Jordan, whatever you want to call it, of the game. Like you, of course, you're gonna want to learn from him. Like and watch.
Right. Facts.
So it's like,
So
go ahead.
I wanted to ask a question, champ, and you kind of alluded to it after, but earlier when you were talking, the question I had is there's plenty of creator programs from different companies, the big publishers in the video game industry, that will actually train content creators how to
That's a
edit
waste
and
of time.
I agree.
how to do all that. Hold on. But what I'm saying is if the league and then also the teams, and you just alluded to one of the teams, which was Bear, they basically had him making content with them, which led him to make his own content. And I mean, if they can do it in their own, why can't other teams as well step in and create a program? And the league in general, just having to automatically offer the program to help teach kids, that are just getting into the league first year. You can start learning this stuff also, you know what I mean, and getting deeper
I've
into
been
it.
saying for years I wanted the league to bring out more content creators like that were successful in like their own like growing of channels to try to educate these other guys into learning how to do things. But the thing is, like, again, I went to college and there's a lot of people that will sit in a lecture, they'll sit there for hours and they won't take any of that information and use on the outside of that classroom. Like you can teach them, but it doesn't mean they're going to actually use those skills or use that actual information for anything. That's on them. And the thing is, there's a lot of laziness. I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of guys in the 2K league, they don't want to hear this. They're lazy. But again, that again, I'm
Can I
All right, but one
go
thing,
interject
ahead.
for a
if
second?
I'm making $100,000 a year, I'm really not going to focus on streaming when I'm
Whoa, whoa,
already
whoa, whoa,
bringing
whoa, whoa.
a
So
hundred thousand.
wait. No, 100. I don't know where you're getting 100,000
That's
from.
how
That
much.
is
No,
not
You
what
that's
said
they.
six
he
figures.
did. That's how much they did make. The Wizards again. That was before taxes.
No, no. He's saying a year though. He's
I'm
saying
based
a
off
year.
what he
Yeah.
just said.
So
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So like again, all the Wizards guys, they made like a plus 100 plus for 2 straight years. So
Can I put it like this, man? Not everybody has what it takes to be a content creator. So I don't think a program necessarily for a whole team is going to be the answer. But there is a handful of players that like where the NBA 2K League could put them in a program that they think might make it, but there's no guarantee. Like there's a reason like every single middle schooler right now probably wants to be a YouTuber. You could go and find a middle school teacher. I had an ex-girlfriend that I dated for 2 years of middle school. I still talk to, like, I'm not in middle school, but I still talk to that's a middle school teacher. And she literally says, like, all the kids in her class want to be YouTubers. Like, everybody wants to be one, but it comes like, it's just like business, bro. Anybody can make a plan, but who can execute it? Who wants to go watch a YouTube video and learn? Who wants to go to learn how to actually post on the algorithm? You know how many times people come on my stream, they're like, yo, Hollywood, what camera you use, bro? What are you gonna post? Like, do you think TikTok's useful? And then like they'll never post. Yo, Hollywood, I'm gonna stream tonight. You think you can host me? They'll stream like 3 days in a row, have one viewer, and then never stream again. If you can't entertain 2 people, why should you be able to entertain 100?
That's
no.
facts. That's facts. And low key to speak, my bad,
And
champ, not to
that's
cut you off.
go ahead, go ahead. But there, that's why I love these combos, bro, because you're getting aspects and you're getting point of views from every side of the wall. You know what I mean? So that's why I love everyone.
And I've been where you're talking about, champ. Like I have celebrities that have paid me to run their social media accounts, teach them how to do social media. The Hard Rock just paid me a lot of money to try to grow a girl named Gloria Slots. I took her from a TikTok page that had 0 followers to 13,000 followers, and I was pulling over 100K video. But I was doing all the work. I was the one sitting there on the live streams talking to the chat. We had like 4,000 people in the chat live on TikTok. Gloria never took the time to learn any of it. So by the time they stopped paying me, I step out. The channel has been posted on it since then. So like you can put these tools and things for them to use to grow. Like I taught her everything. It doesn't mean they're going to do it. So there's it's just some people just don't have it.
And I
It's the
agree,
cold
but
hard
I think also it's like that hunger is what really builds strong content creators. Is it's like that grind is really what like the people who do learn those skills on their own, and it's something that like you have to individually want. Like you can't have other people just handing you things. That's a problem.
Yeah, I don't think programs will fix anything.
I
what
think
Coach was talking
think
about.
perspective is more of I think like not bringing people in to teach you how to edit a video, but bringing in people who are content creators and kind of like
like a
Yeah,
mentor
yeah. Like
aspect. Yeah.
again, I think a more of a mentorship is more appropriate, especially because like we have great access to great content creators in this community, and like let's be real, like look at some of the people who have come out of this community over the years. Like again, like I look at people again. I'm not a huge fan of Aiden Ross or even like Speed and them, but like they've come a long way. Like that now they kind of have like their brands have completely shifted to something different. But like my point is like there's guys still internal in the community that do great things, and I just feel like that we should use those type of people like iPod, who obviously an OG guy. I think he'd be a great mentor for a lot of like these younger guys coming into the league that kind of have some type of aspiration. The guy I'm going to use an example of, some of you might know him, Greens. Greens is he's a young guy, 18 years old, point guard in the 2K league. Game head, good as hell at the game, wants to do content creation, but he's probably like does not know a lot of the skills or what to do. And like he's somebody that I think would be fantastic to have someone mentor. And I wish the league would push that. Like that's a guy right now. They should be like having someone mentor him.
Yeah, Green is nice. I ain't gonna lie, Greens is nice.
Do you think content creation has to do with being entertaining, or do you think it's just about posting content?
Okay.
Oh no, it's definitely being
Content creating.
entertaining.
Okay, so content creating is okay.
That's a good question.
So let me explain something to you, right? So with content creating, right, and
It was
I'm gonna speak to you because I'm gonna speak to you because I'm a competitive player, right? So for content creation, right, you can grow a following from being a competitive player, right? For instance, like how you was just saying, you can get a following from being a competitive player. For you to go over the top, you need to be entertaining. You need to give people a reason to watch you besides the competitive nature or playing like
you can break it down even more bare bones though than that, Red.
Can
Like
I counter you though, Red? Like again, I want to play devil's advocate. Do you know who Shroud is, right?
No.
Okay. If anyone here who knows who Shroud is,
yeah. I know who Shroud is.
Shroud.
I know who Shroud is.
Shroud. Yeah, I know Shroud.
So Shroud, again, the guy's a fucking fiend. He is good at so many first-person shooter games. He's not like, I want to say he's not entertaining. Again, he does have kind of like he has his own personality. But like when I tell you that Shroud is just purely good at video games, and that is a big reason why people watch him. Like he is a dog. But again, that's first-person shooters versus NBA 2K, where again we talked about the like watching. I think you talked about this earlier, Red, where like there's a lot of stuff you watch in competitive games, or no, that was Flash, and it's just a lot of just like bullcrap going on sometimes in competitive games. You're like, oh, I could do that, but in reality, they can't. Like it's kind of tough in 2K to separate yourself, like kind of like that how Shroud does that in first-person shooter games. It's like it's tough, but like I feel like a guy like Greens can do that. Like he doesn't have to have this crazy personality to actually be entertaining. Like he's just really freaking good at the game. Like the thing, like
right,
he's had multiple viral clips that like from like UPA events and stuff like that we've had.
Now, Champ, but you know what the problem is, right? And this is why. This is speaking off like kind of like it's not on the same topic. Now, you know what the problem is with that is that I'm gonna tell you. Okay, so you've been in the community as long as me, as long as Holly. Now the difference is, right? Dealing with the casual side and the competitive side, the middle, whatever you want to call it. Now, you've seen things get turned down through the years, correct? Like you've seen the dribble animations get turned down, the defense, the
we've seen creativity get taken away.
Right. So, we always say fast game speed is the best game speed. We all agree on that. Anyone here will tell you that. It looks better. Things flow better. The movement looks better. Now, the problem with that is that, when you see that, I'm gonna give you an example. Steve Francis, right? You've seen every guard, and this is why I say, like, there was another content creator who mentioned it. Like, when you remove things from us as far as a game, we're gonna speak about 2K. I'm not talking about Call of Duty. Call of Duty, obviously, they have different things that you can do as far as like to keep the content going. Now, my comment on this is that when 2K started taking away from us, like for instance, like slowing us down, slowing the game speed down, now you're watching every single player in the 2K league use the same exact crossover. So like there's only so much when you see like you said he has so many viral clips, right? Listen, so you see him go viral with like that clip, right? Now imagine if he had different moves he was going viral with. When people see the same thing over and over again, it's like, all right, bro, I seen that last time. You did the same thing. You might just, caught a defender or two with it now. Now, that is why I say it's so important to have creativity in a game and, being able to cancel out of moves and stuff. Because, like, I know, like, even if you're a lockdown or your thing, like, the community's excitement comes from the dribbling side, right?
Can I add on to where you're going, right?
Go ahead,
Real
Holly.
quick?
Go ahead. You got that. Go ahead.
What you said about like the Call of Duty and stuff, like they have so much stuff in the game that there's so many different scenarios that can happen that are entertaining within itself that they don't have to be entertaining. I think ultimately it doesn't matter how you entertain, but you have to be entertaining in your own light to be a content creator. Because if we're breaking it down to the bare bones on these platforms, everything is watch time. However you catch somebody's eye, it really doesn't matter. Like you just have to find a way to catch their eye. But I'm telling you, in the 2K community, being good at the game can only take you so far.
Mm-hmm.
That is the cold hard truth.
And
there's not enough content.
Yeah, first person shooter is definitely different. Like you said, the scenarios throughout just different maps and certain things like that. Like, okay, I'll be honest, like, yeah, you can't just be good at the game in 2K because it's just basketball. It's a game. Like,
all right, I'm gonna answer the question when it comes to the content. When I said earlier about the niche, you can be funny on 2K like EJ and get hella views. You could be comp and be in stage like Red or any comp player and get hella views. But it's about the crowd and the audience you trying to pull. Now, like Red said earlier, to go over the top, you have to be both. You have to be good and entertaining. So if you can put both of those together, you're good. But if you find your own niche, you already moving in the right direction.
Hey, I want
There's
to
a
add on. I
ceiling
want to
to
add on to that.
everything, man. You have to jump into the next pond. It's a small pond to get to the next pond. Like you got to find like your pond where
I'm
you
just curious,
belong.
what did happen to the? Again, I'm sorry, I know someone else is going to talk, but what happened to the content where people would roll up on people and be like, "Oh, I beat so and so."
There's nothing out of gaining. There's nothing to gain from it anymore.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, that's like
You don't
back in
think
the
so?
day.
You don't think so? Because that's the competitive stuff you were talking
but
about.
I feel
Hollywood.
like that used to be the content that where people would kind of come out of nowhere. Like, I mean, you'd have that new guy that would be in the community, like, oh my god, he's like he beat somebody, now he's beating all these big.
Well, that's the
I ain't
biggest
gonna lie
problem
to.
though is so what you're saying, champ, right? Who could you pull up on right now and beat and post a video on? Do you think that actually make you big?
I mean, if you beat any like on day one when the game drops, right? Let's say you again, it's all about luck, in my opinion. Like on day one, because like it depends if your video hits the algorithm. But I'll give an example. Like, all right, YouTuber, like let's say annoying, or again, it's straight more of a streamer. Like let's say annoying, right? You pull up and beat annoying, like let's say it's like annoying and lie, all these like or like a bunch of big streamers, and you beat them all. You know what I mean? Like posting.
But I counter that because with the community we've had, honestly, those videos haven't done well in years. My annoying wager got 3K views.
Well, because I think the searchable video, like I feel like the search bar has been a lot different for 2K. Like searching, like the most successful. What would you say is the most successful content? Would you say
the most successful content right now isn't even part content on NBA 2K. It's rebuilding channels. It's rebuilding teams. It's made LeBron stay loyal to the Cleveland Cavaliers is your most viewed content right now. I think people are forgetting like the part. Cleveland Cavaliers is your most viewed content right now.
Yeah,
I think
that, it's
people
sad.
are
It really is.
people are forgetting like the part